Okay, I'm still making a video, of course, but it's like, the things too. One, I've seen the community posts, and my guy, you didn't make like one. You made multiple posts, and each one had gotten worse and worse. I felt like I'm looking at the latest one that you made, and it was terrible. But each one keep going down to the first, to one of the first ones that you were telling me about and stuff. It got worse. It got freaking worse, mind you. My guy Beowulf, please shut up. Honestly, shut up. All right, let's go with this one moment. And this part right here, for crying out loud, this part right here is the main reason why I'm making this video. Like, real quick. 1 second. Mm, I need that. Still, this is part right here. One, yes, because I did the basic work, like looking up multiple influencers, multiple channels to hear different opinions, to hear different information, to make sure that yes, I'm being as accurate as I can be. Because it's very simple, and just looking up the basic stuff, where of course you got an iPhone or some type of phone, technology exists and stuff that you could use to fact check all of these things. And instead of you, doing the work to look up these things, no, all you've been doing is taking think before you sleep words as a fact. All you've been doing is taking Sean words as a fact, and you're not actually going all your way to do the work yourself or do any amount of research. You literally have to do blatantly just telling you, legit implying that just take his word. Do not listen to her. Do not listen to anyone else. So on and so forth. And the further two is while I was setting this whole thing up, I had to rewatch some of his latest videos just to prove a point because it was worse each time. All right, it was worse each time. Oh man, I could have brought Pegasus. He was a great example on why he needs to shut the f up. Either way, yeah, man. Should I do it? Hmm. Now I would think about that later. It doesn't matter. But here's the thing, stupid. One, Sean, he claims to have some degree and all that nonsense, but when in reality, each time he speaks about the situation or in general, he constantly shows the fact that he has no clue what on earth he's talking about, and he's just making BS up on the spot or completely misrepresenting it and misunderstanding it. And he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So I'm gonna be using like one of his later video, some of his other videos as an example, and using his last video about the situation to prove the point that instead of him openly admitting to the fact that he was wrong and stuff, he's just doubling down to justify his own behaviors. So let's just continue with this. One, with me compared to me and Sean, I know a lot more about it. I'm not pretending I'm a professional. I know every single little detail. But when it comes to the most basic things, it can literally you can look up instantly. Yeah, Sean has no clue what he's talking about. Oh, no clue of what he's talking about. Right here, right here, mobility is a super important part of things to prevent things like bone irritation. Here's the thing. She brought this up in her own video. All right. Here's some of the causes, and I'm not gonna be saying that this right here is an end of be of sources. This is the start of the source. My point about this and why I'm using Google like as a quick thing is to prove the point that yes, it's very easy to just look these things up, but you don't bother to look up any of these things at all. You really don't. So let's continue when it comes down to it. All right. So here you got what way to, rebuild it. This is just an example. It's not saying end all be all of the facts. Once again, yes, exercising is part of the things that can help you, yes, but so can dieting, but specifically you need vitamin D, calcium, and protein. So meaning what Illy Major was doing was not even in the wrong to begin with at all. But no, Sean is out here arguing of, oh, well, that's too much sugar. That's sugar, so that's why it's bad. But you're arguing the fact that yes, you should not be eating actual food that's good for you. Just starve. But let's continue. Also, medications too, which can help. But the problem though, as well with medication, that's also one of the things that might cause the issue too. And yes, limit alcohol 100%. Avoid tobacco, which yes, that's a good argument. Now, let's look at one of the causes. And yes, we're using this source that not only I believe Illy also used and Noah has used. Of course, Sean has misrepresented it multiple times in other sources, in other videos, which is not that surprising. So right here, this is just a summary. This is just a summary that you can just look up, but you clearly don't. Once again, low levels right here, just right here. But the things too, this is what you should also pay attention to. Wait, let me do it correctly. This is also what you should pay attention to as well. This can also do it too. It can also be the cause of it. So not only that of having low lacking of mobility is a cause of it. No, it's way more than just that. It's other factors too. But the problem though, you and Sean do not care about this nor understand this. And this is the problem. When it comes to alcohol, that's a big factor when it comes down to it. Because you got a lot of people who are drinking alcohol or becoming alcoholic and stuff. And yes, that's gonna be a big factor onto their own health, including when it comes to tobacco, smoking, so on and so forth, or even vaping. That's also a big factor as well. But it's for number two, a lot of these people who are doing it are not only overweight or obese, but a lot of them are also skinny people themselves as well. But here's the thing: you are not talking about that. You only attack people who happen to be overweight or just happen to be fat. And nothing else. And you're not even blaming about the actual activities that they're doing. No, you just attack them just because they're fat. Nothing else. Not because you actually care. Now, let's look at the other factors when it comes down to it. Because yes, exercising can also be a big factor to it. Right here. But listen to all of this too. All of this right here. So yes, you could go through these issues yourself, because there's other huge impacts when it leads to it. Right here. You can also do this to prevent it 100%. But the things too is a massive contradiction of what this one right here says of having too little or excessive, so meaning too much of it, it can be damaging, which yes, it is actually true. The things too with that, this my point is about the fact it's not really a one way point of view or just like that. It's a very nuanced take, is a middle ground type of take, is a gray area that you need to have a proper nuance of view when you look into it. You should not be looking at one spectrum or another spectrum. No, you should be looking at it for how it is. And this is the problem with your comment. They really need to shut the F up, do basic researching. It's not even that hard for crying blood out loud. When it comes down to it, you could just look up like the other causes as well. Once again, a diet and low calcium and vitamin D is also one of the big factors that lead to it. So no, it has nothing to do with just you being overweight. But right here, it can increase the risk of it. But here's the thing: are you guys actually crying about that? No. A lot of you guys are not gonna cry about that, nor bring it up. And this is the same source I have been using for crying out loud. And even with the own source, there's some parts that they are saying and be consistent with, and there's some other parts where yeah, it goes into other detail about it. So yes, even with exercising or excessive exercising, I can't talk. Excessive dieting or poor protein intake may increase your risk. So yes, whenever it's poor, it's either you have too little or too much of it. That can be bad as well. But the problem though too is that you don't care about any of these things either. None of you do. So let's continue. All of these things as well. So yes, it can also evolve when it comes to when to go to their menopause or the period for crying out loud, or some BS like that. Sorry, my bad. But there's other situations when it comes down to it. Now, as we continue, there's some exercises that can help when it comes to fighting against this issue 100%. But the things to do know what's ironic is that some of these exercises were things that Alienation was already doing. So this is very stupid. And the fact that you got have like Sean crying about how, oh, well, this is not gonna be helpful, or this is not gonna be helpful, or this is not gonna be helpful, or this is not gonna be helpful. It's just so stupid. And the thing too is that you are in the comments, and some of you guys will be arguing of, oh, all you need to do is just walk. That's all you need to do. I'm sorry, if you could be pushing this argument that just walking alone is good enough so that you can lose weight and burn calories, then homie, then she's not doing anything wrong then. She's not doing anything wrong and she's still not losing calories. And guess a lot of people who are overweight or fat, they're doing the same thing too. And guess what? They're not losing any weight either. Only because walking does not actually burn that much calories or is that impactful or effective. We all walk all the time. That does not mean we're going to burn so much very easily. And this is a giant misconception. The point of walking is not of just to burn calories, it's to help you with your mobility so you're able to move around for a long amount of time. That's the whole point. It's not about how fast you are, how long you are, it's how strong you are. It's about how long you can able to do this thing. That's the point. And there's a lot of people, regardless of the weight and stuff, some of them are tired of freaking walking for crying blade out loud. I'm just using this as an example. So let's go to the other parts why I'm making this video because it was just terrible. So here's the thing. Now, does Sean deserve to get doxxed? No. But did he got doxxed? Still no. Let's be honest. He never got doxxed. Legit. He never once got doxxed. Now, does that mean that he deserved it? Still no. 100% no. Does that mean that, oh, he was a victim of any sort of way? No, not really. Because he was still wrong for everything that he did and he caused. So at the end of the day, does that mean that yes, he deserved these things? Still no. I would never make the argument myself. But here's the thing: it's the same thing when it came to Jack Film and Snap Wolf situation. One, I can argue that yes, what happened to Jack Film when the doxing situation. I can still argue that yes, he did not need to go through that. But at the same time, too, does not negate anything that he was doing to her for a whole entire year. No, does not negate a single thing at all. It equates it. The dude did counts of bad things to her for a whole entire year. She just evened the score. That's pretty much it. Even of the score by doing one terrible thing. She only did one terrible thing. And she only did it one time and left it alone. Where Jack, he did it for a whole entire year and advocating for blatant nonsense that he himself is a massive hypocrite for. You know what's even worse? A lot of you guys are more hypocritical about this as well. You're crying about how Snapple is stealing content and all that stuff, but almost every single channel that you guys are dick writing or defending or friends with, you guys are literally stealing content too, especially from her videos, and so was Jack Films. But Jack Film is a whole different topic alone. But now, here's the thing: why ever bring this up as an excuse to justify of him getting doxxed or anything happened to him? No. If you two want to be like of saying, hey, yeah, we're going to deplatform you from this channel alone, like just remove these videos or give him a strike or give him a warning, that's fine. But when it comes to actually harming his life or putting his life in danger, that's when I would be against it. I'm still am against it. I'm just pointing the fact that once again, Jack Film was not an innocent angel. Yes, he deserved to get criticized for things that he's guilty for doing. But I can still acknowledge he does not deserve to get death threats or doxing. And that's the difference between me and you. Why? Because I'm consistent. My point is that I'm not for doxing completely in general. And the funny part too is y'all would be against the doxing on him, but when it came to elimination, y'all are so quick to argue on why she deserved it. Almost every single time, all you guys do is make the dumbest excuses after the dumbest excuses, arguing of, well, she did this, she did that, knowing full she didn't do none of those things. But instead of you guys just open admit to the fact that you guys were wrong, you're making more excuses and doubling down each time for no reason. Excuse me. Ooh. Oh my gosh. And I believe this, the dogs, funny, argued they should deserve to die. He was never dogs nor advocated for. Yeah, people never advocate for him getting dogs. Now, for the people that did, yeah, they're still in the wrong. They're still in the wrong. I do not care. They're still in the wrong, and they should not be asking for that. And there's supposed to be a screenshot right here. Sorry, my computer is loading for some reason. Let me go back to it. Just 1 second. Yes, I'm leaving everything here. I don't care. All right. Here we go. Okay. So let's go to it. And okay, so you gave me a time step right here, right? You gave me the time step right around here. So luckily I do have no, not that one. It was right here. I do have around that. But here's the thing. This guy constantly lies again in the same video. So I would just go through it myself just to prove a point. So let's go through it. I would at least play a little bit slower for you. Let's continue.
Leads me to a more charitable opinion of the person that I'm reacting to. But Noah thinking it's excessive to standard then scroll through her Instagram. Speaking of, that's where this McDonald's it's almost all processed. However, every social media post that I found.
So one, let's just go through it. And I want to man, I don't want to do the whole video yet. I want to save it, but at the same time too, it's like, let's go through it.
Which is something that I said Is this even the same person?
Like the article said, any of the teams that were in the top 5 have a chance.
Yep, that's his voice. I can't believe it. If you can look like that, why would you style yourself like this? This is like a my daughter before and after college meme. I know that this was the most controversial point in my original video on Alienation.
My guy, it was not the controversial point in the video. It was way more stuff than that. It was way more than that. It was way more. It's about the fact that you lied about her and removed all the context. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. For crying out loud.
And I do maintain that I should have been more empathetic when it came to talking about specifically Alyssa's styling choices.
No, you didn't. The only reason why you brought it up is because after the whole doctor situation, then you're downplaying it so that you can make an excuse for what you did. That's the only reason why you made that post. It's not because you actually felt bad about it or anything. You only brought it up because guess what? Thanks because of you, she got doxxed. Nothing else.
Which is something that I said in this community post.
Literally you downplaying what happened instead of you actually admitting to the fact that yes, you were in the wrong. You're 100% was in the wrong and you knew what you were doing. But the fun number two is that you and everyone else, you guys cannot just admit to the fact that yes, you guys were attacking her for her appearance. My guy, you never once like complimented her or anything like that. And the fact that you're still lying about this today on Achilles' channel is just disgusting. And you right here downplaying on what you did to frame it as if like, oh yeah, I should have been more empathetic. My guy, you knew what she was talking about, but you removed the full context and play dumb just to insult her. Just to insult her, mind you. You know what? One thing I like to bring up. One thing, just 1 second. Let me just bring it up real quick. Let me just bring it up real quick. Just in case anyone's gonna be like coming into my pause, coming at my throat for crying out loud. Just in case. Cause I know the type of channel like content that his viewers have, so it's not that surprising. Just in case, we already know what's happening. Don't care.
Hi.
It was around. Oh no, I think that was too far. Wait a minute. Yup, around here. And I will have her original video as well, just in case, just to prove a point. This was you.
So I got to walk the Streamy's red carpet and attend the awards ceremony, which was a blast. But while the photos came out, I felt that oh so familiar lava flow of shame consume me. I hated how wide my legs were when I posed. I hated that squishy part under my chin that stuck out when I smiled. But most of all, I hated the way I looked because I knew I was the heaviest weight I had ever been in my entire life.
Alyssa talks down about her appearance a lot.
No. See, once again, he did not even play the full entire context of what happened. He never once did. Why? Because he does not want to show you guys exactly what she was talking about. Now, let me actually show you exactly what she was talking about. Let me show you exactly what she was talking about. So once we already got through here, it was around this point.
So familiar lava flow of shame consume me. I hated how wide my legs were when I posed. I hated that squishy part under my chin that stuck out when I smiled. And I felt awful knowing that I had to order that dress online because they didn't have my size in store. But most of all, I hated the way I looked because I knew I was the heaviest weight I had ever been in my entire life. In fact,
She
I was
continues.
15% heavier than I was when I got bullied in middle school.
She
But now,
continues.
I have a YouTube channel. I have millions of eyes on me at all times, especially when I show my face and don't hide behind this cartoon character. And let me tell you, the things people say in that comment section about how you look can feel just like middle school.
That was it. That is why she made this video because she relates to a lot of people. That was her main point for the very beginning of her experience. She has been making this point for crying bloody out loud. She has been making this exact point for crying out loud.
Better change how you look and you better do it fast. I'll cruel to you for it. And if you don't like things you're already self-conscious about, I know I'm smart. That's why I'm gonna be playing something about this now, but this really hurt me back then. The shame of being picked on for things you're already self-conscious about feels like lava is being poured all over you. And when you experience harassment like this for days, weeks, months on end with no support, it singes your confidence into ashes. Because the world makes it crystal clear that they resent your presence. They will be cruel to you for it. And if you don't like how you're being treated, that's your fault. That's your problem to fix. So
That's her point.
you better change how you look and you better do it fast.
And that is why she made this video. And guess what? You have people like him and you doing this.
Oh, come on. You should be grateful you even have curves. Ugh, that's another thing. Putting aside
Yeah, some of y'all were being pervs 100%. But at the same time, too, is that she literally experienced the fact of what she has to deal with and what some people with extra weight or just in general have to go through, regardless. And yes, it's unnecessary, and especially since they're kids. But the thing, so she has explicitly stated her point for the very beginning And he just removed the full entire context of why she made this point and was so confused of, oh, well, she talks bad about her parents. I don't know why, but she talks bad about her parents. Like, I don't know why. My guy, if you play the rest of the freaking seconds, she explains the point. But of course, you didn't even show exactly what she was talking about. You removed all the context.
Entire life.
Alyssa talks down about her appearance a lot in her videos. This is despite having decent features like strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes, and vibrant skin. She
The fact that so many people try to argue that this is him praising her, this is him giving her a compliment, this, like, legit, my guy, no, it wasn't. He just described what she looks like, not actually give it a compliment, especially if so, here's the thing, what he says afterwards, it's not any better.
could easily be considered attractive by most people if she just stopped wearing those grandma
No, no, once again, right there, the next second,
easily be considered attractive by most people if she easily be considered attractive by most people easily be considered attractive by most people if
she can easily be considered to be attractive. Already implying to the fact that she was never attractive at all, especially by most people, for crying out loud. Already implying, already argue that yes, she was never attracted by anyone. And the only way she should be attractive by most people, only if she changed everything about herself.
she just stopped wearing those grandma glasses, picks better clothes, learned how to style her hair instead of always leaving it flat to her head with maximum forehead showing, and watch some makeup tutorials. Now it's kind of hard to see what she's talking about when it comes to the dress, so let's Google an actual photo of that dress, and holy shit, that is bad. Why did she think this would look good? Whoever animated this scene did not
Simply because she likes the dress. It's for her. It's not for you. She's not wearing the dress for your satisfaction or pleasure. You freaking prostitute. She's wearing it for her own pleasure, for her own sake. If I like a pair of shoes, I'm doing that for myself. I'm not gonna be doing it to impress anyone else. That's not why she's there or why she's wearing it. But of course, you don't care about that.
do that dress justice. The purpose of good fashion is to highlight your good features and downplay your bad features. You do this by using different shapes and colors to draw people's
You really should not be talking about good fashion myself. Like, you really shouldn't.
attention towards what you want them to look at. If my upper body looks better than my lower body, I can easily draw attention to my upper body by wearing brighter colors on top and darker colors on my legs. Side note, if you're trying to lose weight and for some reason you insist on keeping junk food around, then you can pretty heavily reduce how much you eat.
With what proof do you know that she was keeping junk food around, you freaking idiot? She was not talking about anything about how she was keeping junk food at all, or anywhere around the house or anything like that. Oh wait, because that's irrelevant to the video. Her video was so blatantly clear as day of what she's talking about. But of course, you're not actually showing us exactly what she was talking about. You're purposely lying about what happened. That's all you've been doing. So now let's go back to his video about this.
That's his voice. I can't believe it. If you can look like that, why would you style yourself like this? This is like the my daughter before and after college meme. I know that this is the most controversial point in my original video on alienation, and I do maintain that I should have been more empathetic when it came to talking about specifically Alyssa's styling choices.
No, the only reason why you're bringing this up is solely because, yes, it's because of you, she got doxxed. Instead of you apologizing for the fact that, yes, you lied about her, you misrepresented everything within the video on purpose, no, you're only apologizing for this end so that you could look credible to your own audience. And for number two, it didn't work when your own audience even argued that, yes, you did not need to apologize because, once again, they are framing you insulting her as criticism when it wasn't.
Which is something that I said in this community post, but can you guys see how much of a difference
But you don't actually mean it until you're only doing this as a way to double down. You're not doing this because you actually felt bad or you mean it. You only did this solely because of the doxing that happened afterwards. That was it.
styling makes? Anyway, that's a tangent. Sorry. But that's why I'm not using the creepy 9-year-old photos of Noah. By the way, one more caveat. No
My guy, you're the one that was literally stalking her. You were the one stalking her. His photos were not even creepy. What you did was straight up the definition of being creepy.
different styling makes? Anyway, that's a tangent. Sorry. But that's why I'm not using the creepy 9-year-old photos of Noah. By the way, one more caveat. Noah refers to me a lot by my first name in this video, which is much easier to say than my entire channel name. So when he says Sean, he's referring to me. Now back to the part where he says that I maliciously took Alyssa out of context to make her look bad.
You did. You blatantly did. I just went through it. You did. You straight up did. You can't argue that that's not what you did. You did.
Here's me from a prior video. Now I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are. After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. I want to talk about how we
Yeah, that's stalking. That's literally stalking. So now let's go to your video right here. Like, heck, even around here, where was it? We took that exactly. I think we have to go wait, no. No, I think I might pass that part. Ah, here we go. Literally you just being a creep. You made this weird claim that she was cheating on her diet because she was not losing weight with no evidence backing this stuff up. You're not in her life. You don't know a single thing about her personal life. And two, it's none of your freaking business nor relevant to the video.
and putting yourself in a calorie deficit. Considering all the woke stuff from the self.com article from her video that I went
Literally just arguing that no, it's woke. So anything that she used is just woke. So don't listen to it. That's not even me putting words in his. No, he's making blatantly obvious. That's his point.
over earlier, I wouldn't rule out that her dietitian is incompetent, but there's no way you stayed on a calorie restrictive diet for 3 months and did not lose weight. Now,
So that can happen. You freaking idiot. And what's worse is that your own reasoning is backing it up. That yes, that can happen. The calorie deficit like, oh my freaking gosh.
people who are bad at weight loss tend to be terrible at assessing the impact of what they're eating and how many calories are in their food, so now I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are. After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike.
Once again, you don't know when she was doing her diet journey to begin with because it was none of your business. Two, you don't even know what she was eating while she was on that journey. So once again, it's still none of your own business. And here's the thing, I will explain this point again later on why this is a dumb argument that he did. And he doesn't realize the fact that what he just said is that yes, he's going to start stalking her.
Food, so now I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are.
That's not investigation. You're just stalking her.
After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike one. In fact, I've only ever really
That's not strike one. You freaking idiot. That was legit 7 months ago from December. For crying out loud. That was old. That's not even strike. It really is because you still don't know exactly what her eating habits are or what she just eat in her personal life. It really is not proof. It's not like that she's some type of like fitness instructor or influencer who constantly do show what type of stuff to eat. But here's the thing, a lot of the times they don't actually eat these things at all either. They are, of course, are just doing it so that they can make themselves look good on camera so that they can get likes. With this, she's just hang out with her friggin' friends. This is absurd type of belief that you really think of no, this is proof she's cheating on her diet. This is proof that she was not eating healthily. And what's worse, in your other video, you double down on this to make your own point look way worse. You have people like Pegasus arguing that of oh what he did was not stalking. My guy, you just proven to the fact that what he did was blatantly stalking her for a dumb assumption that he made up.
seen her show herself with processed junk food. Here's her with down through her community tab. The only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike one.
Homie, that was the only first post that you found. So no, that's not the only thing you see her eating. That's only one post. And two, that does not prove a single bloody thing.
In fact, I've only ever really seen her show herself with processed junk food. Here's her with McDonald's. We had a Frappuccino / adult,
Which are old. And two, once again, he's literally using this scene right here as proof that she's cheating on her diet. That she was eating unhealthily, even though this thing is a freaking meta criticism on diet culture. It's a meta criticism on diet culture and these company brands that are trying to frame that these drinks or food are healthy when in reality they really aren't any better. That's the point. It's criticism. It's a meta humor for crying aloud. And you're literally arguing that this is proof. It really isn't.
I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike one. In fact, I've only ever really seen her show herself with processed junk food. Here's her with McDonald's. We had a Frappuccino / adult milkshake ad from earlier. Here's a
Like I said, he really is using cartoons as so-called proof that she's cheating on her
picture
diet.
of her grabbing Frosted Flakes. News.
My guy, this is not proof of a single thing. Like I said, it's so weird how you like Beowulf. The fact that you're still defending this, you don't see the fact that yes, he's making absurd claims, and you don't realize okay, he's reaching. Yes, he's reaching about this. How you don't realize this? And the point number two, look at the dumb take he says
Never really
afterwards.
seen her show herself with processed junk food. Here's her with McDonald's. We had a Frappuccino / adult milkshake ad from earlier. Here's a picture of her grabbing Frosted Flakes. Newsflash: cereal is not healthy. Next.
She never said anything about cereal being healthy. He never once made that claim. And there's some cereals that are not as bad as others, some that are better. But do that mean that oh they're all healthy? Still no. But he's saying she never made any argument of cereal being healthy. She never even argued anything about what she was eating on her diet or on her journey. Why? Because it was none of your business and that was irrelevant to her video. But of course, you're removing all the context of her video to push this lie. You're literally using cartoons as evidence.
Next, at the end of the weight loss video, she shows this picture of a shopping cart full of what I assume she thinks is reasonably healthy food.
No, she isn't. She's just showing the shopping cart because it's the freaking end of the video. She's just giving credit for where it is. That is it. There's nothing, like, legit, there's no hidden meaning about this. There's literally no hidden meaning about this. None of this is any hidden meaning. For crying out loud, it's just a cartoon. This is not what she's freaking eating. It's a freaking cartoon. So in your logic, if someone goes to the stripper bar in GTA and show up the whole place, is that proof that oh there's a real shooting in real life? No. It's a freaking fictional cartoon. For crying bloody out loud. This is not her showing you exactly what she was eating on her diet because once again, it's none of your bloody business for crying out loud. But no, you're making this absurd claim because you have nothing about to talk about nor add to the conversation. This is why she made the devil's advocate, because she knows people like you and Beowulf are not even gonna pay attention to her.
We have a giant piece of bread, sour cream and onion potato chips, processed meat, canned tuna, and more sugary cereal, Trix, and Frosted Flakes again. Does she know that most of this is junk food and eating stuff like this will
Stupid. She didn't say a single thing about that, you freaking idiot. She didn't say a single thing about that. She didn't say anything about any of these things are being healthy for crying out loud, nor told you that these were the things that she was eating on her diet.
make it much harder for her to lose weight? The last red flag I found was here.
So, okay, I have acid reflux.
That's not a red flag. I believe he did double down in one of the comments earlier. Oh, let me see. Wait 1 second. Oh, come on. Do not tell me he removed the pinned comment. Do not tell me he removed the pinned comment now. Oh, no, that's embarrassing. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me go to... Now, let me go to here. Let me see. Where was it? Where was it? Okay, this is a dumb argument. It was one of the... I think it was the latest video that he tried to use. So on and so forth. Oh, don't tell me he actually... Okay, here we go. Okay, yep. Oh, no, he actually did edit the whole thing. Dang. Okay, so I gotta look for my screenshot from earlier. Frick. Dang. Wait. Oh, no, he still doubled down then. Wait, he still doubled down. Wait. He still doubles down. Wait, he still doubles down. He literally doubles down. Oh my freaking gosh, my guy. So this is the whole thing. What the frick? That's not what I'm asking for. Whatever. Either way, are these fruits healthier than chocolate bar? Even though technically chocolate is also a kind of fruit, but at the same time too. Whatever. Probably, but that doesn't necessarily makes them something healthy. It doesn't means it won't cause your stomach to go a 60-hour fit of spewing acid and all the frick esophagus. Sorry, my bad. I'm so tired right now. I haven't slept. But either way, my guy. So you're literally even arguing that yes, even if oh no, here it was. Here it was. Now I forgot. I'm so tired. I don't care. But here's the thing, literally arguing that even that, you're still saying that it's bad for you for no reason. What the F? Like, legit, what the F? Like, once again, legit arguing that he doesn't think modern bananas are all that healthy because, like, come on. Solely because it has sweetener. For crying out loud, they're fruits at the end of the bloody day. So once again, he's literally arguing that just fruits as a whole is, even veggies are bad for you because they have sugar. That's all he's freaking arguing. This is the most dumbest take ever, and you want to know why I kept saying he has no clue what he's talking about. And these are his own words himself, for crying out loud. For crying bloody out loud. For crying bloody out loud. Seriously. Like, in the point number 2, you're arguing as if that what Sean did was completely justified or totally okay when it wasn't. That's the funny part too.
The acid in my stomach likes to do the vertical boogie of my esophagus, and thus my tummy makes weird noises sometimes.
So in my opinion, Western medicine seems to have completely failed to effectively treat acid reflux or chronic acid reflux. None of the
So that can be said with her point of view, stupid. No, my guy. It can also be said for her own argument. Oh wait, that's exactly her point in the video too. That's exactly her point in the Tumblr post that she brought up. Oh wait, you told her that no, she's wrong because she's woke and her sources are woke, so don't listen to it. When no, they're a lot more backed up. Heck, what's ironic is that you say this, but then literally earlier in your own video, this was you. This is
And check in
you.
with a certified dietitian on a monthly basis? Nope.
wow, not a great plan.
What he means by not a great plan is literally him arguing that you should not be going to actual medical professionals, but just take his words as a fact. And this is him literally doing that.
I know it sounds like a good idea, but generally doctors know nothing about proper nutrition because it's not a part of their training, and dietitians tend to be all over the place with the quality of their
This is why I actually showed you the exact source of what the freaking Time article was talking about that he purposely misrepresented. He only highlights parts of it, but he does not want to show you the full-on thing himself. If you read the full-on thing, they're not even agreeing with him. Instead, they're telling him a reason on why that yeah, right now they actually are doing their jobs to look into these things so that they can treat the patients correctly. Because once again, back in the day, that is how they don't have any proper training because they just tell people of just, hey, just lose weight and that's it. They're not actually trying to help the patients to begin with. This is something that another channel went through and debunked as well. Of course, he only likes to highlight certain parts of it, but doesn't actually want to show you the full entire thing. And even so, he's still trying to argue that of, oh, don't listen to any medical professionals who are actually in the field. Just take his words as a fact.
Part of their training, and dietitians tend to be all over the place with the quality of their advice, particularly as fat acceptance has creeped into the field. So in my opinion,
Clearly, him admitting to the fact that his issue is that it does not align with his point of view.
if you aren't navigating through major health issues and are just trying to lose weight, you're better off just doing your own research than to risk being paired with an activist
Better off doing your own research. So, no, don't listen to any medical professional at all. Just take my words as a fact. That's pretty much it. What the F?
field. So in my opinion, if you aren't navigating through major health issues and are just trying to lose weight, you're better off just doing your own research than to risk being paired with an activist dietitian who can burn years of your time leading you down the wrong path.
My guy, what you're advocating for is actually leading people to the wrong path. For crying out loud. Someone like this one advocating for doctors to do the freaking job and help the patients is not leading people to the wrong path. And for number two, this is something that Elimination has spoken in her own video, especially in her Tumblr post, because people like you are so disingenuous. And guess what? People like you don't actually help people. You do the complete opposite of doing so.
That being said, outside of the typical morbidly obese fat acceptance advocate who definitely needs to reevaluate their food choices, there are a lot of people who have less
Legit making bold assumptions and purposely misrepresent exactly what her take is. With Aubrey Gordy, I believe there was a video I have to look up later again, where her whole point is about the fact of there's a disgusting bias when it comes to treating certain patients solely based on their weight instead of them actually treating the patient like a regular human being and actually look into these things. No, if someone goes to the freaking doctor's office and talk about legit valid issues, like for crying out loud, let's say as an example, oh, they lost their pinking finger for crying out loud, and the doctor's just gonna be telling them just lose weight, bro, just lose weight. That's all you need to do. Go on the diet. That's actually giving advice, and that's the type of example that she was talking about. That's her whole stance. It's all about the fact of doctors need to do the actual job and treat patients as patients for crying out loud. Stop being dismissive and actually do your freaking job and look into what the freaking issue is. Because not all the freaking time it's always about weight or some type of dumb BS. It's about other things too. If someone is going through like some type of disease or heart condition that runs down in the family, you don't just go out your way and just, oh well, it's your weight. So just lose weight, bro. That's not it. That's not it. You're just being disingenuous at that point. Because they can still lose weight, and guess what? They can still go through the same situation, but the things too, that situation is not getting fixed. It's not really getting fixed at all. So let's just continue with his terrible video on it.
You have to lie for a lot of these insults, like how the very next post on her community tab after the milkshake thing showed her holding a bag of wheat bread.
For one, she didn't eat that bread. Her pet
She did. She technically is doing so. You literally can see the whole bread is being half empty. And two, the funny part too is I find it so funny how when it was a wheat bread argument, wheat bread is way better than any other bread. That does not mean it's 100% healthier, whatever. I'm just saying it's better than other type of stuff. But the things too, the moment you do this, instead of you arguing up, oh yeah, you made a mistake, you're bad, whatever. Now you're making excuses for this. And his excuses makes no sense. First, he's going to blame the cat, and then when that doesn't work, he's just gonna start arguing up, well, bread is unhealthy because it has sugar.
did, so I went on a technicality. Two, bread is not healthy. Bread is a processed food. It's bad for you, and it's a lot of calories. I said
So almost the majority of the so-called healthy food is actually processed food. And two, processed food is not really a bad thing for crying out loud. But no, you got people like Sean that likes to frame it as it's a negative thing when in reality it really is a necessity technically. Technically, if you actually look at it from its actual concept. But the thing so no, his main issue is solely because it has sugars. That's it. That's literally is it. Just because it has sugar. With the funny part too, the bread is already full. Bread that's being shown is half
These
empty,
insults, like how the very next post on her community tab after the milkshake thing showed
literally almost empty. She had this in her cabinet. She had this in her kitchen. She had this in her home. Yes, she was freaking eating the bread. And the funny part too, I'm not even just making this claim. No, I'm using Sean's own logic. If he's gonna be using that freaking ice cream as so-called proof she was cheating on her diet or she was eating unhealthily, then we can use this as proof that no, it is not that simple. Then once again, you can have like let's say um oh my freaking gosh. So the thing is too, like you still went out your way to use this whole dumb argument about how her eating, like let's say, not even just eating, about how oh hey, her cartoons is proof that she was cheating on her diet, which still makes zero sense to begin with. And the fun number two is like you're literally using cartoons as local proof and evidence when it really is. It's the complete opposite. And instead of you just owning up to the fact that yes, you shouldn't be making these ridiculous claims, you do the complete opposite and just double down each time. Too much rare. Whoa. 1 second. I did not broke these. So let's continue.
her holding a bag of wheat bread.
For one, she didn't eat that bread. Her pet did, so I
She
win on
did. She did. And I love that how like one is, oh well, she didn't eat the bread, but here's the thing. Her using cartoons Frappuccino in the criticism of diet culture and all these other companies. No, that's proof that she was cheating on her diet and eating that. Because I said so even though it's not even her eating it to begin with. Nor is proof out, but somehow just trust me, bro. Now with this, you're making an excuse saying, "Oh, no, don't listen to him. Do not listen to him. Do not listen to him. She didn't eat that." And trust me, bro, because I said so. My guy, just stop. 1 second. Just want to make sure everything's going okay. Because of course, I think I broke my headphones just now. I just dropped it, so yeah.
technicality. Two, bread is not healthy. Bread is a processed
She never said, well, neither did he say anything bread being healthy, but it's better than any other type of food too. But the thing too is, I find it very ironic, and this is why I use his fruit argument right here. This is why I did it because, of course, he removed all of this context too, because he has to admit to the fact that yes, he was just reaching for the dumbest claims ever. Because if she's eating veggies or fruits, something that's supposed to be healthy for you, since these people like to argue that you should be going on a diet, and a lot of these things results to this, then yes, he has to admit to the fact that yes, he needs to stop reaching for the dumbest conclusion. But of course, he doesn't want to do that, which is why he's in the comments right now, acknowledging the fact that yes, he has to double down. He has to double down instead of owning up to the fact he made a mistake, which is why he's trying to justify his own lies.
food, it's bad for you, and it's a lot of calories. I said that in the original video when I showed this image on screen. People who are trying to lose weight should not be eating bread. This
That's kind of stupid when a lot of people are losing weight. Guess what? They use wheat bread as a way to help to do so, like at least 1 or 2 toasts of wheat bread. That's kind of very dumb. And heck, that's one of the recommended food when it comes to losing weight or just being on any amount of diet. So once again, that's kind of very dumb for you to even make that claim. In the same time, too, of course, the main reason on why is because of sugar. But you're the same person legit telling your own audience to drink sodium.
this is junk food, Noah. That's why I didn't use it as an example of
It's
healthy
not.
eating. Yeah, she doesn't only eat ice cream. Obviously, I didn't
Then shut the F up. And this is what I'm saying. He can't just own up to the fact that yes, he was reaching and he should probably shut the F up.
should not be eating bread. This is junk food, Noah. That's why I didn't use it as an example of healthy eating. Yeah, she doesn't only eat ice cream. Obviously, I didn't
And you should not be making some stupid claims like that, framing as if that's the only thing she just be eating. That is his point.
literally mean that because I showed her drinking soda. However,
My guy, you did mean it. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe we have to play this video. I cannot believe I have to play this whole entire video again. You cannot be this stupid and then
see her eating was ice cream. Strike one. After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike one. In fact, I've only ever really seen her show herself with processed junk food. Here's her with McDonald's. We had the Frappuccino/adult milkshake ad from earlier. Here's a picture
Literally you using cartoons as local proof when it's not proof.
of her grabbing Frosted Flakes. Newsflash, cereal is not healthy. Next, at
She
the end of
never
the weight loss
said
video,
that.
she shows this picture of a shopping cart full of what I assume she thinks is reasonably healthy food. We have a
Literally you proving his point that you did make that claim. It's not just ice cream as a whole. It's about the fact that all you've been doing is framing this idea that all she just be eating is just junk food all the time. Now let me show you the actual clip from Noah's video instead of what he actually did set and argue.
wearing those grandma glasses, picked better clothes, learned how to style her hair instead of always leaving it flat to her head with maximum forehead showing, and watch some makeup tutorials.
I want to talk about how he spent what must have been hours digging around her social media accounts to find photos of her eating junk food and of her body at a time when she weighed less in order to accuse her of lying about her diet.
So now I have
That was it. That was the claim. That was the claim. That was the claim. And what do you have Sean doing? Removing the exact context of what he actually was arguing. He removed the whole entire context.
contacts to make her look bad. Here's me from a prior video. Now I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are. After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream.
I want to talk about how we had to lie for a lot of these insults, like how the very next post on her community tab after the milkshake thing showed her holding a bag of wheat bread.
For one, she didn't
We're not done with that. We're not done with that.
I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are. After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike one.
I want to talk about how he had to lie for a lot of these insults, like how the very next post on her community tab after the milkshake thing showed her holding a bag of wheat bread, or how the photo he used to insult her fashion sense by saying she dresses like a homeless person
Holy shit, that is bad. This girl has millions of followers, yet if you saw her out in public, you'd be afraid that she's about to pester you for spare change.
was taken while she was hiking, and Sean knew that, but cropped out the identifying information so that his audience wouldn't, the less perceptive ones anyway, given that she's, sitting on a log in dirt.
So meaning she would be doing cardio and low resistance, working out, and so on and so forth. Doing exactly what you're trying to claim that she's. I can't talk for crying out loud. The same type of thing. How oh well, you should be more mobile. You should be working out. You should be more active, so you don't get bone. I can't talk. The irritation. Oh, and she's literally hiking. She's hiking. So my guy, what on earth are you talking about?
I want to talk about all that, but I have to shelve those points for now because there's a more pressing issue at hand, which is that Sean's videos caused a doxing.
That's what his whole point was. So here's the thing: you still have him lying and doubling down instead of owning up to the fact that he was wrong.
Didn't eat that bread. Her pet did, so I went on a technicality. 2, bread is not healthy. Bread is a processed food, it's bad for you, and it's a lot of calories. I said that in the original video when I showed this image on screen. People who are trying to lose weight should not be eating bread. This is junk food, Noah. That's why I didn't use it as an example of healthy eating. Yeah, she doesn't only eat ice cream. Obviously, I didn't literally mean that because I showed her drinking soda. However, every social
No, it's by the fact you frame this idea that all she just be doing is eating junk food. That is his point.
media post that I found of her for that video is her in front of a bunch of candy or promoting processed junk food or eating fried corn.
This is his point. You freaking idiot. All of the of it counts because it was in the view. She said she ate it. When the funny number two, this is a whole separate video. This is a whole separate video. And two, this does not count for anything either. Because this is not proof that she was eating this all the freaking time or the type of diet that she just be having, especially on her journey. So no, this is not proof for a single thing either. And here's the thing: you're using cartoons as proof of what she just be eating, especially on her diet. You're using cartoons, using drawings, using images. That's your proof.
Or eating food that was made from a box. To further fact check this, for this video, I scrolled all the way down through her social media except for Tumblr. I don't know how Tumblr works. Here's everything I found in reference to things that she was consuming. Here's everything.
This is stalking. This is stalking, and you save this on your drive. This is stalking. This is his point. It's not about how long it took you or whatever. It's about the fact you're doing this in general. That's the problem. This is stalking.
Everything from Twitter, here's YouTube, and here's Instagram. It's almost all
This is stalking. And then you have people like Pegasus arguing of this is not stalking. Yes, it is.
all processed junk food like ice cream,
It's not really processed junk food for crying out loud. And two, it really isn't that bad for crying out loud, dude. You're reaching.
Doritos, Burger King, Taco Bell with a caption
She's not even Burger King.
from Twitter, here's YouTube, and here's Instagram. It's almost all processed junk food like ice cream, Doritos, Burger King.
She's not even at a freaking Burger King restaurant. She's just in front of it, passing through. That's it. For crying out loud, you're desperate to push this lie.
Taco Bell with a caption saying that she loves Taco Bell.
Yeah, and this is not proof of her actually eating Taco Bell. It's just a joke. Crying out loud, it's just a joke. Who cares? This is not proof that she was cheating on her diet or some dumb BS. In fact, you're using cartoons again from 2023 out loud.
Taco Bell again about 2 weeks later.
Once again, this can be the same Taco Bell stuff that she already had from before, and she just kept the bag. So this is not proof of anything.
A refrigerator full of donuts.
Yes, you make an argument about this, but he's saying, was she's doing this on the same diet? No.
Pancakes and mac and cheese.
These are old photos that, oh my gosh, these were old photos in the front of her too. She wasn't even weighed that heavy either. And guess what? Her weight didn't really change, nor she gained that much weight over time. Two, these are not the only thing that she just be eating for crying bloody out loud. So this whole idea that these are the only type of stuff that she just be eating makes no sense either, especially when it comes to losing weight or gaining weight or some dumb BS like that. It does not back up. And number two, when it comes to losing weight, you can still eat pancakes and stuff. Just make an alternative version of it so that you can be able to use it in a way to lose weight and stuff, or to build muscles on. So there's a lot of people in the fitness industry, so on. So they literally give recipes to do these things. And affirmative, some of them do live, not even live on these, but they do eat things a lot. There's some athletes that also eat these things as well.
And matzo ball soup that she said in the video was made from a box. The healthiest thing I found her eating was this piece of chicken.
She didn't really say anything about that she made it, but of course, keep reaching.
And maybe these dragon rolls from 8 years. And matzo ball soup that she said in the video was made from a box. The healthiest thing I found her eating was this piece of chicken. And
he doesn't explain exactly on how this is healthy. Oh wait, she's starving. That's why it's healthy, because she's starving. She's not having actual proper food. She's having one little piece of meat. Pause. So yeah, starvation. Totally healthy. Doesn't even mean putting words in. No, that's exactly what he just argued. Nothing else.
maybe these dragon rolls from 8 years ago.
Sushi. Sushi healthy, my guy. This is like one of the things that is not even healthy. For crying out loud, this is a known fact. And for number two, you stated this around 8 years ago. Here's the thing: it's like let's say 10, not 10 years, but at least 9 years by now. But even so, my guy, this is not proof of anything. Again, this is reaching. This is definition of stalking.
though. Like most Americans, I don't think Alyssa knows what healthy food is, and
Neither do you. But the front part two, you're stalking her over something that you yourself do not even understand.
during the last Noah Samson drama, I showed that he eats like crap, so he doesn't know what's healthy either. Both
And yet the guy isn't in better shape than you are. And the funny part too, if you want to talk about this, then let's look at many athletes and what they eat as their diet. Oh wait, it really isn't healthy either. They eat a lot of junk food, a lot of calories and stuff. Oh wait, because they need to, so that they can maintain the same weight and calorie that they have. Because if they burn too much, then yes, that's bad.
both of you can start learning by reading ingredients labels. But I digress. This is kind of Noah's MO, where he injects himself into a space that he's not that knowledgeable in, breaks a bunch of stuff, learning by reading
Seriously? Once again, this is still can count as processed meat, and so can this, but of course you're saying that this is better because oh it fits the narrative you want to push, ignoring the fact that you just contradicted yourself when it came to elimination doing the same thing. You cry about processed meat, but like my guy, this can also count that too. I find funny that here you're making excuses for it.
ingredients labels. But I digress. This is kind of Noah's MO, where he injects himself into a space that he's not that knowledgeable in, breaks a
That's what you did.
bunch of stuff, and leaves everyone with a mess of misinformation.
That's what you did, not what he did. That's what you did. For number two, you're not even showing us exactly what he literally was talking about. You're not even showing us exactly what he fully was talking about.
With maximum forehead showing, and watch some makeup tutorials.
I want to talk about how he spent what must have been hours digging around her social media accounts to find photos of her eating junk food and of her body
That was
at
her
a time when
point.
she weighed less in order to accuse her of lying about her diet.
So now
Hours digging around her social media accounts to find photos of her eating junk food and of her body at a time when she weighed less in order to accuse her of lying.
One more time.
Spent what must have been hours digging around her social media accounts to find photos of her eating junk food and of her body at a time when she weighed less in order to accuse her of lying about her diet.
So now I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are. After scrolling
That's stalking, and that's his point. So you're not even making an actual valid argument to begin with.
So you have that Noah who doesn't know what he's talking about. Then you have moments with willfully ignorant Noah, like this one.
I want to talk about how he spent what must have been hours digging around her social media accounts to find photos of her eating junk food and of her body at a time when she weighed less in order to accuse her of lying about her diet.
Noah,
Yes, that's what you
you
did.
have to know that this doesn't take hours to do. Well, maybe
He didn't say anything about of you taking hours. That was not the point. It's about the fact that you went out your way to make this whole claim that she was cheating on her diet with no proof or evidence. You were stalking her. That was his point. He summarized his point in that one podcast that he was in. His point was literally about the fact you did it in general. And you just proven his point that you were wrong. That was his point in the video.
he doesn't know because he's bad at research. But let me show you how fast you can find these pictures. Okay.
It's not about how fast and easy it is. It's about the fact you're stalking her. That is the problem. You were stalking her to make this ridiculous claim that is not even accurate nor backed up. It's not even proof. But for number two, you even admit to the fact she doesn't even post that often. So once again, more proof that you have no clue what you're talking about and you're making bold assumptions about her for no reason. So once again, all you could have done was just shut the F up and stop talking.
Okay, I just opened up OBS and we're going to scroll down from the top of her Instagram. And this is not going to take that long at all.
It does not matter how long it took. That's not the point. It's about the fact you're doing this in general. That is stalking.
Not even
Legit, her hiking again. Still hiking. Well, of course, you're not going to be showing that because you need to push this idea that, oh, she's not working out, she's not exercising, blah, blah.
scrolling down that quickly. And there's this picture. Scrolling down a little bit more.
My guy, this is unhinged and weird.
And let's see, there is that picture.
My guy, this is not proving a single thing. Instead, proving Noah's point that, yes, you're stalking her. This is weird.
Didn't take that long at all. This took less
It's not about the fact it took you long. It's about the fact that you did it in general. You were already making this video, no matter how long it was, and you took time to stalk her to make this weird assumption about her life. That is the point. That's exactly his argument.
less than a minute. It's not that hard. Alyssa doesn't post
It's not about that.
that much. Literally watching the short. Let's see, there is that picture. Didn't take that long at all. This took less than a minute. It's not that hard. Alyssa doesn't post that much. Literally watching.
So once again, there was no reason for you to do this then. So meaning there was no reason for you to be doing any of this nonsense to begin with then, you freaking idiot. So one, meaning that no, you didn't find any evidence that she was cheating on her diet or have anything to do with her personal life or which just eat on the occasional or not occasionally on the regular. Meaning you have no clue what you just did. You just stalked her, found random photos of her to the point where you were so desperate you used cartoons of her. You use her cartoons as so-called evidence to argue that she was cheating on her diet or that she was not eating healthy. This is not proof of a single thing. Because once again, it was none of your bloody business. And two, She never told you what she was eating on her freaking diet. And the fact that you have people like more Pegasus and all these idiots literally arguing that this completely was okay, it's not stalking, it was not that deep, just shows that these people are so desperate to say the most dumbest claims ever.
Watching the shortest video of hers took longer to do than scroll through her Instagram. Speaking of, that's where this McDonald's picture comes from. I found
It does not matter. It's about the fact what you just did was creepy. That was
it by
it.
watching a ton of her videos, which is what I do for every reaction, and it's what everyone who does
No, you don't. You didn't.
scripted content should do. Even finding all the junk food pictures, screenshotting them, and organizing them took less than 30 minutes.
His point was not about how long you're doing. So once again, you're strawmanning right here. You're literally changing the topic to a whole irrelevant thing that he's not even talking about. He's talking about the fact of what you just did. He's not talking about how long it took you. You freaking idiot. And the fact that you admitted into doing what you just did. And the thing is that you got people like more Pegasus arguing that of what he did was not stalking, it was not weird. Like I legit admitted to what he just got accused of. Yes, he just
And
stalked.
it's what everyone who does scripted content should do. Even finding all the junk food pictures, screenshotting them, and organizing them took less than 30
Screenshotting them and organizing them. So you knew forward a lot of these photos were old. And they're not really a good point to make this claim that, oh, she was cheating on her dad while she was doing this. My guy, this thing was like almost 8 years old. For crying out loud. Do you know how old that is? To me, that is not proof of a single thing either. And then to the point where you have to use cartoons as so-called proof and evidence. Yeah, my guy, you're proving his point that you're reaching for the dumbest conclusion. And then you're out here not realizing that of, oh yeah, you sound like a freaking stalker and a creep.
minutes. But what are we, shaming research now? If I'm trying to
This is not research. This is stalking. And once again, what you just did made a dumb claim that has no backing to begin with. Two, she didn't even told you anything about her diet or what she was eating at all. Because that was none of your business, nor was relevant to her video. Of course, you did not care. You made a dumb claim, and you did all of this for no reason. That was his point.
figure out who a creator is it wrong for me to look at more than just their YouTube channel? This is standard procedure.
This has nothing to do with it. You freaking idiot. You went out your way to put this false idea about her for no reason. He literally summarized the point in the same video. He literally told you the point.
Attractive by most people if she just stopped wearing those grandma glasses, picked better clothes, learned how to style her hair instead of always leaving it flat to her head with maximum forehead showing, and watched some makeup tutorials.
I want to talk about how we spent what must have been hours digging around her social media accounts to find photos of her eating junk food and of her body at a time when she weighed less in order to accuse her of lying about her diet.
So now I
That was the claim. You're stalking her. For crying out loud. Oh, this is such stupid. This is so stupid. And the fact he's literally saying this and doesn't see the irony of him thinking that, oh yeah, this is a good own. I'm just showing no. My guy, no, you're not.
that I
Ugh.
do for every video, and most of the time, it leads me to a more charitable opinion of the person that I'm reacting to. But
No, it doesn't lead you to a terrible pain. My guy, you were stalking her to make this ridiculous claim about her life. That is weird. That's not you being charitable. And the fun number two, you still made this ridiculous claim that she was cheating on her diet or that she was eating unhealthily. My guy, that's not you being charitable. You're slandering her. What's the point? My guy, if you were being charitable, you would not be out here lying about the person. But you weren't.
Noah thinking it's excessive to spend less than an hour checking people's other platforms is just a self-report on how
No, it isn't. It's about the fact that you went out your way, once again, for the last time, you went out your way to make this dumb claim that she was cheating on her diet or she was eating unhealthily with no evidence, no proof, to the point where you were so desperate. You stalked her social media's account. You went to argue that her cartoons that she just make, that's proof. You literally did that and tried to argue that's proof. Even to the point where she's not even eating the food. You're still arguing of, oh, her being right next to this Burger King sign, some of that's proof she was cheating. My guy, this is the point. You're making an absurd claim with nothing to back it up with. That's not doing research. That's not doing anything. That's just you making the dumbest assumption to frame her in a negative light. That is defamation.
little research he does for his videos. So this is the Noah that I'm familiar with. Noah is like Diet Hassan. He's the same old Hassan that we know and love, except with a lot less followers. But he makes huge mistakes that are obviously indicative of someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And much like Hassan, he will often take advantage of people.
My guy, that's what you just did. And instead of you actually forming a legit argument, you changed the whole entire argument and went this whole tangent of, oh well, it wasn't that long. It was very easy. It was very short. It didn't took me that long to look these things up, even though he did not even talk about that, nor that was his point.
People's lack of knowledge in a subject like video creation to make viewers think that it takes 10 hours to scroll down a little bit on someone's public Instagram account.
That was not his. My guy, you really need to learn to shut the F up. It's so funny. You're saying this about Noah and Hassan. At times, rightfully so. But my guy, this situation, you really cannot be talking when my guy, that is not the argument he was talking about. He was talking about the fact of what you did in general, not about how long it took you.
Except with a lot less followers. But he makes huge mistakes that are obviously indicative of someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And much like Hassan, he will often take advantage of people's lack of knowledge in a subject like video creation to make viewers think
Like how you oh my freaking gosh. I cannot have to keep showing this.
I have to do some investigating to find out what Alyssa's eating habits are. After scrolling down through her community tab, the only thing I was able to see her eating was ice cream. Strike one.
I want to talk about how we had to lie for a lot of these insults, like how the very next post on her community tab after the milkshake thing showed her holding a bag of wheat bread, or how
So once again, and you double down on this instead of you only admitting to the fact that you messed up.
the photo he used to insult her fashion sense by saying she dresses like a homeless person
Holy shit, that is bad. This girl has millions of followers, yet if you saw her out in public, you'd be afraid that she's about to pester you for spare change.
was taken while she was hiking, and Sean knew that, but cropped out the
Once again, what the But no, you're crying about what Noah did. By doing the same thing that you're accusing him for.
I think that it takes 10 hours to scroll down a little bit on someone's public Instagram account. So I have a very difficult
His point was never about how long it took you. You freaking idiot.
time telling if Noah is simply not good at this, or if he's being malicious. Quite a lot of his videos seem
My guy, you purposely slander her whole entire video and then double down in other people's comments instead of you admitting to the fact that you're wrong for doing so. You're being malicious. Like, oh my gosh. Like, number two, this is just the intro of the video. Just the intro of the video. We haven't got to like the other takes he has made. We haven't got to the other takes, so let's go to it. Legit, this part right here for an example.
pictures and videos of me as a way of saying, I know what you look like, and now so does everybody else. The funny part is that it looks like he thinks this is some kind of own, but I don't care if people know what I look like. If I cared, I wouldn't have gone on camera. But really, the only result of him showing my face is a bunch of people saying that I'm attractive.
What does he look like? Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I'm gonna bully the
But really, else. I believe I've crossed some sort of privacy line, and passive-aggressively shows pictures and videos that publicly available photos that you posted on your Instagram or Twitter account are leaked private info. So with all that in context,
That's not the point. That's not the point.
it may be AI, or it may be someone with a strong political bend. Whether you get struck or not depends on who reviews your content. So I imagine that when Alyssa flagged me, I got a more favorable reviewer, but when Noah's fans flagged me, I got a bot or a less favorable
No, it wasn't about or anything like that. It's about the fact of what you did yourself. It has nothing to do with flag. It's about the fact that yes, what you did was wrong.
reviewer. Anyway, what would cause Alyssa to think it's okay to commit what is basically fraud to get my
What she did was not fraud at all.
videos taken down? And I say fraud because privacy claims go through YouTube's legal system. Alyssa, you're a public figure. Everything I used in that video was stuff from public interviews that you consent.
That's not the point. You freaking
And I say fraud because privacy claims go through YouTube's legal system. Alyssa, you're a public
my guy. You made false claims about her personal life with no evidence at all. You literally went out your way to stalk her. You make bold claims about her personal life. For crying out loud. What the frick are you talking about? Like honestly, what the frick are you talking about?
figure. Everything I used in that video was stuff from public interviews that you consented to, your own
That's not the point.
channel, and your Instagram
That's
page.
not the
None of
point.
the information
And two, you were still stalking her, which is the point.
that I used was private. So now we have Alyssa filing false privacy claims, to which
No, it's not false privacy claims. For crying
at least
out
one
loud,
of went
it's so
through.
dumb.
Here's the evidence of that. Fortunately, I beat the claim and the video stayed up. This particular claim was on the video that I did on Alyssa's friend Dylan, who, by the way, is also a public figure, worked on a Let's Play channel with over 100,000 subs for years, and had a Twitch channel where he shows his face, as well as his Twitter page. She's lucky the video didn't get taken down because YouTube has a really bad habit of not telling you who your
No, it should be taken down because you legit put her life in danger.
accuser is, and until Noah ratted on her, I had no idea that Alyssa was the one privacy claiming my videos. So thanks, Noah, for providing that.
No, that was you. You literally did that in your own second video where you already made this claim that she was doing that already. He didn't do that. No one else did. You were doing that. You brought it up first.
Evidence of that. And Alyssa, if my videos get taken down for false privacy claims, you are aware that I can sue you, right? Maybe
No, because you can't. If you do sue her, guess what? You're going to lose the lawsuit and you owe her money. That's the funny part. My guy, you removed all the context and you falsified her whole entire video to push multiple lies. You literally tried to argue that freaking cartoons is proof of her cheating on her diet or that she was eating unhealthily. Legit, dumb freaking posts from 8 years ago, mind you, even posts where she's not even eating the food is proof. My guy, you're going to lose the lawsuit and a lot of people are going to be laughing at you. You're not going to win. That's just a fact.
think about that next time before you tell the YouTube legal team that publicly available photos that you posted on your Instagram or
She wasn't talking about that, you freaking idiot.
Twitter account are leaked private info.
That's not even what she was talking about.
So with all that in context, how do you not call this a deplatforming attempt? She not only
No, not a single thing that she did was deplatforming, you freaking idiot. She just advocated for the one video to get reported. Still not deplatforming, nor targeting your channel. So once again, it's so funny how instead of you owning up to the fact that yes, thanks because of you, she got dogs, you're still trying to find a way to play victim. And this is why I'm using this clip right here to prove the fact that no, he did not feel bad about her getting dogs to begin with. He's totally celebrating it and still arguing that she deserved it.
only use the flagging system to attack me, but lied to YouTube about me sharing private information to get
She didn't lie.
my videos taken down. Why Noah provided evidence of her doing that, I have
She did not provide any evidence for
no
crying out
idea.
loud.
Though Noah clearly seems to believe I've crossed some sort of privacy line, and passive-aggressively shows pictures and videos
No, he provided evidence that yes, she was allowed to make these reports. That was his argument.
of me as a way of saying, I know what you look like, and now so does everybody else.
That's nothing to do with that.
The funny part is that it looks like he thinks this is some kind of own, but I don't care if people know what I look like. If I cared, I wouldn't have gone on camera. But really, the only result of him showing my face is a bunch of people saying that I'm attractive.
What does he look like? Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
You say a bunch of people when that's not really close. And for number two, one, she was not even being that serious. Yeah, she gave a comment at times, but at the same time, two, she was still against it with every single take that you have been making throughout the video. That doesn't really make any sense.
God, I'm gonna bully the fuck out of him right now. What does he look like? This is him. Yeah, he's kind of cute.
And the for number two, that's what happened. That has nothing to do with Noah's video. That was your video on the subject. She went out her way to look for your photo because of dumb takes that you were making. So no, that's nothing to do with what Noah said or what he did.
Cute. Now I can't bully him.
Nice own, Noah. And Brittany Simon, what?
Homie, she was not watching Noah's video. She was watching your video. This is your channel. My guy, she's literally using your video. She went out her way to look up for your photo. Like you're talking about Noah in a
Fuck out of
negative
him
light.
right
But yeah, here you are not being literate.
now. What does he look like? This is him. Yeah.
Literally her looking up what you look like. Literally her doing it her own self. Not because of Noah, because she's not watching his video. She's watching your video.
He's kind of cute. Now I can't bully him.
Nice own, Noah. And Brittany Simon wasn't the only one who said that. Okay, holy crap, we've been here for a while. That's
Yeah, because you mean how like the only other people who have been I can't freaking talk. I can't freaking talk. You freaking sex worker. You mean the other people who have been complimenting your looks were people who are defending you.
It's okay though, because Noah gave me like an hour and 20 minutes of content to cover. But we haven't even gotten to the big, out of context allegations that everyone's raving about.
My guy, you did remove the context, and when people call you out on this, you double down to argue, oh, what you did was justified. My guy, you literally lied about everything that she talked about, and it went to other people's channels.
Let's get to those, starting with the one that people care about the most. I'll let Noah explain it first.
He presents what he calls Illy's final piece of advice and uses that as evidence to argue that she is promoting obesity.
All right, let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
A carrot isn't an inherent good food, while chocolate is an inherent bad food. Food is just food. No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
I'm done. That was such terrible advice. I don't know how this video could be considered as anything other than enabling food addicts to not
Food addiction is not legit, and two, she's not enabling food addicts.
fix their health.
So Illy's
And not true.
quotes here, that food is just food and you should eat whatever you want, were the most important pieces of evidence to Sean's conclusion.
Okay, that's kind of the background of what was in
So, but no. Let him finish, because you know, full, you're purposely misrepresenting every single thing that he's
my
saying.
original video. But Noah suggests that important context has been left out to purposefully make Alyssa look bad. Let's
Yes, it was. It was. If not, then you would not remove the freaking context to begin with, you bloody idiot. You would not remove the context to make this dumb claim. When she literally gives the caveat, she literally gives the exception when it comes down to it. To me, she acknowledged there's limits to it. And yet, you remove that whole entire context, acting as if like, oh, well, she's not considering these type of people. My guy, she did. If it didn't matter, then you would not remove the context to begin with. Only it did matter because she brought it up, and that's why you removed it.
hear his argument.
So I went back to Illy's actual video and see if you can spot what he decided to cut from this sequence.
No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, whatever is in it. Unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
So immediately before she says that faded line, eat whatever you want, she added a caveat. She said, unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow.
That's it? That's what every
No. Shut the F up. Shut the F up. No, it's about the fact that you yourself remove the context on purpose, then you own up to the fact that yes, you lied about what happened. He literally continues his whole entire point.
Changes hands, the boy's blood sugar monitor, that's what this is, it just sort of appears on the chair. There's a break in continuity. So I went back to Illy's actual video and see if you can spot what he decided to cut from this sequence.
No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, whatever is in it. Unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
So immediately before she says that faded line, eat whatever you want, she added a caveat. She said, unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow. While this line is being delivered, you can also see on the screen that the boy, who has diabetes, is taking a reading of his blood sugar and then gets the green light. So he's good to go for having a s'more with his friends without throwing his blood sugar out of whack. This line, as well as the depiction on screen, is an acknowledgement that there are some exceptions to her statement, which would include, for example, a diabetic person's blood sugar imbalances, or most importantly for Sean's conclusion, the dietary restrictions recommended to morbidly obese people. He just cut that line right out. And this is important, right? Because this line directly refutes Sean's narrative that Illy is promoting obesity. This phrase, dietary restrictions, rules out the more extreme situations that Sean is referring to when he says that this will cause viewers to eat themselves into an early grave. There's another equally important misrepresentation of what Illy says here, which has to do with context and framing. If you notice, Sean introduces the clip from Illy's video by calling it her advice.
Let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
Now, what does he mean by advice? Just general advice or something more specific? Well, seeing as his conclusion from this advice is that Illy might kill fat people by enabling them to overeat, it's safe to assume, I think, that when he says advice, what he actually means is nutritional advice. You know, advice for dieting and weight loss. That's what the conclusion implies. And so, when these lines...
And that's his point of why he brought it up. Because yes, that was important. The next second, he proves why it was
food
important.
is just food and carrots aren't good and chocolate isn't bad are being presented as dieting advice. And yeah, you already know people were going to have something to say about that. And say about that, they did.
S'mores are a diet food. Got it.
So 27 bars of chocolate is equal to a meal of broccoli, grilled tomato, mashed potatoes, and chicken. Nice to know.
I have diabetes type 3. Time to eat 4 trillion Oreos.
It's really funny, that last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it. So then there was a bunch of comments about diabetes. Really.
Yeah. So he removing it, guess what? He already put this false narrative onto his own viewers. And Beowulf, and you're still dick riding this dude. You're still repeating the same lies that he made up. You're still defending every single word that he has made up. Instead of you acknowledging to the fact he was wrong and he lied about what happened. You could have just owned up to the fact that yes, he shouldn't be doing this.
Really good. The other alleged creators covering this video did the same thing.
Carrots are definitely healthier for you than a chocolate bar, so telling kids something otherwise is actually harmful.
What?
She didn't say that. And you have this guy who was constantly just lying. He didn't even watch the video. And what's worse, this is the same thing with all of these channels. They would use this whole argument of, well, she didn't watch the video, so okay, cool. And that does not justify her getting harassed. That does not justify her getting death threats or justify her to get doxxed. It does not justify any of these things. But in front of her too, you all make this excuse. But yeah, here's the funny part. You yourself has never watched her original video. Not one of you guys did. Almost every single channel, including this guy, didn't even watch her video. It's already bad when you guys are misrepresenting everything in the video. It's way worse when you're doing this by proving you didn't even watch it. You listened to what someone else said. And that's the problem.
Has more calories, 1 pound of broccoli or half a cup of olive oil? Half a cup of olive oil.
Did one of your professional doctors tell you this? Was the nutritionist the one that told you that carrots and chocolates are the same? I can't.
She didn't say that that was the same. She never made that claim. She did say food is food, yes. But she didn't say that it was the same type of food or just the same things in general. But of course, you're not playing the full context.
Believe a full-grown adult actually believes this dumb shit. Here's a fact. Chocolate is high in sugar and saturated fat.
Yeah, they just go on like that for like 10 minutes. They sound like they're having a blast, honestly. There must be a floor to critical thinking that when you blow past it, everything just starts feeling like pure euphoria. This response here from both audiences and creators relies on Sean's framing of Illy's words, that they were intended as dieting advice. But the thing is, they weren't.
They weren't. And that was his point. It's about the fact how he was framing this whole entire situation of her video, purposely misrepresenting every single thing about it. That was the point. And guess what? Sean doubles down on this and proved his point to be
This
correct.
video has some fairly straightforward themes. She talks about dealing with negative body image, about getting bullied, starting unhealthy eating habits, and frustrations over weight loss. Her video is a direct critique of diet culture and its morality-based food logic.
Diet culture is an entire belief system that associates food with morality and thinness with goodness.
She relates her own experiences to the common occurrence of teenagers dieting, despite already being at a healthy weight. Immediately before the good and bad foods clip, Illy introduces a concept called body neutrality, which advocates for removing the moral element from how we view our bodies. She then states that she is about to apply that concept to food. So given the actual content of her video, and the direct link she'd just drawn from moral neutrality to food, when she finally actually says these lines, her intent could not be more clear. She's talking about morality. She's saying that eating carrots doesn't make you a good person, just like eating chocolate doesn't make you a bad person. By presenting only the tail end of the sequence and neglecting to accurately portray the central themes of her entire video, Sean has removed it from all context. The result is that he's framed her as both an idiot that can't do basic math about calories, and more seriously, a dangerous person whose dieting advice will end up with people dead. Along with Sean's
And that's his point.
conclusion that Illy's advice is going to kill people, he also claims that because of this sequence, the message of her video is that she endorses drug abuse.
Stop writing criticism off as malicious concern trolling when the ending message of your video was effectively, if you can't stop doing drugs, then drugs aren't bad, and you should take whatever drugs you want and as many drugs as you want.
This was
Even though that is not remotely close to how that works, nor even what she even argued or said. Once again, literally doing concern trolling, proving her exact point of why she made a video, acknowledging to the fact that yes, he's being disingenuous.
yet another inflammatory statement that was mainlined into the beautiful working brains of the people harassing her.
Why did you just sell me drugs?
Next video, the perks of popping pills.
Should I be celebrated for my lifestyle choices? Gather round and cheer me on while I drink heavily 5 days a week. I'm an alcoholic. Accept me.
Here's a comment saying she compared coffee with fentanyl, and then here's another comment saying that she actually said that. The severity of these accusations
Once again, and you have multiple channels putting words in her mouth and say like, oh, she said this, she did this, when all of these things have been easily be debunked if they only watch her video. Not one of these people watched the video, and neither did you, Beowulf. To this very day, you're so purposely misrepresenting everything of Noah's video and her video because you didn't even watch it.
is then compounded by his immediate reminder to viewers that her audience is probably full of children.
Keep in mind that Alyssa's videos are clearly targeted at children based on the style of animation and the references and jokes she makes.
The
That makes no sense still.
implication here is that Illy's video may end up directly harming or possibly killing children. If we hold him to all the assertions he's made here, that's what the video is telling us. And then we remember his inclusion of children in the thumbnail and his later speculations about her child audience.
Considering that in this post you stated that your market is children.
She never stated anything that her market are children. She never once made that claim. You literally, this is what I kept saying. With Sean, he likes to highlight things on purpose to misrepresent exactly what he's trying to tell him. Because he does not want you to read the full thing. You got the whole post right here. Nowhere she ever made that claim. Nowhere she has ever made that claim. Once again, it's for a younger version of herself who needed these advice, who felt these things while she was going through it. That was her take. She didn't say it was for a younger audience or BS like that, but also people who literally went through the same thing that she did or need someone in their corner. It's right there. And you purposely took this whole thing out of context again, only highlighted the part you want people to focus on and misrepresent what it said.
Children, do you really think this is being a good role model?
And the results are that his
Yes, and she is still a better role model than you are.
viewers have heard his message loud and clear. She should not be telling children that it's okay to be unhealthy. 4,000
She didn't say that. She still never did that.
likes. Illy, you're feeding 14-year-old insecure children lies about health.
No, she isn't. No, she isn't. What you guys are doing is
As a
doing
soon-to-be
that.
doctor, yeah, I'm sure that's true. As a soon-to-be doctor, you are making everything worse for the next generation. Little content warning
Not
here
true.
for some bad stuff. I hate this.
Okay, so we can skip past that one again, but let's just go back to it.
Everyone is freaking out about? This is the most nothing burger out of context accusation that I've
No, it's about the fact you legit removed the whole entire context and purposely misrepresented to frame this whole idea that was not even accurate nor true. And then guess what? You went to your own friend's account and told them to just believe in it. And you got all these other people that just went along with this, when in reality, it was not even accurate to what actually she said. And you knew about this, which is why you made multiple comments doubling down on this instead of you owning up to the fact that you were wrong.
ever seen.
Not everyone is like specifically catering their brand to be a certain way to like be as dishonest as you are. Like, you can tell when somebody frames something innocuous in the worst intentions.
My guy, you went on Destiny's channels and lied about what happened to frame that she was advocating for deplatforming when there was no proof of that, and then you're trying to advocate for doxing on her. You literally was calling that it was justified on her for crying blatantly out loud. And you're friends with Sean, who blatantly slandered her own video. My guy, you really should not be talking when it comes to false information and BS like that.
You should immediately question their intentions and like how they go about things, you know? Because you are. Like, you can tell when somebody frames something innocuous in the worst intentions, you should immediately question their intentions and like how they go about things, you know? Because it's a
You did that, and you're friends with Sean, who, once again, you and Sean did those exact things.
pure to their mind, it's pure projection.
So the moment that I cut out from Melissa's video is something that I call an I'm not saying clause. Just as an example, Tiffany
No, he's saying she did brought it up because it was relevant to her point, because she acknowledged that there's limits to it. You're removing it, and they're trying to frame it as if she's advocating for people to become obese or eat junk food herself. It's false. That's the point. She literally right there is telling you, no, she's not doing that. And the point number two, what's ironic, what's bloody ironic, you can go to the exact scene itself, and she literally clarifies this point. She literally clarifies this whole type point all the way to here.
What we think we should change, but also not worshiping the parts of ourselves that do align with diet culture. This way of thinking challenges us to look in the mirror and say, yep, that's my body, and finally celebrate its existence for what it can do, not for how it looks. And when it comes to food, that same logic should apply. A carrot isn't an inherent good food, while chocolate is an inherent bad food. Food is just food, no matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, whatever is in it. Unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
And she was still correct about that. But for number two, he removed that part of the context and the other part of the context to misrepresent what she said. But for number two, he removed this context too.
Oh great, now she's glorifying obesity. I'm not glorifying anything. My point is simple. Don't be a to fat people. And don't use, oh, I just care about their health as an excuse. Being fat doesn't automatically mean someone is less healthy or too lazy to look like you or however you think they should look. You don't know these people. But what if they're not healthy? Even if you've stalked this person to somehow come to that conclusion, you're still not allowed to be a to them. Ugh.
That's her entire point, and that's the whole entire summary of the whole video. Nothing else. That's exactly the bloody summary of the video. And you have Sean here not only removed the end point of the context, the sorry about that, the beginning of the context and the end of it, which is already bad enough. But when you remove the middle part of it on purpose, even when the seconds within seconds, I'm sorry, you knew full well what you were doing. If you going to argue that, oh, it doesn't change anything, my guy, then you would not remove it to begin with. You purposely selected that take and removed it of the whole entire context and then frame it into a whole negative light. And you have all your friends and all your audience legit took your word as a fact. Yes, that is you slandering and doing defamation. That's you lying. That's you removing context. Yes, that's the point. It's about what you did. Whether it's changed the context or not, even though it actually did change a lot, it's about the fact you doing it in general is bad. And your excuse is, oh, we're trying to make the video short as possible. That's not an excuse.
Tiffany Ferguson does this a lot in her videos.
And I'm not saying this applies to any of the specific families that I'm talking about in this video. And I'm not pulling the whole, oh, be grateful because some people have it worse. And I'm not just saying that because
So her legit give it clarification. Once again, if she says anything about how oh yeah, I don't support doxing, and I remove that whole thing and then frame this idea that she does support doxing with no evidence, yeah, I'm gonna be lying. I'm gonna be lying. That's the point. It's about the fact you remove the context of her giving clarification, giving exception, acknowledging that there's limits to something. So once again, it's necessary. So once again, it was necessary. Because once again, it is like you frame this idea. She's advocating for obesity or she's glorifying this type of stuff. When the friend number two, in that take, he's telling you, no, she's not doing that. She literally in the next second, she states that she was not doing so. She literally states she was not doing so. And in that middle part, in the beginning of the part, that's what she was making clear. That's not what she was doing. All she was doing is just saying, "Hey, do not be treating fat people like out like legit. Stop treating them as freaking Jewish people and the Nazis. Jewish people. No, I'm so tired. Stop treating fat people as if there's Jewish people in the Holocaust for crying out loud. That's the point. You remove that entire context and misrepresent it for no reason. That's the issue.
Because this is also my job. To be clear, I'm not making fun of any of these setups. I'm not deluding myself to believe that a 9 to 5 would be easy.
It's annoying because almost everybody knows that.
No, it's not about whether it's annoying, but at all. It's about the fact she is clearing clarification, and that's a good thing. So one, so that no one is going to put any words in her mouth, and two, she giving her point clear throughout the whole video. That is why it's important. But for number two, in your second video, you double down on this and argue on why you won't do stuff like this.
Obviously, they are not saying what they have to say. I'm not saying for. Unfortunately, as a content creator, you have to do these clauses, or bad faith people who react to you will go, "See, he's saying that Alyssa is telling people with allergies to eat food that will hospitalize them."
My guy, that's what you did. My guy, that's exactly what you just did. You literally made that claim. You made that argument. Oh my
These clauses, or bad faith people who react to you will go, "See, he's saying that Alyssa is telling people with allergies to eat food that will hospitalize them."
My guy, you literally did this. It's so funny. You're framing this idea as if that's not what you did when you literally did that. In the frame two, I show you the exact on context of Noah's video back in this take up and explain why that was important. If not, then you would not remove it to begin with. Of course, you did it because you knew full what you were doing.
But here's an important piece of nuance. I didn't do that, and I also.
Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, I love the whole oh, he's a poor nuance. I didn't do that. Yes, you did.
Didn't accuse her of telling people with diabetes to overeat sugar either. Hospitalize them. But clauses, or bad faith people who react to you will go, "See, he's saying that Alyssa is telling people with allergies to eat food that will hospitalize them."
You did.
Here's an important piece of nuance. I didn't do that, and I.
Yes, you did. Yes, you blatantly did. I've already shown the exact time step from Noah's video. But for number two, you blatantly did countless of times, and you're still doing that to this very exact day. You're on a Chino's channel and still made that claim. You're on all of your channel and made that claim, for crying out loud. You legit use her having cartoons as proof. You're blatantly making this argument. And for number two, in the same exact take, you flat out did. How you gonna make this claim? That's not what you did. I proved the point you straight up did. For crying out loud.
In Michael Hobbs. Each episode.
Here's I don't care if I get in trouble for this. I don't care. Let's just go through
So they
it.
go over diet trends and fads, the history, the myths, the biases. They have really helped me reconsider what it means to be healthy.
Wow, this is a very misleading animation. Note that she began this segment with, "It's not unhealthy to be overweight." While that technically might be true in terms of all-cause mortality, being a few pounds overweight will most likely not end your life early.
Then how about you please shut the F up and stop arguing as if being overweight equates to going to die at an earlier age. That's not how it works. So once again, you're not even being consistent with your own logic.
But this specific animation is completely inaccurate. The girl.
No, it isn't. She is so fat. You just want to be a ridiculous stereotype of a fat woman. That's the problem.
On the left is named Aubrey Gordon, and if that name doesn't sound familiar to you, remember this opinion piece that I showed earlier that was cited as evidence in the self.com article that Alyssa used? Well, this girl on the left wrote that article. Small world. But in this animation, she's depicted as a little overweight, when in reality, this is what she actually looks like. Who
Yeah, she's no different. This looks no different to the actual cartoon depiction. The problem though, you just want to look a ridiculous type of depiction of it. Nothing else.
makes this stuff? She's maybe like 160 to 170 pounds in this animation. A little fat. However,
no, she's still fat. She's still legit in this. You're showing the fact that no, this is still accurate. This is just an art style that she does have. For crying out loud. No, you just want her to look like Bob from Tekken. That's the type of person you know what, let me bring it up. No, that's a great example. Like, oh my freaking gosh. You literally just want to look like this for no reason. For no reason in the cartoon. When it's a freaking animation style, nothing else.
in real life, she's like over 300 pounds. I really have trouble believing that Alyssa is trying to be honest about her dieting when she wildly misrepresents.
I mean, she didn't tell you a single thing about what she was doing in her diet, and two, she is being honest. You're removing all the context from her video and lied about what happened. This is why I said that yes, if you try to sue her, you're going to lose the freaking case within an instant. Within an instant. And number two, if she sue you, heck, I hope she does sue you, or anyone sues you. And guess what? I hope you learn a lesson. And if number two, if she does sue you, and all these other channels get sued, it'll be justified. Because y'all really need to learn to shut the F up sometimes.
That's Aubrey to make her look vastly thinner than she actually is. This is like the
No, she didn't.
Anita Sarkeesian animation all over again, but much less accurate of a representation. More good news, because of Alyssa's recommendation, I watched an episode of Maintenance Phase, and despite them being politically aligned with Alyssa, actually maybe closer to the radical left than Alyssa is.
literally him just admitting to the fact that his issue has nothing to do whether they're right or wrong. It's just about the fact that they're left leaning and they don't have his political point of view. Showing the fact that this whole thing was never about having a criticism or having a different opinion. It's just him showing to the fact not only he's a bigot, only about the fact he's a disingenuous, biased person. Nothing else. Nothing bloody else. That's it.
Even they will say that being morbidly obese like Aubrey is unhealthy.
If you look at the raw
Because they're being freaking nuanced, you freaking idiot. They're not saying that freaking being overweight or heavy, whatever, is good for you or anything like that. They never made an argument, but you're still framing this idea as if that's the type of stuff that they believe when that's not the claims. Let's go with Aubrey Golding. She knows that yes, weight can be contributing to your health, but it's not the only factor when it comes down to it. There's other things too. But of course, people like you don't like to hear them. This is her point.
numbers, it's true that very fat people have shorter lifespans than thin people. Yeah. It's complicated for the lower weights, and there's a lot of scientific debate about sort of when that association kicks in, and we'll get into it. But that correlation,
Literally, her gave you the nuance about that it's not so straight and simple.
that statement that very fat people are more likely to get heart disease and diabetes and everything you've read about in a million Newsweek articles, that's never really been debated.
It absolutely has been debated.
If you let her finish the point, you know what? I would say this for the actual regular video because it's embarrassing that you did this.
You know who debated it? Your morbidly obese co-host said that people were wrong for assuming that she's unhealthy in the article that I showed at the start of the video.
Yes, because they don't know a single thing about her actual life or anything else. They don't know a single thing about her health. They just assume that she's unhealthy solely because of her own weight. That's the point that she's talking about. You freaking idiot.
And many creators, such as Noah Samson, often say that morbidly obese people can be healthy. But imagine that.
Yes, and that still is correct. You freaking idiot. That is still correct. You could be overweight or even fat and still be completely fine and healthy. And guess what? You could be not fat and you could still be unhealthy. That is a fact. This is why I said that no, you have no clue on what you're talking about. And Beowulf, this is why I said that it takes you idiots less than a few seconds to just research these things and have a proper understanding, have an honest conversation about this, but you don't.
Being obese is not good for you. The research is so clear on
Stupid. Being not over. Well, my freaking. I have to keep saying this. Stupid. You do know that yes, you can also not be fat and or overweight, and you can still be unhealthy, and it will still not be good for you. The only reason why obesity would be bad for you is not only because you're fat alone. There's other factors onto why. That is it. So yes, those people who are not even fat can still go through the same situation as they do. Right? This is not so straight and simple. Like, oh my freaking gosh, bro. And two, it does not mean anything that oh yeah, you should be treating them negatively. And that was her point in the video.
Great, now she's glorifying obesity. I'm not glorifying anything. My point is simple. Don't be a to fat people. And don't use, oh, I just care about their health as an excuse. Being fat doesn't automatically mean someone is less healthy or too lazy to look like you or however you think they should look. You don't know these people. But what if they're not healthy? And even if you've stalked this person to somehow come to that conclusion, you're still not allowed to be to them.
That's her point.
on that even they have to admit that if they want to maintain their branding as a podcast that is good at research. All right, let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
A carrot isn't an inherent good food, while chocolate is an inherent bad food. Food is just food. No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
I'm done. That was such terrible advice.
How do you show the full context of exactly what she did said? Oh wait, you removed the context from the beginning and the end and in the middle. So yes, you're wrong.
I don't know how this video could be considered as anything other than enabling food addicts to not fix their health. She basically
It's so funny he tried to argue that he did not make this claim.
just said, I tried to lose weight to look more attractive, and I gave up because I couldn't figure.
She did not say that. She never even made that argument, nor even made that implication. If you watch her video in the first, I've already showed the context of why she was losing weight. It was not because of she's doing it for her own health or her own benefit. It was because to please other people. That was the issue.
Figure it out, so you should give up too and gaslight yourself about what your actual goal was.
She never said anything about giving up. She never said a single thing about giving up. And this is why I said multiple times that you did not purposely, like you literally, allegedly, never once showed the exact context of what she's saying. Here, she goes through and explains why she feels this way. But the first part is that even before that, she even explains, yes, she should be exercising.
A little more stretching, a little more strength, and was enough. Maybe this was proof that all my body really needed was a little more stretching, a little more strength, and a nice walk every now and then to make me feel better. And maybe.
Once again, literally her acknowledging that yes, exercising is beneficial. But of course, you remove these contexts to frame this idea as if she's promoting obesity or bad habits when she's not.
She basically just said, I tried to lose weight to look more attractive, and I gave up because I couldn't figure it out, so you should give up too and gaslight yourself about what your actual goal was. Thanks, Alyssa.
No, she wasn't. She did not make that claim, nor even said those things, nor even imply anything like that. That was never the part of her video to begin with. But of course, you remove that context for no reason. But it's so funny how you're framing that Noah is lying about you or that oh, I never made that claim, Noah. Trust me, bro. My guy, this is you in your own video making the exact claim. So once again, how you could be out here being this terrible at lying? I will let him continue because there's more about it.
You're really improving the world. You know what's great about this advice? Because you conflated being overweight with extreme obesity, so you can say that both are healthy. What's going to happen is that people who watch this video that are 300 pounds are going to say, see, Alyssa is fine with being overweight. I don't have to change either. And then they'll eat themselves into an early grave. Stop writing criticism off as malicious concern trolling when
My guy, you were legit not even doing criticism. You were just not even trolling her. You were just being malicious. You were being a freaking dickhead.
the ending message of your video was effectively, if you can't stop doing drugs, then drugs aren't bad, and you should take whatever drugs you want and as many drugs as you want. Keep in mind that Alyssa's videos are clearly
Once again, I'm not removing context. I'm literally showing you his own video.
targeted at children based on the style of animation and the references and jokes she makes. I will say that my
Makes
opinion
no
of Alyssa
sense.
was far more favorable, specifically.
My opinion on her was far more favorable. My guy, you literally slandered her. You went on a whole tangent over something that she didn't even say, she didn't even do, and arguing as if she's promoting a bad healthy habit when she's not doing that. You were calling her ugly. Guess what? Things because of you, she got harassed. She got harassed even more because of you, because you doubled down, and she got doxxed. You were not being favorable or charitable to her to begin with. Shut the F up.
Until I saw that last clip. That being said, a book I've been reading recently is called Influence by Robert.
Yeah, I'll be very charitable about her by purposely insulting her. Purposely insulting her and arguing that every single thing that she's saying is just woke and she's not been listening to any of her sources. Yeah, no, you're not being charitable. And we're going to be skipping this part a little bit because he's legit just wasting everyone's time.
Robert Cialdini, who is a psychologist at Arizona State University. The book is about what behaviors get people to comply with your requests. How do you
My guy, you're doing this right now.
influence a person to buy a car? How can you convince someone to do you a favor, volunteer for charity, or maybe get a cancer screening? Well, there are tons of psychological tricks that people aren't consciously aware of that good influencers employ that get people to comply with a request or absorb an ideology. The best chapter and the most effective.
The irony, okay, my bad. The irony of you saying this. And then the for number two, look at what you did in this whole situation. You slander her whole entire thing and project this onto your own viewers to believe. And you let those viewers telling them that they should take your words as fact, treating as that you're the end all be all of truth when you're not. Double down on this and then did it again. And then push it again for the third video and other accounts. And they did it again for the fourth video where you're blankly lying.
Compliance tool in the book is social proof. An example of social proof would be if you're trying to sell a cell phone to a customer, saying something like, most of our customers prefer this phone, and I just sold one to someone like you an hour ago, will cause people to buy from you more frequently, as opposed
My guy, no.
to talking about all the good features that the phone has. To a large extent, everybody does things because other people are doing them. Using social proof works very well to get people to comply with what you want. Knowing that is important if you're
Yeah, that's not really a good thing too, because you can use the same argument for a cult. And for number two, you're saying stuff like this, but then at the same time too, you'll be complaining if anyone on the left are going to be doing cancel culture or when it comes to like liking woke medias and stuff.
an influencer, and on the positive end, it can be used to decrease things like theft. Dr. Cialdini talks about how the Petrified National Forest Park in Arizona had a problem with people stealing fossils from the park. Initially, when they tried to prevent theft, they made a social proofing mistake by putting up a sign that had the sentiment of, a lot of people steal fossils from the park, please don't steal. This sign actually caused theft to rise because it gave theft social proof by insisting
That makes no sense. That makes no sense, you freaking idiot.
that it was normal. Because of this, Dr. Cialdini did an experiment to see if different types of signs produce less theft in the park. He talks about it here.
My colleagues and I conducted an experiment at the Petrified Forest National Park, where on average, 2.95% of visitors per day engaged in fossil theft. We alternated a pair of signs in the high theft areas of the park. Our first type of sign urged visitors not to take wood, while depicting a scene showing 3 thieves in action. It nearly tripled theft to 7.92%. Our other sign also urged visitors not to take wood, but contrary to the counterproductive social proof message, it communicated that few people steal from the park by depicting a lone thief. This sign, which marginalized
So meaning it worked.
thievery rather than normalizing it, reduced larceny to 1.67%. Other studies have documented the unintended negative consequences of trying to move people away from a detrimental action by lamenting its frequency. After an education program in which several young women described their eating disorders, participants came to show increased disorder symptoms themselves. After a suicide prevention program informing New Jersey teenagers of the alarming number of adolescents who take their own lives, participants became more likely to see suicide as a potential solution to their own problems.
Yeah, and guess what? Do you know what's worse? This is exactly what Sean is advocating for, which is why I said that he really should not be using this. My guy, the main reason why they're going to be doing stuff like this is because of exactly what Alyssa is criticizing. Once again, this is why she brought it up earlier in the video. She gets bullied because of her weight, which was very important. That was the main thing throughout the whole video, including with this part that I've already shown, including when she was providing that stat, that source that she was using. That was the point. So once again, using this audio clip, that's agreeing with her, acknowledging to the fact that yes, this is disgusting behavior that has happened way too often and it needs to be challenged.
In short, persuasive communication should avoid employing information that can normalize undesirable conduct.
Before reading this book, my stance on fat acceptance normalizing obesity was that there isn't strong evidence that it encourages people to be fat. However,
And you should probably stop making claims like that, then you freaking idiot. And once again, you really should stop making stupid claims like that. It's that simple. Stop making that claim.
I do have evidence that it discourages obese people from moving towards a healthier weight, and
No, you don't. No, you don't.
that was explained in detail in the Noah Samson video.
No, you didn't. You did the complete opposite.
So after reading this book, I now completely believe that fat acceptance encourages people to be morbidly obese.
It's so funny how at first he said he does not believe in that, and then legit the next second after reading the book, some it does, even though that's not how it works. Once again, legit talk about the fact of yes, just you know what, let me just play the context
who
again.
take their own lives, participants, after a suicide in which several young women described their eating disorders, participants came to show increased disorder symptoms themselves. After a suicide prevention program informing New Jersey teenagers of the alarming number of adolescents who take their own lives, participants became more likely to see suicide as a potential solution to their own problems.
Yes, legit talk about the fact. Well, I don't know the full context, but I'm just gonna be using this from this video. Once again, whenever it comes to like people like trying to lose weight, whatever, yes, a lot of times they're going to develop eating disorders. Oh wait, something that she brings up in her own video. And guess a lot of people who went through suicide stuff or suicidal thoughts, they go through this. And what do? You legit remove that exact context and try to argue that she's African for obesity or some dumb BS like that. You're literally lying about her whole entire video again. Instead of you own up to the fact that yes, you remove the context, you're doubling down, then just own up to the fact you're wrong.
In short, persuasive communication should avoid employing information that can normalize undesirable conduct.
Before reading this book, my stance on fat acceptance normalizing obesity was that there isn't strong evidence that it encourages people to be fat. However,
legit, no evidence. And then literally the next second,
I do have evidence that it discourages obese people from moving towards a healthier weight, and that was explained in detail in the Noah Samson video. Though after reading this book, I now completely believe that fat acceptance encourages people to be morbidly obese through
that makes no
social
sense.
proofing, and is a significant contributing factor to societal weight problems that Western countries are
not true.
facing. Of course, I'm not the only one who believes that social proofing is effective. Obviously, fat acceptance advocates and people like Alyssa believe in social proofing because a ton of their arguments are based on social proof.
Legit just saying, hey, do not be treating fat people as legit Jewish people in the Holocaust. Just treat them as regular human beings. That's not encouraging people or telling them to be freaking obese. You freaking idiot. For crying bloody out loud. And the front number 2 is so funny. Mind you, I will let him
Not
finish.
data. I don't like dieting, so I'm going to reference a self.com article of a person who agrees with me named Christine Byrne, who references an Aubrey Gordon source merely because she agrees with her, and Aubrey Gordon references an opinion.
My guy, you do this. Oh my gosh. Once again, you legit went on Turkey Tom, like, not podcast, Turkey Tom channel, and just trying to tell him to just believe in every single thing that you say. Legit, trying to tell him everything that you did, but not actually having him to watch her point of view. And the funny part too, Turkey Tom has never even watched her original video. And when Destiny asked him about it, instead of him open admitting to the fact he didn't watch it or lie saying that he did, he rather just changed the whole topic because he can't own up to the fact that he was wrong. You're freaking wrong. And you got people like Achito, who is obviously your favorite dick writer for crying out loud, who legit even told his viewers not to even watch any of the videos. They do not need to. Literally telling them that they do not need to watch any of the videos to look up the context to see what she did say or not. And this is very ironic with all of these people too, how you're doing the same exact thing you're bringing up. Once again, you made this whole lie, and guess what? A legit got her attacked and harassed because you made this false claim about her for no reason. For no blatant reason, and they doubled down on this in your second video. And guess what? Multiple channels just went along with what you said and didn't fact check what she had to say. Only because you told them to. You literally encouraged them not to even listen to her and just take what you have to say. And some of these people are your own friends. So once again, you're literally doing this yourself. All she's just saying, hey, do not be bullying people, and you're out here lying. You're misrepresenting.
Piece from a scientific journal that was published over 40 years ago. So not only does she have social proof, but she can appeal to authority. Was anyone here actually convinced by facts and logic? No, they were convinced by
Yes, we are. You're the one.
influencing technique. Like I said, there are people out there like Robin DiAngelo who have gotten rich because
this has nothing to do with Robert DiAngelo. You freaking idiot. Like, now you're just wasting our time. Now, let's go back to his claims.
I also didn't accuse her of telling people with diabetes to overeat sugar either.
While this line is being delivered.
But here's an important piece of nuance. I didn't do that. And I also didn't accuse her of telling people with diabetes to overeat sugar either.
While
Oh my gosh, the irony. Like, I totally forgot about this clip. The irony of him saying this. But then, literally, this was in your own tangent.
Tell when somebody
have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow.
That's it? That's what everyone is freaking out about? This is the most nothing burger out of context accusation that I've ever seen.
Not everyone is like specifically catering their brand to be a certain way to like be as dishonest as you are. You can tell when somebody frames something innocuous in the
Ferguson, shut the F up when you should not be talking.
Melissa's video is something that I call an I'm not saying clause. Just as an example, Tiffany Ferguson does this a lot in her videos.
And I'm not saying this applies to my job.
That obviously they are not saying what they have to say, I'm not saying for. Unfortunately, as a content creator, you have to do these clauses or bad faith people who react to you will go, see, he's saying that Alyssa is telling.
That's because it's necessary. So meaning it was important. So once again, if you're going out of your way to purposely remove the context, then yes, you're bad faith. Which is what, oh my freaking gosh, the irony of you saying this, and you don't realize the fact you're guilty of this.
Unfortunately, as a content creator, you have to do these clauses or bad faith people who react to you will go, see.
That's why she left it in the video. That is why she brought it up. You freaking idiot. It does not matter whether you're talking about it. She brought it up because people like you are going to be disingenuous. And the funny part too, this is exactly what Noah pointed out earlier in the video. This is his point earlier in the video because people like you and your friends went along with this lie. This is why he brought it up. So once again, you're reinforcing his own argument.
See, he's saying that Alyssa is telling people with allergies to eat food that will hospitalize them. But here's an important piece of nuance. I didn't do that.
Yes, you did.
And I also didn't accuse her of telling people with diabetes to overeat sugar either.
While
the irony of you legit attacking them for doing this, and you're literally doing the whole "I'm not saying this" argument again yourself. See, the irony of this, just the irony of
this line is being delivered, you can also see on the screen that the boy who has diabetes is taking a reading of his blood sugar and then gets the green light, so he's good to go for having a s'more with his friends without throwing his blood sugar out of whack. This line, as well as the depiction on screen, is an acknowledgement that there are some exceptions to her statement, which would include, for example, a diabetic person's blood sugar imbalances.
I have diabetes type 3. Time to eat 4.
No, see, he's skipping the part. He's skipping the part. Here's the context again.
You can also see on the screen that the boy who has diabetes is taking a reading of his blood sugar and then gets the green light, so he's good to go for having a s'more with his friends without throwing his blood sugar out of whack. This line, as well as the depiction on screen, is an acknowledgement that there are some exceptions to her statement, which would include, for example, a diabetic person's blood sugar imbalances, or, most importantly for Sean's conclusion, the dietary restrictions recommended to morbidly obese people. He just cut that line right out. And this is important, right? Because this line directly refutes Sean's narrative that Illy is promoting obesity. This phrase,
so once again, he's removing all these contexts for no reason again, so let's continue.
Dietary restrictions rules out the more extreme situations that Sean is referring to when he says that this will cause viewers to eat themselves into an early grave. There's another equally important...
And that was his point. But no, he removes all that context for no reason.
Misrepresentation of what Illy says here, which has to do with context and framing. If you notice, Sean introduces the clip from Illy's video by calling it her advice.
Let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
Now, what does he mean by advice? Just general advice or something more specific? Well, seeing as his conclusion from this advice is that Illy might kill fat people by enabling them to overeat, it's safe to assume, I think, that when he says advice, what he actually means is nutritional advice. You know, advice for dieting and weight loss. That's what the conclusion implies. And so, when these lines, food is just food and carrots aren't good and chocolate isn't bad, are being presented as dieting advice, and yeah, you already know people are gonna have something to say about that.
And that's his point. The way how you purposely misrepresent the whole entire thing into something it wasn't, yes, your own audience are going to go along with it because you told them to.
And say about that, they did.
S'mores are a diet food. Got it.
So 27 bars of chocolate is equal to a meal of broccoli, grilled tomato, mashed potatoes, and chicken. Nice to know.
I have diabetes type 3. Time to eat 4 trillion Oreos.
It's really funny that last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments about diabetes.
Grilled tomato, mashed potatoes, and chicken. Nice to know.
I have diabetes type 3.
It's really good. The other alleged creators...
Trillion Oreos.
It's really funny that last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments about diabetes.
Trillion Oreos.
It's really funny that last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments.
Once again, I legit show it twice, proving this point.
About diabetes, really good. The other alleged creators covering this video did the same thing.
Carrots are definitely healthier for you than a chocolate bar, so telling kids something otherwise is actually harmful.
What
That's
has
what she
more
did.
calories? 1 pound of broccoli or half a cup of olive oil?
That was not the point.
Did one of your professional doctors tell you this? Was a nutritionist the one that told you that carrots and chocolates are the same? I can't
Once again, that's not even what she said, and two, that's not even what her point was.
believe a full-grown adult actually believes this dumb shit. Here's
That's
the
not
fact.
what she did.
Chocolate is high in sugar and saturated fat.
Yeah, they just go on like that for like 10 minutes. They sound like they're having a blast, honestly. There must be a floor to critical thinking that when you blow past it, everything just starts feeling like pure euphoria. This response here from both audiences and creators relies on Sean's framing of Illy's words, that they were intended as dieting advice. But the thing is, they weren't. Illy's video has some fairly straightforward themes. She talks about dealing with negative body image, about getting bullied, starting unhealthy eating habits, and frustrations over weight loss. Her video...
So yes, and guess what? Thanks because of that, there's some people that legit commit suicide for crying out loud. And he just gonna let that go over his head because that's the type of nonsense he supports.
Was a direct critique of diet culture and its morality-based food logic.
Diet culture is an entire belief system that associates food with morality and thinness with goodness.
She relates her own experiences to the common occurrence of teenagers dieting, despite already being at a healthy weight. Immediately before the good and bad foods clip, Illy introduces a concept called body neutrality, which advocates for removing the moral element from how we view our bodies. She then states that she is about to apply that concept to food. So given the actual content of her video, and the direct link she'd just drawn from moral neutrality to food, when she finally actually says these lines, her intent could not be more clear. She's talking about morality. She's saying that eating carrots doesn't make you a good person, just like eating chocolate doesn't make you a bad person. By presenting only the tail end of the sequence and neglecting to accurately portray the central themes of her entire video, Sean has removed it from all context. The result is that he's framed her as both an idiot that can't do basic math about calories, and more seriously, a dangerous person whose dieting advice will end up with people dead. Along
That is the freaking point.
with Sean's conclusion that Illy's advice is going to kill people, he also claims that because of this sequence, the message of her video is that she endorses drug abuse.
Stop writing criticism off as malicious concern trolling when the ending message of your video was effectively, if you can't stop doing drugs, then drugs aren't bad, and you should take whatever drugs you want and as many drugs as you want.
This was yet another inflammatory statement that was mainly...
It's so funny. And then he claims that that's not what he did. That's not what he said. My God, you just did it.
into the beautiful working brains of the people harassing her.
Why did you just sell me drugs?
Next video, the perks of popping pills. Should I be celebrated for my lifestyle choices? Gather round and cheer me on while I drink heavily 5 days a week. I'm an alcoholic. Accept me.
Here's a comment saying she compared coffee with fentanyl, and then here's another comment saying that she actually said
Once again, proof that people did not even watch her video. They're just repeating what someone else told them.
that. The severity of these accusations is then compounded by his immediate reminder to viewers that her audience is probably full of children.
Keep in mind that Alyssa's videos are clearly targeted at children based on the style of animation and the references and jokes she makes.
The implication here is that Illy's video may end up directly harming or possibly killing children. If we hold him to all the assertions he's made here, that's what the video is telling us. And then we remember his inclusion of children in the thumbnail and his later speculations about her child audience.
Considering that in this post,
literally in this post, nowhere she has made that claim. You freaking idiot.
You stated that your market is children. Do you really think this is being a good role model?
And the result...
Yes, she is still a better role model than you will ever be.
are that his viewers have heard his message loud and clear. She should not be telling children that it's okay to be unhealthy. 4,000 likes. Illy, you're feeding 14-year-old insecure children lies about health. As a soon-to-be doctor, yeah, I'm sure that's true. As a soon-to-be doctor, you are making everything worse for the next generation. Little content warning here for some...
So we can skip that part now. Again, Mind you, I've already showed the full context again for crying bladed out loud. Not even the full context, the majority of the context of that clip. Crying out loud. We have Sean here misrepresenting it instead of owning up to the fact that yes, he was wrong.
4 trillion Oreos.
It's really funny, that last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments about diabetes, really, really good.
That's not true. Alyssa did not specifically account for diabetes in the statement that.
Yes! No. No way! There's no way you actually gonna be making this argument now. My God. My God, yes, she did. Yes, she did. She literally did account it. That's why she made that counter. That's why she made that exception. That's why she brought up the limitations when it comes down to it. She brought it up. You freaking idiot. Oh my freaking goodness, he is really making this argument. And this is why I have made this argument that no, he knew full well what he was doing, that he was putting her life in danger. He knew what he was doing. Oh my freaking goodness. This is embarrassing, bro. Oh my gosh. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That's embarrassing. I love like you just made that claim up as if that's not what happened. My guy, that's exactly what happened. I've already showed the context of him proving this point. And he's like, no, I'm not sure the full context, but that's not true. My guy, you remove the middle part of the section of him explaining why it was important, and you just skip to the end. No.
Evidence for this? This was a thing that she did. I mean, if Sniper Wolf doxes
videos, is that Illy tried to deplatform him. So is this
Alyssa didn't like?
Oh shoot! Don't tell me I see. Oh wait a minute. Oh, not this video. Not this video. My guy, you really cannot be doing stuff like that. All right, wait. Let me fix this right now. Oh shoot, where was I? Ah, frick, where was I? Because I was just having too much fun. 'Cause there was no way you made that claim, and you really thought you're in the right to do so. Oh, great. Now I lost the. Oh, man, frick. Oh, it was around here.
who has diabetes is taking a reading of his blood sugar and then gets the green light, so he's good to go for having a small include, for example, down to
diabetes from the animation that was not cut. Show the blood sugar animation, so what? You have all the information that diabetics should check their blood sugar before they can account for.
They accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments about diabetes, really, really good.
That's not true. Alyssa did not specifically account for diabetes in the statement that I cut, and
yes, she did. See, almost everyone has stated this point multiple times, and the funny part too, you legit argue against them, saying, "Oh, it didn't change anything." Yes, it did. You still argue that it didn't change anything for no reason when it literally did. She's literally accounting it in the exact scene. He went to explanation about this.
Good food? Well, chocolate is an inherent bad food. Food is just food, no matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, whatever is in it. Unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
Literally her acknowledging it. I played it out loud. How you could be this bad of a freaking liar? Like, seriously, literally, proof for crying out loud. You're this bad of a liar. You can't just own up to the fact that, yes, you lied about what happened.
I showed the blood sugar animation, so what?
You mean you showed the blood sugar animation on out of context for no reason, but you still remove the exact soundbite from it. You remove exactly what she was saying in that scene. If it didn't change anything, then leave it alone. You would not remove it to begin with. You would not edit anything. Remember too, you wouldn't get called out if guess what? People did not notice this. But no, if you left it alone, no one would say a single thing. Well, we will still call you out on it. But it's about the fact this was the most obvious part where you were obviously cutting context. And people caught you because of the animation. Oh my freaking gosh.
You have all the information that diabetics should check their blood sugar before they consume s'mores from the animation.
So meaning she literally accounts them.
That was not cut. So I did.
So it was cut. He literally
didn't even cut one of the things that you're accusing me of cutting.
Yes, you did. I love like he can't just own up to the fact he actually was guilty for doing it. He's like, oh, I didn't cut it out. Yes, you did. And each time when people call you out on this, you legit frame, oh, I didn't cut anything out of context. No, I didn't. And then double down on this to argue that, oh, it didn't change anything. When it did.
Now, I imagine that these comments from Noah were inspired by a lot of commentary YouTubers saying that she was enabling diabetics, but I didn't say that. And if some
you did make the argument, you were implying that take. You freaking idiot.
Commentary channel doesn't watch the original video and ends up saying,
I mean, not to even listen to her. You literally encouraged him not to even listen to her. Your own friend, Chu, even told his viewers not to even watch her video. They don't need to watch her video. Oh my freaking gosh. Your own friend, Turkey Tom, took your words as a fact because you told him to. And guess what? He didn't even watch her original video. This is your own fault. This is the problem. Number two, this is why I've been making these videos. I've made a lot of recordings because all of these channels had not once watched her original video, and that's because of your own fault. You told them not to do so. You double down instead of you own up to the fact that yes, what you did was wrong.
And something stupid, that's not my fault. They're adults.
No, that was your fault. You removed all the exact context, and some of them who are your friends, you told them not to even do the research. And guess what? You would argue why? Because she was woke, so don't listen to her. Oh my freaking gosh.
I link all my reference material in the description or show.
Yeah, but you still encourage them not to even look it up. And two, you don't actually link all your sources. When me myself, I have to go on my way to look up some of the sources, and then some other channels have to do more work than you did.
On screen, and for the most part, this is their career, so it's their job to do proper research.
Homie, some of these are your own friends, and you told them not to even do it.
I'm not responsible if they mess that up.
That didn't change.
No, you are responsible about that.
Did too much. I don't think he didn't mention anybody that has like diabetes or allergies, so I don't think he.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! So this is the clip that idiot was bringing up. Okay, now we got bring that up. I had to make to that scene. 1 second. Let me go to my phone because I think I got the thing out here real quick. Let me see something. Oh no, I can't be used that now. Frick. What was that scene? Alright, if I had the whole thing up, I would just like show it. So just cut to it. This is such a bad video. I don't care. I said you literally lied about it and like, oh, I didn't do that. This is your own video of you doing it. How the freak will be saying that you didn't do it? That makes no sense. How on earth you're gonna make the claim that that's not what you did? Yes, you did. You literally did it. You're a freaking idiot. You're such a bad liar. Like you're a garbage liar. For crying out loud. Oh, so he's not even gonna use the original video. He's not gonna use the original video. Oh, that's even more embarrassing. Okay, never mind. We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
All right, guys, it's time to get.
Embarrassing. This is so embarrassing, bro. This is so embarrassing. And this is the same. Okay, freaking gosh, this is so embarrassing. You could not be this stupid right now. I'm being serious. Around 15. Oh no, that's the wrong article. The Vikings of using all data on so far and laying his own sources as well as on so forth. No, that's not what. Letting him still getting it wrong. But... Oh no, it was 60. So no, I was close. I was close.
That, but
No, she looks more like a horse girl, man. Not the.
It's taken while.
So now let's actually show you guys the actual context. And Beowulf, please shut the F up. F up.
Well, she was hiking, and Sean knew that, but cropped out.
Yeah, and it probably was chilly also.
Of the identifying information. So
wait, she was hiking and he cropped it out, but doesn't that go against his idea that she exercises? Damn, Sean's getting kind of fucking nay here a little bit. Sean, what are you doing, brother? I was rooting for you, Sean. I wasn't rooting for you, I'm gonna be honest with you.
But his audience wouldn't, the less perceptive ones anyway, given that she's, sitting on a log in dirt. I want to talk about all that, but I have to shelve those points for now because there's a more pressing issue at hand, which is that Sean's videos caused a doxing.
So we
On
can
the
skip
internet.
this part and go to the exact context.
You know, like, and I don't have the same number of followers as him. I understand that it's a little different.
So
but
it was around.
Yeah, it's just yucky behavior. Man. Why would you want to be a yuckster? Why do you want to have that even associated with your platform? You know?
Excuse, it seems to be when a creator directly.
Oh yeah, in this part.
Try to be like, yeah, guys, like it's shitty that you're doing this, and make a big point out of it. Like, yeah,
comments are inevitable. Even if you ask people not to, they'll still leave them.
That's true. But again, I think that you can ask people and you can make a conscious effort to not accept that type of behavior in your community.
People are going to take things too far, like doxing, then there's not much you can really do to stop it. This seems to be Sean's perspective on the matter.
This comment brigading behavior appears to just be a fact of nature that creators can't control. So really, it's on YouTube to make an interface change that addresses this problem.
Literally Victor blaming her. Literally Victor blaming her to argue that it's YouTube and her to take care of that, even if it's his fault why it happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like it's one of those things where you don't have to have like this explicit responsibility to do the right thing, you know? Like, yeah, it would be good for YouTube to do more, but at the end of the day, it's like, why not try to be like, yeah, guys, like, it's shitty that you're doing this, and make a big point out of it. Tell those people that they're not welcome in your community, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's just like, because those people, like, if you're a doxer person, you're not welcome in my community, you know? Like, and I don't have the same number of followers, and I understand that it's a little different, but Yeah, it's just yucky behavior, man. Why would you want to be a yuckster? Why do you want to have that even associated with your platform? You know?
Excuse seems to be when a creator directly asks their audience to harass or dox someone. If that doesn't happen, though, then sorry, it's the internet. Now, while that may be the case in some situations, this is not one of them. John didn't ask anyone to dox or harass Illy. What he did do, though, is misrepresent and deceptively edit her video in order to conjure ideas which directly motivated the people who did. And when I say directly, I mean directly. We doxed Illy because she tried to get another popular content creator, Think Before You Sleep, taken down by YouTube, all because he made a video rightfully criticizing her. She is also
it wasn't really rightful. It was kind of weird.
promoting fat culture and how being fit and working out your body is useless and fatphobic.
That's not what she had said at all. She was just talking about how when she was young, she was like tracking calories, even though she wasn't really overweight, and like it was make a very negative interaction with her. And she wishes she focused a little bit less on like I guess trying so hard and living her life, and she would have been happier because she's not.
And here's it. You can be arguing of why I'm not a positive video, whatever. Now, my point of why I'm using public Gus like video, I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just going to show the full context of what he actually was arguing to show you exactly what his stance is. And I said I don't be speaking for him. That's a fact, but I'm still gonna be using it.
Really cut much out of that.
So like this line does not meaningfully change. So Think Before You Sleep did not take her out of context in a meaningful.
No, he did take it out of context because you went out your way to do so. If it didn't change anything, then he would not done it to begin with. Once it was already bad at the beginning part of it, but it was bad at the end. The fact he did it in the middle is where it was bad and deceptive. That's the problem. The fact he did it, yes, it is him removing context to misrepresent exactly what happened. He explains this point on why it was important. The problem though with Turkey Tom, he didn't even watch the original video, so of course he has to double down to find any way to lie. Further two, Destiny doesn't know anything about the drama, but of course he has to legit make this whole video into attacking Noah and not have an honest, good faith argument instead.
You shouldn't cut the line. I don't know why you did that, but you're right. Yeah, it doesn't really change it.
Yes, he shouldn't cut the line, and that's the point. He should not be cutting the line. So once again, this is not even an argument of, oh, well, Destiny agrees with me. No, he still stated the fact you shouldn't be doing it to begin with. That's the point. Now, his take of saying that, oh, it didn't change anything was stupid, because it did.
So I don't think he really cut much out.
But of course, he's only agreeing with Turkey Tom because they're friends too. And of course, Turkey Tom is only on the podcast and stuff, wherever the channel is. I don't care. He's only on there because guess what? He's friends with Think Before Sleep. So his whole stance is that he needs to defend him no matter what. Nor has ever argued that yes, her game docs was bad. He has never argued this point.
So like this line does not meaningfully change. So Think Before You Sleep did not take her out of context in a meaningful way.
He still took him out of context in a meaningful way too.
Cut the line. I don't know why you did that, but you're right. Yeah, it doesn't really change it.
More entertaining. I feel like that line is not that important to cut.
Literally him proving the fact that no, he is not actually being genuine. It was important.
Or leave in. I feel like it doesn't drastically change what she said. Like she's not, when you say dietary restriction as well, you're not talking about like oh I want to die. But you're talking about there's like I can't eat peanuts, therefore I will not eat peanuts, right? That's
so once again, he legit shows the fact he doesn't even understand what she was talking about. This is why if he left it in, then he could at least understand. But no, he needs to play dumb because he has to be defensive for his own friend.
the caveat. Or like I have diabetes, therefore I cannot eat a bunch of sugar, right? That's
So meaning, yes, it was important. You're a freaking idiot. So meaning, yes, it did change everything in the oh my
oh I want to die. But you're talking about there's like I can't eat peanuts, therefore I will not eat peanuts, right? That's the caveat. Or like I have diabetes, therefore I cannot eat a bunch of sugar, right? That's
so once again, yes, it was important. So once again, it was a caveat. It was her legit acknowledging that there's exceptions when it comes down to it. So once again, it was important. So how are you gonna be saying it wasn't?
basically what that is. This cut doesn't egregiously change what she said. Like
It literally did, and you just proven why it did. And you're on Destiny's channel arguing that of oh it didn't change anything. Yes,
basically a meaningless statement that didn't really even need to be
it was.
there. Like it cut nothing.
There's more.
If it didn't need to be there, then he would not remove the context in. Oh wait, it did meant a lot. For it to already expose the context of what he actually was arguing. So let's go back to Papa Gus' video about
Like
it.
a really unhealthy way. Like your best criticism could be like, hey, listen, if you're a very overweight person and you heard that video, you might get like the wrong idea. You know, like you, and I get that. But outside of that criticism, there's really nothing there.
He also promotes the anti-trans and woke culture. That was posted on the website that hosted Illy's doxing information. The actual doxing took place on a different website, and the very first post of the original doxing thread shared these same motivations. We need to dox her because she promotes fat culture. She believes in woke bullshit, and when a base YouTuber like Think Before You Sleep called her out, she threw a fit and asked her fans to mass flag his channel to get it deleted.
Jesus Christ.
The people harassing her in the comments are motivated by these same ideas. Illy is woke. Illy wants to deplatform Sean. Illy promotes obesity. These accusations.
Yeah, the fucking anti-woke shit's so annoying. Woke shit's annoying too. I'm not gonna lie. But the anti-woke shit is obnoxious too. It's like all you guys can shut the fuck up. It's like so weird. Thanks so much for $5 from Hunter ACD. Papa, hey Papa, long time.
We can skip this part.
Are being repeated across the internet in videos with millions of collective views. They pervade the doxing channels, sprinkled between a sea of death threats, rape threats, and depictions of Illy committing suicide. These ideas are the reason they hate her, and all of them, every single one, was fabricated by Sean. How he did this is the topic of today's video. So
yeah, so this was like the whole post. It was like, however, so she was basically just saying like, hey, I'm trying to talk to a YouTube help desk person to take the video down, but if not, if you come across this video, please report it for cyberbullying. Yeah, I think that she actually thinks it's cyberbullying, even though it's like it wasn't his video wasn't cyberbullying. I don't know. I guess I can understand why he would still. He understand why he would respond, but the disproportionate fucking reaction of trying to like fucking get this girl like take her own life is insane.
Oh, let's check it out.
A base YouTuber.
Alright, so the first one of these narratives that I want to look at today is the idea that Illy promotes obesity. One of the main concluding points of Sean's video is that Illy's advice is going to kill people by causing them to eat themselves into an early grave.
You know what's great about this advice? Because you conflated being overweight with extreme obesity, so you can say that both are healthy. What's going to happen is that people who watch this video that are 300 pounds are going to say, see, Alyssa is fine with being overweight, I don't have to change either. And then they'll eat themselves into an early grave.
No, that it's not just
hey, natural selection, am I right, baby?
Might happen. He said that it's going to happen, so it's sort of direct.
Natural selection, baby. No, I'm just kidding. Like, she could have been like a little bit better with her communication about it, but
She was stupid. He's like, I like Papa Gun. Fine. He actually watched the original video. He understood the original video. But he's saying this part right here, he was arguing of, oh, well, she could have been more honest, whatever, OBS like that. But the things too, he literally has to take some of his own words back because he acknowledged that yes, he talked way too quick instead of remember exactly what happened.
Overall, like I said, it was just like a fucking cartoon about her struggles with being overweight as a kid. So I was like, whatever. You know, it wasn't fucking, you know, like a factual piece necessarily. It was an anecdotal piece about how like she was happier when she took a little bit less of like weight stress off of her life.
Accusation there, so we're clear about that. Now, that's a pretty serious accusation, right? So how does he justify it? Well, right before it, he presents what he calls Illy's final piece of advice and uses that as evidence to argue that she is promoting obesity.
All right, let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
A carrot isn't an inherent good food, while chocolate is an inherent bad food. Food is just food. No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, you should feel free to eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
I'm done.
Yeah, like I understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
I do, because I'm a fat person, so like I get it. Like first and foremost, there are foods that are better than other foods. Like obviously you want to generally eat more like you know, nutrient dense foods and all that stuff. But sometimes like it's okay to have something without beating yourself up. Because I will say that like as a big person, like I've gotten into situations where I've been so obsessed with what I was eating exactly that I spiral out of control. And like you get so anxious, you get so mentally worked up, you get so fucking distressed by your own food choices, I guess, that you burn yourself out mentally and then you just give up, right? And that's not.
And this is something that she has been talking about and what other people does go through. But why does Sean does not bring these type of things in any of the discussions? Oh wait, because he really does not care about what he's talking about.
Something I think that she explicitly communicated, but
she did. She literally did. Yeah, bad memory.
Also, I get it. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things I understand. I think that me and her have a more similar life experience. So I understand what he's saying. You know, and I'll say that like I've been losing weight since I reacted to the original video. I think I've lost like 10 pounds. I've lost more body fat than that, and I've gained more muscle than that. And I haven't really been watching what I'm eating too much, but I've been making like generally healthier choices, and I haven't been like worrying about it and stressing about it in such like a significant way where it's distressing me. So that's where I believe she's coming from with that life experience. And if you don't really get it, I get it, but like you don't get it. You know what I mean? And again, she could have communicated that better, but I also think
no, she did. She literally did. You're just misremembering. I can't talk. You're not remembering.
That, like a lot of these nuances are lost. They can be difficult to communicate sometimes. You know.
That was such terrible advice. I don't know how this video could be considered as anything other than enabling food addicts to not fix their health.
So Illy's quotes here.
Yeah, and I understand why he thinks that too, because he doesn't get it, right? Oh fuck, my balls, my anus.
Food is just food, and you should eat whatever you want. Were the most important pieces of evidence to Sean's conclusion. Accordingly, they were represented in a few other places. In the thumbnail of his video, for example, Illy's holding a sign that reads "Eat what you want" to an audience of children, while her avatar holds a milkshake.
Oh my god, she's grooming the kids.
And is depicted as being unstable. These quotes seem to be a real sticking point for other creators that covered his video.
Food is just food.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Clearly, there's a couple dumbass arguments that are open to be criticized.
The fuck's this guy?
Well, actually, all food is the same. No, you fucking idiot. Of course, all food's not the same.
She basically says there's a difference between eating a carrot and a cookie or whatever, pure gold. Did you actually say that? That's really funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, Turk Tom not even watching the video, asking his audience what she said, just going along with it. So I mean, he really should not be even saying a single word at all.
I mean, I don't expect these guys to understand either. You know, I don't hate this guy. He's just a silly little goose. But as a fat dude who's obviously, you know, stronger than this fucking Dr. Seuss character. No, but again, as a big person, like I understand what she was saying.
I mean, the fact that stuff is just going too far. I think.
Give up on yourself.
Is that a base?
She never said a single thing about giving up on yourself, stupid. Not one time. But of course, almost every single other channel has been making this claim when that's not even what she did.
I've never heard that before. That's fucking right. That's got a little too far. But I like jerking off to it, so I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, food is food. What you were proposing is very unhealthy and dangerous. What's your problem, you evil, life-destroying monster?
Oh my god, relax.
You just ruined a bunch of young people's, especially girls' lives.
Probably not. In all honesty, if there were a bunch of young girls watching, they probably listen to that and they have a sigh of relief. I don't think that that was the make or break for why young girls are fat as fuck. Well, okay, not like that, but that's not the make or break. Like Illy saying that isn't why I'm fat, right? It really wasn't like that bad. Okay.
So did she really say this? Is she really going to get people killed? Let's take a closer look at the evidence.
Only she doxes people.
And find out. So one thing I noticed in Sean's video is that there's a funny cut when he shows this clip. Right after
I think is you really watch like a bunch of people's videos on this video to do research. That's fucking crazy. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what research is. Fuck me in my ass. I'm a lazy bitch. So.
Line, no matter how many calories, carbs, and sugars, the video skips just a bit. Before changes hands, the boy's blood sugar.
Oh, you fucking! What are you doing?
That's what this is. It just sort of appears on the chair.
But that kid's skinny, so it's probably type 1 diabetes. So he probably needs to eat that.
It's a break in continuity. So I went back to Illy's actual video and see if you can spot what he decided to cut from the sequence.
No matter how many calories, carbs, sugars, whatever's in it. Unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow, you should feel free to eat.
This is the part that that Beowulf yourself. So screw you. You trying to like timestamp. I'm not gonna say this is the exact timestamp. But once again, this is like where you're trying to like push this idea that he's saying that it didn't change anything until you actually watch the full thing. And this is where thing firstly, Sean legit tried to push this idea that he agreed with me until you actually watch the full context.
Eat whatever food you want to without beating yourself up about it.
So that didn't change it too much. I don't think he didn't mention anybody that has like diabetes or allergies, so I don't think he really cut much.
That's not the
Even
point.
before she says that faded line, eat whatever you want, she added a caveat. She said, unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow. While this line is being delivered, you can also see on the screen that the boy who has diabetes is taking a reading of his blood sugar.
And I fucking hate pricking my finger to take my blood sugar. So it's just it pisses me off. Man.
And gets the green light, so he's good to go for having s'more with his friends without throwing his blood sugar out of whack.
Again, this kid probably has type 1, so he probably needs to eat that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying?
This line, as well as the depiction on screen, is an acknowledgement that there are some exceptions to her statement, which would include, for example, a diabetic person's blood sugar imbalances, or most importantly, for Sean's conclusion, the dietary restrictions recommended to morbidly obese people.
It's true. They tell you to stop eating.
Once again, legit admitted to the fact that yes, it was true.
Fucking fat.
Just cut that line right out. And this is important, right? Because this line directly refutes Sean's narrative that Illy is promoting obesity. This phrase, dietary restrictions, rules out the more extreme situations that Sean is referring to when he says that.
That's actually very true. That's true.
This will cause.
Once again, legit, him taking it back, legit made the claim that it didn't change anything, and then literally later on takes it back after Noah explains why it was important. So once again, if Noah does not explain and just say, oh, this is very important, and doesn't explain, then yes, people are not going to understand. But he does explain it, which is why this was very important for his video. But no, you have Sean purposely removed the whole context, trying to frame it up, it was not that deep, it was not that important. Trust me, bro. But then somehow removing this context that he was complimenting her when the compliment was not even a compliment, and it really showed the context. So that's way more important than you blatantly lying about her.
Cause viewers to eat themselves into an early grave. There's another equally important misrepresentation of what Illy says here, which has to do with context and framing. If you notice, Sean introduces a clip from Illy's video by calling it her advice.
Let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
Now, what does he mean by advice? Just general advice or something more specific?
I would just like some advice. Here's my advice, guys. Don't goon too close to the sun. You know
Well, seeing as his conclusion from this advice is that Illy might kill fat people by enabling them
is that kind of base though or what, guys?
to overeat. It's
I'm just kidding.
to assume, I think, that when he says advice, what he actually means is nutritional advice. Advice for dieting and weight loss. That's what the conclusion implies.
Maybe that's an interesting point. I understand what he's getting at. That he's trying to make it seem like, hey, this is nutritional advice, when her advice is more like emotional advice. If that makes sense. Maybe that's okay.
So when these lines, food is just food and carrots aren't good and chocolate isn't bad, are being presented as dieting advice.
Carrots make me. I literally almost choke on every fucking time I eat a carrot. Like it's just that the carrot. I try not to eat carrots because of that. You know.
And yeah, you already know people are gonna have something to say about that, and say about that they did.
S'mores are diet food. Got it.
So 27 bars of chocolate is equal to a meal of broccoli, grilled tomato, mashed potatoes, and chicken.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're saying.
Nice to know.
I have diabetes type 3.
Incredible.
Time to eat 4 trillion Oreos.
It's really funny, the last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments about
I'm
diabetes.
gonna be honest with you. Nobody watches these videos anyway. They just listen.
Yeah. So once again, no one actually knows the full context.
The other alleged creators covering this video did the same thing.
Carrots are definitely healthier for you than a chocolate bar, so telling kids something otherwise is actually harmful.
What has more calories? 1 pound of broccoli or half cup olive oil?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to eat a pound of broccoli, man. That's crazy.
Did one of your professional doctors tell you this? Was a nutritionist the one that told you that carrots and chocolates are the same? I can't
She never made that claim at all. Of course, he never once watched the video.
believe a full-grown adult actually believes this dumb shit. Here's a fact.
That guy sounds familiar. Who's this guy?
Chocolate is high in sugar and saturated fat.
It sounds like Mudahar, but autistic, but not in a bad way, by the way. It's a beautiful thing, brother. I love people with autism, brothers. Sketch is my favorite content creator. Why does that sound familiar?
Yeah, they just go on like that for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, listen again. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of young men that are a little sheltered. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. And I don't think that they understand. Like, again, they don't understand like growing up like a chunkster. So I kind of get it. I mean, I understand where she's coming from with that.
They sound like out of glass, honestly. There must be a floor to critical thinking that when you blow past it, everything just starts feeling like pure euphoria. This response here from both audiences and creators relies on Sean's framing of Illy's words that they were intended as dieting advice. But the thing is, they weren't. Illy's video has some fairly.
In Think Before You Sleep's defense, I think if they watched her video without him, they'd come to the same conclusion. To be honest with you. So.
But here's the thing: none of them watched the video. It's not going to be in his defense. When my guy, he had to go out his way to purposely misrepresent exactly what she was talking about. And the guests, when we called them out on this, they all doubled down, owning up to the fact that they didn't watch her video.
Oh.
These straightforward themes. She talks about dealing with negative body image, about getting bullied, starting unhealthy eating habits, and frustrations over weight loss. Her video is a direct critique of diet culture and its morality-based food logic.
Diet culture is an entire belief system that associates food with morality and thinness with goodness.
She relates her own experiences to the common occurrence of teenagers dieting despite already being at a healthy weight. Immediately before
Yeah, that was very clear. She wasn't at like an unhealthy weight. She wasn't at like the kind of weight that is bad for like a young person. She was at the kind of weight where it's like, oh, a growth spurt will take that away. It's not a huge deal. And again, like diet culture, I was part of that, man. I was drinking Diet Cokes for lunch. It did not help me lose weight. I ended up binging later because of it. So like I understood what she was saying. And again, like that's where life experience comes in. If you don't have as her content is for her audience. I know, hot take, right? But her content is for her audience. And so, she's not exactly the best at communicating to not her audience, which is like, okay, you don't have to be.
Oh, that's nothing to do with it. The issue is about the fact that there's disingenuous people that are not even going to listen to it all to begin with. If they don't know a single thing about her content at all, and they're not willing to listen to her, that's on them. That's nothing to do with her. And number two is that she literally made it clear of that point in the video because she knew full well that there's going to be people who aren't even going to watch her video or even listen to her to begin with. Oh, wait. Because Sean told her not to even listen to her.
And that's where the confusion comes in, right? And I don't think that not her audience understood that particularly well.
The good and bad foods clip, Illy introduces a concept called body neutrality, which advocates for removing the moral element from how we view our bodies. She then states that she is about to apply that concept to food. So, given the actual content of her video and the direct link she'd just drawn from moral neutrality to food, when she finally actually says these lines, her intent could not be more clear. She's talking about morality. She's saying that eating carrots doesn't make you a good person, just like eating chocolate doesn't make you.
True, somebody who ate carrots fucked my mom. It's pretty fucked up, piece of shit.
A bad person by presenting only the tail end of the sequence.
And if anyone's gonna fuck my mom.
I know you guys will be saying, why am I not skipping? I'm just leaving the context in because I don't want to hear people say I removed the context.
It's okay. It's gonna be me. But on accident, guys, okay? Because one time somebody put me in one of those scenarios where it's like, would you rather, you're sandwiched between your mom and your dad, would you rather like move back and have your dad's wiener go anymore or move forward? So that's what I'm referring to.
And neglecting to accurately portray the central theme of her entire video, Sean has removed it from all context. The result is that he's framed her as both an idiot that can't do basic math about calories.
Yeah, again, I just be clear, I don't think that Sean, I don't think he did this intentionally or maliciously. I think
he did. There's once again, the beginning part of it, that's bad. But the end part of it, that's also bad. But when you did it in the middle of it, and then to the point where it's like seconds within seconds you knew full well, yes, what you were doing. You knew exactly full well what you were doing.
I think that that's just his legitimate interpretation of the video. I don't think that like Sean sat here and it's like
that he would not remove it to begin with.
I know that she doesn't have like I don't think she was like, oh, I know what he's saying, but I'm gonna take her out of context. I don't think that that's what happened there. I think that and I just want to be very clear. I don't think that he made his video to be malicious or anything.
I'm sorry, the dude legit made it obvious he was being malicious.
As Noah's video kind of claims. So.
And more seriously,
why commit to the bit, dude? Because you know what? Fuck you. That's why. Because it's my goddamn. I'm just kidding. I don't know, bro. Because I felt like it. You know what I mean? You gotta commit to it sometimes, man. You gotta commit to it.
A dangerous person whose dieting advice will end up with people dead. Along with Sean's conclusion that Illy's advice is going to kill people, he also claims that because of the sequence, the message of her video is that she endorses drug abuse.
Stop putting
Holy moly.
criticism off as malicious concern trolling when the ending message of your video is effectively.
So just
if you can't stop
clearly him after making that claim, he now has to take that whole thing back that he just said.
doing drugs, then drugs aren't bad, and you should take whatever drugs you want and as many drugs as you want.
So just to be clear, I think, and I could be wrong, that was in response to she might have said, I don't remember, to the concept of people will pretend, I could be completely off here, but people will typically, there's a lot of people online who don't like fat people because they think they're disgusting, which by the way, I do kind of get it. I watch my 600-pound life, you know what I'm saying? So when I look at a 600-pound person, I'm like, damn, that's gross. But I try not to let that invade the real world, But there's a lot of people who think fat people are very disgusting, and they go online and they pretend that like, oh, I'm just saying this because I want you to lose weight and be healthy. They don't. It's concern trolling. I believe that was what that was in reference to. I could be wrong,
Yeah. So once again, he acknowledged the fact that yes, it was malicious. I'm not saying that as that's what he said, where I'm just pointing out that yes, he acknowledged he was being malicious at that point.
Another inflammatory statement that was mainlined to the beautiful working brains of the people harassing her.
Why did you just sell me drugs?
Next video.
Booze.
The perks of poppy pills.
Should I be celebrated for my lifestyle choices? Gather around and cheer me on. While
That's the interesting thing about like being a big fat fucker. It's interesting. I think like food is the only addiction that I'm aware that you need to survive, except for some good pussy, am I right, guys? So it's a unique issue, I would say, out of a lot of other addictions that you have out there. Because I think it's like a legitimate addiction, and like binge eating disorders and stuff. Those are some real things, man. They're
It's
tough
not
to
an
deal,
addiction.
and I feel like a lot of them, I don't know, I'm a statistic, but a lot of them probably manifest from like toxic diet culture that gives you the wrong ideas like how you're supposed to eat, and then you have bad eating habits, and then you end up binge eating because your habits are bad. You get home from school after just having a fucking Diet Coke.
I drink heavily
So meaning that yes, what Sean is advocating for actually is the main issue and is the problem. Because it does not help anyone. It actually causes more problems.
5 days a week. I'm an alcoholic. Accept me.
Here's a comment saying she compared coffee with fentanyl. And then
Hey, base.
here's another comment saying that she actually said that. This
Even though she didn't say that.
severity of these accusations is then compounded by his immediate reminder to viewers that her audience is probably full of children.
Keep in mind that Alyssa's videos are clearly targeted at children based on the style of animation and the references.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think her audience is probably like her age, not targeted at children. Adults like weird, like cartoon animated style stuff too. Just to be clear, that's why like every single kid show it appeals to adults as well. We already know that.
And this is why I was arguing that no, he was being malicious.
So she makes.
So the implication here is that Billy's video may end up directly harming or possibly killing children.
Good. No, just kidding.
We hold him to all the assertions he's made here. That's what the video is telling us. And then we remember his inclusion of children in the thumbnail and his later speculations about her child audience.
Considering that in this post you stated that your market is children, do you
She didn't. You literally showing a whole post where she's not doing that. And you're highlighting something you're purposely
really
misrepresenting.
think this is being a good role model?
And the results are that his viewers have heard his message loud and clear.
Right. She's hurting kids.
She should not be telling children that it's okay to be unhealthy. 4,000 likes. Billy, you're feeding 14-year-old insecure children lies about health. As a soon-to-be doctor, yeah,
That's soon to be doctor. Incredible.
I'm sure that's true. As a soon-to-be doctor, you are making everything worse for the next generation. A little content warning here for some bad stuff. I hate this line.
Okay, so we can just skip that part. I just wanted to bring that up as in the context to show that no, it was not of he agreed with me. No, not really.
More to know
Just gave me too much benefit of the doubt, yes. But he did not full on agree with you.
his reaction, but first, let me explain why I cut that 3 seconds out. There's a few reasons.
It's funny how he keep arguing that he did not remove any context or removed it out. And then he finally admits to the fact he did do it. And then his explanation is so stupid.
I understand that my videos are long, but even with longer, there's more to know his reaction. But first, let me explain why I cut that 3 seconds out. There's a few reasons. I understand that my videos are long, but
That's not an excuse.
even with longer content, the goal is still to make the video as short as possible.
This is his main excuse for each time when people bring up. That's not an excuse. My guy, you remove seconds within seconds. There's no way that 1 second made your video way too long, my guy. Like, dude, it really, once again, your video was around 37 minutes. You made this video for 2 hours long. My guy, shut the F up with this whole of, oh, I need to make the content I'm sure as possible. That's a dumb excuse because you know it's not true. My guy, you made this whole 2 hour long video. Seriously. And you purposely shortened her video, removed all the context, and lied about everything that happened in the video. And you removed seconds within seconds of content for no reason to purposely misrepresent everything that she was talking about. And you knew what you were doing because that was in the middle section of it. So yes, it has nothing to do with oh, I just want to make it short as possible. Then you would not make this stupid 2 hours long video then. You would at least make a 5 minute long video or a 10 minute long video. Oh wait, this has nothing to do with like how short you want the video to be. You know it too. Don't be using that stupid excuse to justify yourself. And in front of you, he still make that dumb excuse when it's completely bad faith.
That way a 30-minute video doesn't turn into an hour because of filler content that isn't interesting. So
That is not an excuse, you freaking idiot. You don't remove actual important context or any context to begin with. You bloody moron. You leave them in. And this is not an excuse of, oh, I just want to make it short. That's not an excuse to remove actual context, especially when it's only a few seconds in between something. Once again, it's already bad when you did it in the beginning of the clip or the end of the clip. That's bad enough. But when you do it in the middle, then no, you're being 100% malicious.
So every good creator will try to cut out as much as they can to keep the video entertaining,
That's not an excuse.
especially when it comes to information that is irrelevant to your point.
No, that is relevant. That is relevant to her point. To clarify that, yes, there's limitations to it. For crying bloody out loud. But no, you purposely remove that and turn it into something it wasn't. That is why he's bringing it up. But no, instead of you owning up to it, you're doubling down instead of just admitting to the fact that, yes, you're wrong.
Second, like a song, videos have rhythm and timing to them. A lot of times I'll cut stuff out because leaving it in the video screws that up.
No, it isn't. So no, so you acknowledge if you leave it in, then yes, it does go against your own narrative if it screws it up. So once again, it has nothing to do with oh, I just wanted to make this short as possible. Your problem is that yes, it did went against your own narrative about her. So instead of you just own up to the fact that yes, you were wrong, you have to lie.
This is especially true with the I'm not saying clauses, and that's the number one reason why I don't like having to do them. It's because
No, because that's important. That's her giving clarification. And yeah, you remove that whole context to argue as if she was doing that. This is why it was important.
they cause everyone to have to over-explain things, which screws up the pacing of the video.
No, it isn't. It's them give it a clarification so that they can make the point clear as day. If you remove the whole thing out, then yes, you pushing this false idea onto people. This is why he's bringing it up, and you're lying about this. Once again, you're literally just telling your own viewers of, oh, don't listen to it, it doesn't matter. My guy, you're literally arguing that remove the context is okay. The funny part too, you yourself legit arguing of, oh, Noah says he removed this very important context. Oh my gosh, and Pegasus was dick writing, arguing how this did not change anything. The argument of the so-called compliment was very important to Sean's video when it legit wasn't.
It makes it less entertaining. And it's not just me saying it. Turkey Tom also makes scripted videos, and he says it too.
To be fair, it wasn't important to cut.
Yes, he's your friend. He's your friend. You both legit remove context and lie about people. He's your friend. Of course, you idiots are going to agree with each other, so it doesn't matter what he has to say. This is not an excuse of, let me cite you to one of my friends. He does it too. Once again, this is a dude who literally has not even watched the original video, so it doesn't matter what he has to say.
Why cut it then? I mean, just watch time retention, I guess. Make the video a little snappier. I don't know. It's just...
So once again, he literally admitted to the fact that no, he is lying about what happened. He still removed the context. That's the problem. And he's trying to justify it. Well, no, it does not make it snappy or for watch time, wherever. It does not do that. It does the complete opposite. It shows the fact that yes, you're disingenuous about your stance. This is the problem. This is why she made that clarification, because it is like you are not even going to watch the video. And the fact that you acknowledge she's making that clarification, she was making that disclaimer, guess what? You removed it to frame it into something she wasn't doing. This is why Noah brought it up.
It's just like a statement that changes nothing. Like, I don't know. In the clip of him talking about it, he wasn't talking about like, she thinks that you should eat peanuts if you have a peanut allergy.
And Noah.
That's not the point. It's about the fact she brought that clarification because it is like you legit thought she was saying something completely different. And the funny number two, Noah explains this.
Mr. Media Literacy Expert, I know you're aware of this narrative technique because you went to school for it. Though maybe not, because a lot of the people who write college reading material are terrible at pacing, which is why nobody reads the textbooks.
My guy, you removed the exact context and lied about someone, and then you doubling down on this.
I was in college, filler text used to frustrate me to no end, so that's a basic reason why I cut things. However, in Alyssa's case...
No, that's not an excuse. You're removing context has nothing to do with filler content. No, you're slandering the person. You're doing defamation. And guess what? If this goes to court, yes, they can use this scene right here of you admitting to the fact, no, one, denying that you're removing context. Then the next second, showing of you admitting to the fact that you did remove it and trying to justify it with a terrible argument and a terrible excuse. Yes, you're going to lose the case. For crying out loud.
Things are a little bit different. And for her video, this is actually the main reason why I try to use as little of her content as possible and cut all unnecessary information.
I'm still baffled that he actually said this and doesn't realize that he's proving Noah's point. That yes, he was maliciously lying about her video. He was maliciously slandering her whole entire video. My guy, you're making this video that's over 2 hours long. It has nothing to do with shortening the video or not. That's not an excuse. If you can make this whole entire claim, actually focus on important details that should be talked about. Please think, from the very beginning of the video to the end of it, all of it was important. It was from point A to point C. It's not of A, C, B, E, D, F. No, it was from A, B, C, and that's it. It was straightforward. It was literally nothing else. You removed all that context. You lied to your own viewers. And then we get called on this. You doubling down instead of just apologizing. And it's because of you, she got harassed over things that she didn't do and she didn't say. And you doubled down on this to argue that what you did was justified. And this is why I said multiple times that no, he did not feel bad about her getting doxxed. He did not feel bad of having his viewers harassing her. He did not feel bad of almost getting her killed. He did not feel bad of anything that he did. No, this is why I say with that so-called apology post he made, he did not genuinely feel bad about what he did. The dude is blatantly, finally admitting to the fact he did remove context and still making the same stupid excuses.
The textbooks. When I was in college, filler text used to frustrate me to no end, so that's a basic reason why I cut things. However, in Alyssa's case, things are a little bit different. And for her video...
It's not different. You remove context for no reason and misrepresented everything within her video. That was his point.
This is actually the main reason why I try to use as little of her content as possible and cut...
No, it should not be a main reason because you should not be removing content.
All unnecessary information. Alyssa
No, it is necessary information for her point. You're removing it. That's what you're lying about her.
Has 2.5 million subscribers and runs an animation channel which is expensive to produce, so she most certainly has contracted with an organization to claim...
Who cares? This is irrelevant. So once again, you're still framing this idea that she deserved what happened.
And content thieves who re-upload entire videos. Now, most YouTubers don't work with these organizations, so it's not something that you typically have to worry about. But the problem with the copyright organizations is that they will often claim every video that uses their content, even if it's fair use.
It's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. So once again, you're just putting the fact that you had no excuse to remove the context, then you're freaking idiot. So once again, so that means with Albert and Breach, I can use little as much of content and they will still get copyright claim, right? So meaning it shouldn't matter of, oh, I just want to make content short as possible. My guy, you're proving an example of proving that it doesn't matter whether you make it short as possible, it still won't work. So once again, has nothing to do with that. And two, this is not an excuse either. You were making bold claims about her and her life and her video, and you removed all the context of lying about what happened. Yes, you were in the wrong. It's not like someone reacted to the video or actually gave a commentary. No, you were just doing defamation and slander on her. That is why you got in trouble. That is why you were flagged. That is why you would get the platform. Because you're still doing it today. You didn't apologize for what happened.
This is something that channels like, let's say, Noah would not have to worry about with me because he knows I'm not going to claim his video if he plays a 2-minute uncut clip of me talking. The
That's not the same.
copyright system on YouTube is a huge mess to navigate. So specifically with
not the
Alyssa or
same.
any channel that has big production value like Cut or Jubilee, you have to worry about getting copyright claimed if you use too much.
This has nothing to do with it at all. You freaking idiot. This has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. No, you, like I said, you could have just apologized and own up to the fact that you shouldn't have done that. That's all you could have done. But no, you're so willing to just argue of that. Yes, you're in the right to remove context and lie about someone. My guy, thanks because of you, she got doxxed. And instead of you feeling bad about this, you're legit making the dumbest excuses for no reason.
Too much of their content. And what do you know? One day after I released the first video on Alyssa, I got copyright claimed by her channel organization. I didn't say anything about this because I beat the claim, and I wanted to give Alyssa the benefit of the doubt by
Wait, so you beat the claim, so meaning you in your own second video, that was not necessary then, you freaking idiot. So meaning you could have just shut the F up and move along with that. You did the exact next day, right? So meaning you could have just shut the F up and move along. And then you made this whole second video crying about getting the platform or something that is not even true. When the whole problem though was that fact it was not even about you using her content, it was about the fact you lied about her in her video. That was the issue that she had. And if I remember too, like you said, you beat the claim. So once again, you made this whole second video for no legit reason where you could have just shut the F up and move on. Nothing else. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. For crying out loud.
assuming it was just an autoclaim by her organization instead of her personally telling them to claim it, because autoclaims are typically what happens. Though now that I know more, I'm a little suspicious that the video was claimed a day after the upload and not at the time of the upload, which is what Content ID typically does. And considering that adjusting for time zones, this copyright claim occurred around 12 hours after she was telling people to report my video, I now have trouble believing that this claim wasn't malicious.
So once again, a day later.
Instead of a routine Content ID claim. Also considering that after she was telling people to report my video, I now have trouble believing that this claim wasn't malicious. Instead of a routine Content ID claim. Also considering that Alyssa was telling people on Tumblr that I shouldn't be allowed to make money on my hard work.
No, my guy, you legit slandered her for no reason. You got her harassed. That is why you should not be making money. The problem though is with people is that if she goes out her way and whatever, and they do watch your video, the problem though is you're gonna make money and profit off of her getting harassed. Thanks because of you, you're just openly admitting to the fact that if she does get killed, you're going to be celebrating it because you're making money off of her death. So once again, instead of you just, I don't know, being charitable to her and feeling bad for what happened, no, you're literally pretending that you're a victim. Homie, she got harassed, she got doxxed. You're not a victim.
While I was going through the appeals process for a monetary copyright claim, so it's a little suspicious. But how many attacks has Alyssa levied against my channel simply because she can't mute comments for a couple days?
That's literally, you're victim blaming her and arguing that she deserved what happened. My guy, you could have just told your viewers not to harass her. That's all you could have done. Or two, actually have an actual valid and good faith argument. A disingenuous video slandering her and sending your viewers to attack her. And they double down on this to advocate for what happened. My guy, shut the F up.
She copyright claimed me, she privacy claimed me, and she called on her followers to mass.
My guy, you legit caused this to yourself. She's in the right to do these things. You freaking sent your viewers to attack her over a lie that you made up. And it's because of you, she got doxxed and almost killed. And you're still trying to frame this idea that you're the victim. My guy, what is wrong with you?
Flag me. I mean, are there any other tactics that she wants to exhaust to hurt my channel because she can't take a look?
You are not a victim. You're not. Your channel's not gonna get hurt. If so, that's your own fault. You could have just apologized and shut the F up and move on. You're the one who legit brought this whole thing up for no reason. She left it alone. She literally left it alone. You're the one who would not let it go. That's because of you. She almost got killed. For crying out loud.
A little criticism. With that said,
nothing you did was criticism.
Let's hear why Noah thinks the 3 seconds that I cut was important.
And this is important, right? Because this line directly refutes Sean's narrative.
Stupid. He didn't say anything about you using Adobe Premiere.
That Illy is promoting obesity. So immediately before she says that faded
No. Play the full context. I've already played the full context, but it's so funny. He's skipping parts of the video because he does not want to show exactly what's being said. And I don't want to hear this whole, oh, copyright. No, you're making bold claims about someone with lies. It does not matter how you want to make this content pure as possible. No, it has nothing to do with that. Because you'll be making like a 3-hour or like 2-hour, it doesn't matter how much hours long videos, just rambling on, saying nothing of value. My guy, in the original post right here, you have wasted so much people's time. And your other video, you wasted so much people's time saying nothing of value or anything in good faith. So that has nothing to do with keeping short as possible.
Line, eat whatever you want, she added a caveat. She said, unless you have life-threatening allergies or dietary restrictions to follow. This line, as well as the depiction on screen, is an acknowledgement that there are some exceptions to her statement, which would include, for example, a diabetic person's blood sugar imbalances, or, most importantly for Sean's conclusion, the dietary restrictions recommended to morbidly obese people.
Literally him explained to you of why it was important and that, yes, you were in the wrong for doing so.
So here's the part where Noah again accuses me of saying things that other people said, and not things I actually said, followed by him making a completely...
He did not. Oh my freaking gosh, you freaking bloody idiot. 2, if you actually play the full context, he provide evidence of you making these exact claims too. And for number 2, that's not it. It's about the fact of you framing these things as such are the reason of why they believe in this. I cannot believe I have to show his video again.
Right out. And this is important, right? Because this line directly refutes Sean's narrative that Illy is promoting obesity. This phrase, dietary restrictions, rules out the more extreme situations that Sean is referring to when he says that this will cause viewers to eat themselves into an early grave. There's another equally important misrepresentation of what Illy says here, which has to do with context and framing. If you notice, Sean introduces the clip from Illy's video by calling it her advice.
Let's see Alyssa's final piece of advice.
Now, what does he mean by advice? Just general advice or something more specific? Well, seeing as his conclusion from this advice is that Illy might kill fat people by enabling them to overeat, it's safe to assume, I think, that when he says advice, what he actually means is nutritional advice. You know, advice for dieting and weight loss. That's what the conclusion implies. And so, when these lines, food is just food and carrots aren't good and chocolate isn't bad, are being presented as dieting advice, and yeah, you already know people were going to have something to say about that, and say about that they did.
S'mores are a diet food. Got it.
So 27 bars of chocolate is equal to a meal of broccoli, grilled tomato, mashed potatoes, and chicken. Nice to know.
I have diabetes type 3. Time to eat 4 trillion Oreos.
It's really funny, that last one, given that Illy specifically accounted for diabetic people, but Sean just didn't show it, so then there was a bunch of comments.
Yes, so meaning it did change a lot. If you left it in, then no one would attack you for it. But no, you purposely removed the exact context to lie.
About diabetes, really good. The other alleged creators covering this video did the same thing.
Carrots are definitely healthier for you than a chocolate bar, so telling kids something otherwise is actually harmful.
What had she still didn't do that? Once again, literally telling you, explain to you, if you left the context in and not misrepresent her whole entire video, they would not come to these conclusions. But no, you misrepresented the video, you told them to just take what you have to say as a fact, and that's it.
More calories, 1 pound of broccoli or half a cup of olive oil. Half a cup of olive oil.
Did one of your professional doctors tell you this? Was the nutritionist the one that told you that carrots and chocolates are the same?
She never once made that claim.
I can't believe a full-grown adult actually believes this dumb shit. Here's a fact. Chocolate is high in sugar and saturated fat.
Yeah, they just go on like that for like 10 minutes. They sound like they're having a blast, honestly. There must be a floor to critical thinking that when you blow past it, everything just starts feeling like pure euphoria. This response here from both audiences and creators relies on Sean's framing of Illy's words, that they were intended as dieting advice. But the thing is, they weren't. Illy's video has some fairly straightforward themes. She talks about dealing with negative body image, about getting bullied, starting unhealthy eating habits, and frustrations over weight loss. Her video is a direct critique of diet culture and its morality-based food logic.
Diet culture is an entire belief system that associates food with morality and thinness with goodness.
She relates her own experiences to the common occurrence of teenagers dieting, despite already being at a healthy weight.
Literally, right there.
Immediately before the good and bad foods clip, Illy introduces a concept called body neutrality, which advocates for removing the moral element from how we view our bodies. She then states that she is about to apply that concept to food. So given the actual content of her video, and the direct link she'd just drawn from moral neutrality to food, when she finally actually says these lines, her intent could not be more clear. She's talking about morality. She's saying that eating carrots doesn't make you a good person, just like eating chocolate doesn't make you a bad person.
So him removing that whole entire context to misrepresent the whole thing, yes, it was important.
By presenting only the tail end of the sequence and neglecting to accurately portray the central themes of her entire video, Sean has removed it from all context. The result is that he's framed her as both an idiot that can't do basic math about calories, and more seriously, a dangerous person whose dieting advice will end up with people dead. Along with Sean's conclusion that Illy's advice is going to kill people, he also claims that because of this sequence, the message of her video is that she endorses drug abuse.
Stop writing criticism off as malicious concern trolling when the ending message of your video was effectively, if you can't stop doing drugs, then drugs aren't bad, and you should take whatever drugs you want and as many drugs as you want.
This was yet another inflammatory statement that was...
Mind you, it's still funny. I already played the full context again. Oh yeah, and another thing from earlier too. Just in case.
Want to without beating yourself up about it.
I'm done. That was such terrible advice. I don't know how this video could be considered as anything other than enabling food addicts to not fix their health.
So Illy's quotes
here. And I will show the context from his video, but I will show it again one more time just to prove the I'm not trying to lie about anything.
Up to and gaslight yourself about what your actual goal was.
You want to without beating yourself up about it.
I'm done. That was such terrible advice. I don't know how this video could be considered as anything other than enabling food addicts to not fix their health. She basically just said, I tried to lose weight to look more attractive, and I gave up because I couldn't figure it out, so you should give up too and gaslight yourself about what your actual goal was.
It's so funny. You cry about how Noah Sansom is lying about what you said, but my guy, all you've been doing throughout the whole entire videos to this very day is still lying about what she said. He never made any of that claim. He never made that type of argument at all. And you knew that. He purposely removed the context. This is his point. It has nothing to do with, oh, I just want the video to be short. No, that has nothing to do with that at all. Has nothing to do with that. You just want to be disingenuous. And instead of you just own up to the fact that, yes, you lied about what happened, you had to double down.
Thanks, Alyssa. You're really improving the world. You know what's great about this advice? Because you conflated being overweight with extreme obesity, so you can say that both are healthy. What's going to happen is that people who watch this video that are 300 pounds are going to say, see, Alyssa is fine with being overweight. I don't have to change either. And then they'll eat themselves into an early grave.
Really? You making the claim right here. Oh my freaking gosh. And you still try to push this idea as if that's not what you did. My guy, you did.
Completely ridiculous argument about obesity. And I say this argument from Noah is that other people said, and not things I actually said, followed by him making a completely ridiculous argument about obesity. And
dude, that was you.
I say this argument from Noah is ridiculous because Alyssa spends the whole video suggesting that being fat is not unhealthy. And
she's still correct about that, you freaking idiot.
she says this.
Here I am, at the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life,
And she's still correct about
categorically
that.
overweight and well within middle school mocking range, but also the healthiest I've ever been, according to multiple doctors.
She also
No. Show us the full context. We already went through this. But once again, it's so funny. You're still leaving out all the context because you can't just be genuine and honest about this whole situation. For crying out loud. No, let's continue too.
Surely you watched my video on the mass flagging, right? Well, if you watched it, then you couldn't have missed the entire 10-minute segment where I go over a very long-winded New Year's Eve post from Alyssa where she basically is telling a follower of hers that obesity doesn't cause health problems.
And she would still be correct about that. And two, that's not even close to what she actually bloody said. But of course, you have to purposely misrepresent everything she said for no reason. You talk about how obesity is not one of the main causes of freaking death. It's other freaking problems. Heart disease, that has nothing to do with obesity alone. There's other reason on why it happens. With cancer, same thing too. COVID-19, same thing too. Accidents, 100%, same thing too. Strokes, 100%. All of these things have nothing to do with, oh, you're fat, so that's why it's happening. It has nothing to do with that. It's other reasonings on why it happens. But of course, you are lying to your own viewers because you can't tell any amount of truth or form any criticism.
And doesn't lead to things like osteoarthritis, despite
It's right there. You freaking idiot.
follower of hers that obesity doesn't cause health problems and doesn't lead.
I will show you guys something right now. I'm sure you guys can see
seconds from the point that you that segment where I go over a very long-winded New Year's Eve post from Alyssa where she basically is telling.
Once again, literally showing you that she's being nuanced about this. It's about the fact how people like you are so disingenuous that you only look at fat people or obesity as the only thing that is bad. Because when it comes to underweightness or people being skinny, you're celebrating it. You're making excuses for it. That is her point. Once again, these things can happen to people at any shape and sizes. That is the point. You guys don't actually care. Literally her refuting it right here. Right here. But of course, you're misrepresenting it for no legit reason.
Telling a follower of hers that obesity doesn't cause health problems and doesn't lead to things like osteoarthritis.
Once again, right here. For crying out loud.
Despite showing an article that says it does.
Homie, injury to the joints, pre-existing joint diseases, specific metabolic diseases, genetics. Well, of course, you're not going to talk about that because guess what? It is not aligned with what you wanted to say. Like I said, it's so funny. You only bring it up only when it comes to fat people being fat. But yeah, when it comes to people who aren't going through that, you do not want to bring it up for no amount of way. Oh, because it's not aligned with what you expect them to say. And it's something that has to do with just age. And guess what? People being, not people, just females being females to begin with. So once again, you're still being disingenuous, ignoring all these other factors too. Why? Because it goes against your whole rhetoric. This is exactly why she provided this source. This is why she brought it up, to show the fact that you guys are being disingenuous about this.
And if this is still not enough, then you can watch her video about 10 seconds from the point that you clipped, where she says being fat does not make you less healthy.
Being fat.
It's so funny you say this, but yeah, you're the one that could have brought this up in your own original video. You're the one who removed all that context. Mind you. No, let's go to the actual point. Once again, it's around here for crying out loud. From here to here, that's where she ends. You removed all of that context when she summarized exactly her problem with this is. She literally tells you her point. No, you purposely removed the context.
That doesn't automatically mean someone is less healthy.
If they are 300.
And she's so correct about that, but funny part, you cut her off. Let's continue.
Oh great, now she's glorifying obesity. I'm not glorifying anything.
That is it. Of course, you remove that context. This is no. This is why she made this clarification. This is bad faith and disingenuous people like you removing it. You lied about what happened. So instead of you own up to the fact that yes, you were wrong, you purposely removed the full context.
Oh, great. Now she's glorifying obesity. I'm not glorifying anything. My point is simple. Don't be a dick to fat people. And don't use, oh, I just care about their health as an excuse. Being fat doesn't automatically mean someone is less healthy or too lazy to look like you or however you think they should look. You don't know.
That's the point. When you remove that context, you really flip the whole thing out. She was summarizing her point. She's going through it. She's giving it the disclaimers.
These people. But what if they're not healthy? Even if you've stalked this person to somehow come to that conclusion, you're still not allowed to be a to them.
That's the point. No, you, Sean, removed all of this context because you can't just be good faith. You're wasting everyone's time and just blaming lying. It has nothing to do with, oh, I actually want to make it sure as possible. No, and this is my point for crying out loud. Now let's go to the exact point with the whole so-called doxing situation with that. Because that this whole thing is a summary. I can just make a whole entire video and just let it alone with this. I know I need to keep going. Because it's like got put it dead center in end of the day. This is ridiculous that we have to do this. Let me see the clip again. I think it was like around earlier. Oh wait, not this one.
Disabled people. That being said, according to The Verge, this was a fight that resulted in the apocalypse. I don't
don't like anything about you. I don't like your face. I don't like your videos. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like
YouTube, instead of removing the videos and giving him a single strike for the entire incident, which would allow Leafy a chance to correct his behavior, they struck all the videos at once and deleted his channel.
Even if you absolutely
Yeah, because he went too far. Your point? And you're not a victim.
hate Leafy, hate everything about him, you still shouldn't be happy that he got banned this way, because to my understanding, he had 0 strikes on his account before it was completely...
Once again, not Turkey Tom. Oh my gosh. Critical is not really the best person to be listening to begin with. He really is just dumb. Nothing else. Now, let me go back. Oh my gosh, I gotta use that clip in the future. I will go through it. Should we... Oh, wait. No, it was around here, actually.
About it from someone covering the drama who was less charitable. But okay, let's follow his logic again. Now, I noticed that something was missing from Noah's follow-up video when he read my tweet. This part here. The part where I said that...
Well, shouldn't the comments be reflective in his own audience?
Well said.
It's like, I can't moderate them. I can't do anything. People in my comment section don't say this. People in my chat don't say this. People in any of my chats or any of my Discord don't say this. I can help with like random people on Twitter, just like I can help with random fucking crazy people in 4chan. Like, why the fuck am I being held accountable in that audience? And the fact
because it's about the fact that you legit push this rhetoric onto them. That's the point. He literally explains this point, but you didn't even bother to pay attention to the video. You have Turkey Tom, who didn't even actually watch the video, who was being dishonest, telling you how to think.
he can only show comments from there. I think it severely undermines the culpability supposedly that this guy has, because if it was his video, like pushing people that far, well, shouldn't the comments be reflective in his own audience?
Well said. I will also note that this happened after...
You know, I would legit... Once I made the full video, I would explain what he was trying to argue, because you're not even showing the full context of what he just
like
said.
100 different YouTubers reacted to the alienation drama, so Noah really has no evidence that the...
And some of those people were your own friends, and some of those people were subscribers of you, who were coming into this with a bias. And you told them to have this bias.
These people are actual regular viewers of my channel, or if they heard about it from someone covering the drama who was less charitable. But okay.
Homie, all of these people were less charitable. You were not even charitable to begin with. That is your own friend, Turk and Tom. He legit is telling Destiny how to think about the situation. He's not being genuine about this. Nowhere. He was getting the full context or being honest about this. And that's your friend. You told him to have this type of point of view. That's your fault. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's follow his logic again. Now, I noticed that something was missing from Noah's follow-up video when he read my tweet. This part here. The part where I said that after he released his video, I started receiving threats. Strange that he didn't talk about this during his video when the whole point of...
Let's go through it. Let's just go through it. I think it was, 1 second. Let me look it up.
Alienation has been removed for cyberbullying. I have been accused of harassing someone or using slurs to talk about someone's intrinsic traits. I didn't do that. Anyone who watched the video can see I didn't do that, so I have appealed the video. But it's YouTube, so even though I didn't break the rules, we'll see what happens. Curiously, this occurred shortly after Noah Samson released a video on me yesterday that was so bad faith that I can't believe he actually hit the upload button. This video, multiple times, accuses me of doxing alienation and encouraging doxing. He basically says I doxed Alyssa in his video title, and his claims in the video get so ridiculous that at 14 minutes he literally accuses me of trying to get Alyssa killed, simply because I made a video saying, I don't like your video, and colluding with your followers to mass flag my channel is messed up.
Alright, so let's just go through these one by one. Sean claims that I accused him of doxing alienation. Sean.
No one did.
Sean, come on, man. You know that's not true. I never accused you of doxing her. I never accused you of calling for her doxing either. I actually very clearly stated the opposite, that you both did not ask anyone to dox her. Sean didn't ask anyone to dox or harass Illy, and that I don't think you made your video with the intent of her getting doxed. Do I think that Sean made his video with the intent of Illy getting doxed? No, I don't. Sean here also claims that my video's title is basically a doxing accusation. Maybe I don't have to explain this one, but just in case. Think Before You Dox is a play on words about the fact that she got doxed and the fact that Sean's channel was a part of that process. This title does not specify action or intent. These claims are perplexing, but it seems like they've already started to catch on. Commenters and creators alike are repeating this around the web, saying that I accused him of doxing.
I think that is one of the most irresponsible and dishonest and malicious things that you can do, is accuse somebody of doxing, because some crazy fucking psychopaths in their audience took things way too far and doxed somebody.
And once again, do you know why they're feeling this way? Not only because some of these are your friends, but a lot of these people are taking your words as a fact, Sean.
Because they don't like that. None of them are showing proof or giving timestamps to evidence this claim because they can't, because those don't exist, because this didn't happen. The drama content human centipede is back in action, and for it, I am no match, I fear. Next, Sean claims that I accused him of encouraging doxing. He repeats this claim later in the thread. I never used the word encourage to describe Sean's actions, and this isn't just a semantic distinction, I don't think. Encouragement to me implies intent, and if that encouragement is coming from Sean himself, as his claim denotes.
Now here's the thing, in my opinion, yes. I'll explain why in the future.
It also implies a direct engagement with the audience on that point. He didn't do that, though. He didn't allude to harassment at any point, let alone ask for it directly. And I never said he did. Now, do I think that his videos fostered an environment that motivated viewers to harass her? Absolutely. That was sort of my video's whole argument. I supported this argument by going over the 3 ideas that Sean fabricated, showing how he used those fabricated ideas to make inflammatory accusations, both of which were then cited directly by the doxers as their motivations for doxing. Him creating those circumstances doesn't mean that he directly encouraged the doxing himself. The fact that he didn't, that he caused it without encouraging it directly, is an important part of this whole situation, I think. If he had directly encouraged it, then he'd be banned. We wouldn't be talking about this right now. We'd be gaming. Now, if you disagree with me with those examples or that line of thinking, that's fine. However, if you want to argue against those claims, then first we need to be on the same page about what they actually are. If we can't agree upon reality, then any further debate is going to be a complete waste of time. In the same paragraph, Sean claims that I accused him of trying to get Alyssa killed. He made a similar claim on Tom Dark's live stream on May 2nd.
After basically accusing me of attempted murder, I can't assume that Noah would use any sort of good faith argumentation there.
So where is he getting this idea?
This is why I'm using Noah's video to provide actual context of what Sean and how he handled the situation.
Well, in his tweet, he references a sequence from the 14-minute mark of my video. The start of this clip is me reading a post from the doxing thread, and then I go on to my conclusion. I hate this lying Jewish blank with all my heart. She needs to die. The new video she made is promoting childhood obesity. She is a cancer to this world and needs to be rotting 6 feet under the ground. This comment is from the doxing thread. They stated they were going to visit her in California. They said they wanted her dead, and at that point, they knew where she lived. Thankfully, Illy was able to move before anything violent happened, but if this person, for example, had taken action, Sean's video very well could have been what pushed them over the edge. Sean really doesn't seem interested in paying attention to other people's words. I said, if this person or someone like them had taken action, Sean's video could have been what pushed them over the edge. Sean has distorted this claim into me saying that he tried to get her killed. This is just kind of ridiculous, right? My words make no comment on his intent. The idea that his video could push someone into violence doesn't mean that he made it with that goal. I don't believe he did, and I said as much in my video. As far as my actual claim, I'm pretty sure I'm correct. I absolutely believe that his videos could have pushed someone over the edge into violence. This person in the doxing thread clearly hated Illy. Their post was riddled with statements wishing death and injury upon her. The only one that wasn't was the line about her promoting childhood obesity, which was an idea they pulled straight from the conclusion of Sean's video. To argue that this could not have led to violence, that seems kind of difficult. If Sean wants to try, though, he can, but first he needs to understand what my argument actually is. Another thing I want to address here is the way that Sean represents my characterization of his video's content. Sean describes his own video as just a little bit of criticism. He claims that all
Once again, you see this right here, right? When did we see the actual post itself?
he did was tell Illy, I don't like your video, and colluding with your followers to mass flag my channel is messed up. In this tweet here, he is presenting this diluted description of his video as if it were my own. He positions it as my rationale for the also mischaracterized arguments he attributed to me just before. This is sort of discombobulating though, right? The entire video I made was an argument against this idea, an argument that what he did was not a mere case of criticism, but one of open malice. So why is he putting these words in my mouth? Well, because he needs to be the victim. If all he'd said was these 2 innocuous statements, and if I'd responded to them by accusing him of attempted murder, then yeah, he would be the victim. But that's not what happened. Neither of those claims are true. So to maintain his victim status, he has to distort reality. He has to go to school, study hard, and then get a PhD in strange. Dr. Strange, is this upsetting to you? Should I leave? Moving on to the second tweet thread, which is from the next day. This one begins with a screenshot of YouTube's message to Sean that his second appeal had been rejected.
What a shock. YouTube has yet again decided to change its rules for someone who doesn't have the approved politics and uphold a strike on a video that did not violate its guidelines.
Clearly him bringing up politics for no reason, because he cannot own up to the fact that yes, he was in the wrong.
The specific wording on the rule they accused me of breaking was use of racial slurs and making fun of intrinsic traits. I did not use any racial slurs and I did not poke fun at any intrinsic traits. Intrinsic traits are things that you cannot change, such as your race or certain facial features. I never comment negatively on people's intrinsic traits because that's messed up. But hey YouTube, if this is the new standard, and Noah Samson seems to think mass flagging is okay because he never denounced it, which is something that every reactor did when they saw the video. Even the
Yeah, because they were already agreeing with you, but yeah, you never denounced the fact of harassment at all. You never did. And so you called for it. All your own viewers and supporters were advocating that it was justified. Now, one time you guys ever argued that her getting harassed was wrong, nor denounced it, or even condemned it. Every single one of you guys would get double down on this, downplay what happened, and try to condone the whole harassment and doxing. And for number 2, not to this very day, y'all actually argue that what happened was still wrong. Instead, Sean, you're so arguing that it was her fault. She needs to apologize, arguing as if that she deserved it. So once again, shut the F up. The only reason why they're against mass flagging is not because they actually truly believe in it. No, it's because they themselves, they do not want to get held accountable for things that they themselves are guilty for doing. And the other problem too is that they're friends with you, so of course they're going to be out arguing as if it's not okay to be doing to begin with. Once again, it was Jack Films, they would make all the excuses on why it's okay for him to advocate for false flagging.
the ones who hate me. Noah spent several minutes caving for mass flagging and saying it's not that bad. That being said, YouTube, I have 3 videos for you to...
Yes, because it's not the same thing as getting someone harassed. It's not the same thing of getting that person almost killed and doxxed. It's not the same thing. But yet, all you have been doing is still arguing that you're the victim because, oh, your channel was getting taken down because one video was getting striked. You're arguing as if what happened to you was way worse. Yeah, no. Shut the F up.
The strike where Noah made fun of my voice, one of which, the entire bit of his video was making fun of the way I talk.
Sean claims that I said that mass flagging isn't that bad. He also concludes that I must think mass flagging is okay because I never denounced it. This isn't true. I never commented one way or another about the morality of mass flagging. I didn't say it was good or bad. And just because I didn't denounce it doesn't mean that I endorse it. My critiques of the mass flagging allegations did not concern morality. They were about ethics. A bunch of people, Sean included, called...
Now, here's the thing. That part I do disagree with because you should make that disclaimer technically. I'm just saying
What
that.
she did in attempted deplatforming. I argued that this was false because while flagging can lead to deplatforming, that doesn't make these terms interchangeable. The fact that they were wrongfully conflated here was perhaps the biggest contributor to the hate campaign that led to Illy's doxing. On YouTube, wrongfully calling for someone's deplatforming is a serious transgression with serious consequences, as we saw. A bunch of people, Sean included, insinuated that Illy's call for mass flagging was a unique threat to Sean's video being removed. I argued that it wasn't because from everything I could find, the act of mass flagging does not affect the actual review process itself, as in how the YouTube reviewers decide to rule. A bunch of people, Sean included, claimed that Illy was sending her millions of subscribers to flag his video. I argued that this was false because her flagging post was not made on YouTube, where those millions of subscribers are, but on Tumblr to 0.1% of her audience in a post that had an engagement rate of 0.01% of that audience. None of these arguments contain a moral claim about whether or not mass flagging is good or bad. They are critiques of the misinformation being spread about it and the exaggerations about the figures that were cited. Now, since my video's release, I've seen a bunch of counter-arguments presented about this section specifically, about deplatforming, and some of them do have merit. I'm not going to be addressing them in this video because they are irrelevant to Sean's claims here, but I plan on doing that in my next video. As for those lines about intrinsic traits, I'm glad Sean brought up the thing about his voice. I see this a lot, both Sean and his fans arguing that the comments making fun of his voice are making fun of an intrinsic characteristic, and thus, by YouTube's guidelines, this is bullying and technically a reportable offense. But this is kind of a sneaky little trick here. Sean's video voice is not an intrinsic characteristic because it's not his.
I understand I'm playing the full-on video. My bad, but I will skip to it. Just to the part I just want to show you guys. 1 second. Come on, get out of here.
His actual voice. His actual voice is pretty normal, and he knows that and has admitted as much. Here's him using his normal voice to describe how it is different from his reading voice.
Like I can't do my reading voice. In fact, I've been trying to change it to my regular voice, but it's difficult. Like I don't know how I get into that mode. I just have to be very like I really hate recording, so I just have to be in the mode where I really don't like what I'm doing, and then that's how I get the higher pitched voice because your voice will pitch up when you're more tense.
Notice in that clip his claim that he is trying to change his reading voice.
I've been trying to change it to my regular voice.
If you can change it, then it's not immutable, man. So to me, it seems like comments about his reading voice fall more under the category of a stylistic critique, criticism to improve the form of his videos. Kind of like when people say that they can't watch Community tab, and because he didn't make
Sorry to ruin your groove. Isn't that the worst? What if I told you that there was a way for you to skip ads like this forever?
a video about it, it was just text. I had Andrew how he talks. This is not true. I made a video about a text post that Sean had put on his community tab, and because he didn't make a video about it, it was just text. I had Andrewism read the post because I wanted to have audio, and I like Andrewism's voice a lot. My decision to do this was a product of something that Sean himself suggested. TLDR, people I disagree with are wrong. Also, if you don't want to read it, then use text to speech, full screen, a stock image, and it will be just like watching a video of mine. He's got a sense of humor here, which I think that's that's good. But instead of doing text to speech, I had a better idea. I'm gonna soothe the audience. Ready to look out for the sneaky tactics we saw on display today. Mutilate my video's criticism beyond recognition to make some truly wild, unsubstantiated claims.
Basically accusing me of attempted murder.
I'm a bit skeptical that he will stick to his supposed manner and cause the doxing. But since he did so, apparently without breaking the rules, then on the responsibility binary, he is at 0. And 0 means that he's a beautiful, perfect, sweet angel that has done no wrong ever. And given everything I showed in the prior video, that doesn't seem like the most accurate characterization of his role in the story, which is why the binary sucks. Many such cases. Sean hasn't.
Trying to get Alyssa killed.
Okay, so now I actually found the actual tweet. I think that was I was doing. My bad. That was my fault. All right, let me just make sure that's there. Okay. No, that's not it. Oh, yeah, here it is. So we went through it is that his point was about that, yes, he still lied about what happened. It's not even just that, is that when he's literally not even going to bother the fact of, oh, I never encouraged doxing, which is false. Because once again, the moment when she was doxxed, instead of you just apologize and acknowledging that what happened was wrong, You're doing the opposite by arguing that it was justified for no legit reason. And the whole of I never encouraged harassment. You did. You blatantly was advocating for it. You were encouraging that behavior. With Noah, he didn't say that you did. He even states that you didn't multiple times. That's one thing, and that's what I show you from his video. So the fact, instead of you owning up to the fact that yes, you making this tweet and you still making bold claims about what he did and he said, instead of you owning up to the fact that yes, you're still in the wrong, yeah, you're not helping your claims. Now, in my opinion, this is the only part I can give Sean some credit for. The problem though, he's a massive hypocrite and did way worse. Is it does not even change the fact of what he did. That's the problem though, because if you look at the rest of the context, it doesn't even help Sean's case at all. It makes his case look way worse. So once again, you have Noah. You can hold him accountable for only showing this part right here and around this part. Yes. But when you go to like showing the rest of the context, it does not help. It does the complete opposite, showing the fact that no, he knew full what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Like he knew exactly for what he was doing. One, for the first few like posts, you were making extreme claims about Noah with no proof or evidence when that's not what happened, and you still were making claims about alienation instead of you acknowledging to the fact that you were wrong. And you're lying about the whole you never encouraged harassment, which is false. You did. You can say that's effed up, but my guy, you literally did it. You literally flat out did it multiple times. And I love the whole like false accuse another creator of attempt murder, and that's not even what he did too. He still never made that claim. It's so funny how here you can't just own up to the fact that yes, you're wrong for what you just said. And then this part right here, argument of, oh yeah, I enjoy blah blah. My God, you did not got any death threats. And I believe I made a comment about this earlier too. You did not got any death threats. Now, does that mean that you should? Still no. But it's so funny how at the time of this post, it was way before of no, it was after when she got doxxed and so on and so forth. The so-called him getting doxxed happened afterwards. It happened after he made his tweet. All you could have done was just say, hey, rap was terrible and left alone. He made a whole entire tweet arguing that it was justified and playing victim instead of just saying, "Hey, what happened was wrong," and that's it. And now here, you gave them the freaking idea for people who want to dox you now. Now, did you actually got doxxed? Let's be honest. The answer is no. Now, did you got any death threats? 100%. The answer is no. To a certain extent, yes. Let's be honest. But to the same extreme on her, no. 100% no. Basically, did she got death threats for something that she was guilty for doing? Still no. But did you got death threats for something that you were guilty for doing? Yes. Now, does that make it any better or justified? Still no. It's still wrong, regardless. But the things too, she did nothing wrong, and guess what? You made her a target. You made her a bloody target. For crying out loud. But no, instead of you just owning up to what you did, you have to double down instead. For crying bloody out loud. Here's your own tweet. Here's your own post. And instead of you acknowledging the fact of, hey, what happened to her was bad, no, your argument is, oh, well, she was doxxed before. My guy, you're literally trying to argue that what happened to her was completely justified and how we should not be paying attention to it. You're calling for doxing. You're advocating for it. It's so funny how you play victim only when doxing affects you, but when it happens to other people, you're willing to downplay it and justify it within the next breath for no reason. For crying out loud. But instead of you taking accountability about the fact that yes, this was your fault, and they dox her because of you rather frame on other people when it's your own fault. It's your own bloody fault. It's just disgusting. And then you rather like double down on this instead of you acknowledging the fact that you still took part of this. All of these channels still took part of this instead. For not like legit. It's just disgusting. Like seriously, it's just straight up disgusting. And you can't just own up to the fact that yes, you took part of the doxing. Like, come on. And if I were to, if this does go to court, yes, you can still be held responsible, technically. And then what do you do here? You still try to frame this whole idea that you're the victim. You're still trying to frame this whole idea that you're the victim, ignoring the fact that once again, she was freaking doxxed. Instead of you be like, okay, yeah, what happened was terrible, and that's my fault. I did not mean for any of this stuff to happen. I apologize. No, you are downplaying it. And it was this tweet of what I was thinking of as well, where someone was exposing him for just blatantly lying. Let me show you. Yes, right here. Shout out to the homie right here. Literally asking you the question, a valid question, and you kept doubling down each time instead of owning up to the fact that you were wrong. For crying out loud. The whole like, oh, it's irrelevant. No, it was relevant. It's relevant. Crying out loud. If not, then you would never remove the context to begin with. You would have left it in. But no, you didn't. You purposely left it out on purpose. And number two, you did it so many more times in your latest video. And that's the number two. I have to go back multiple times to fact check. You did it so many times for no reason. And that's why I have all of these videos up here to make sure I get things right, at least. For crying bloody out loud. You argue about fact checking something. Dude, you remove context. You lied to your own viewers and they didn't fact check a single thing, and you told them not to even listen to her for crying bloody out loud. No, she worded completely fine. The problem though, he still removed context and nothing else. Legit, this is what the problem is. You caused the doxing and you still double down instead of you owning up to the fact that yes, you could have just apologized and that's it. Like this person said, there was no reason to cut 3 seconds out of the whole thing to create a false narrative. If you left it in, no one would be using it against you. No, instead of you owning up to the fact that you're wrong, you have to double down. Once again, if you're gonna do it in the beginning and the end, fine. But yes, you still are doing it, but fine. Okay, whatever. When we did it in the middle, you were being malicious. You knew exactly what you wanted to say. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. There's no of, oh, I just want to make sure as possible. My God, it was only 3 seconds. And that 3 seconds was important, but my God, it was 3 seconds. There's no way that 3 second made your video way too long or made it messy. It was her giving a clarification, literally giving her a disclaimer, crying out loud. And you remove that for no reason to argue that, oh, she was advocating for this nasty behavior. She wasn't. If someone goes out of the way saying, hey, they do not support, like, let's say, death threats and stuff, and you remove that context to argue that they were, no, you're being disingenuous. This is the problem of what we're talking about. And this is what you do. You double down on this. You double down on this the next exact second. For crying out loud. Arguing to, oh, why, no, it doesn't. Yes, it did. It's me doing what I do in every video, which is trying to convey everyone's point in it as little as possible. So no, see, I admitting to the fact that yes, you just want to misrepresent a point to your own viewers. You want to gaslight your own viewers over a lie that you purposely lie about. Like, come on. Homie, you slander her, and then it's because of that. They attacked her over it. Yes, you knew full well what you were doing. Like, come on. That makes no sense, though. So wait, you still remove the context to be malicious. She was gave a caveat to acknowledge that there's limitations to it, and this is what Noah was providing. I'm still baffled he still said this and doesn't realize the fact he's still being disingenuous. And this is what I said earlier with this whole thing of, oh, he never encouraged or supported doxing. This is you literally doing so. For crying out loud. No, because that's important. Because you're still framing this idea into something she didn't even do. For crying out loud. Exactly, come freaking on. Like, come on. Like, seriously, like, it shouldn't be that hard or difficult for you to just leave it in. And it, boom, boom, you literally double down instead of you owning up to the fact that you're wrong. And be like, oh, I thought so. Clearly, you don't have an argument of for why I would have removed the context. Hey, we did. We provide you more arguments on why you should have left it in because there's no reason for you to leave it out. For crying out loud. For crying bloody out loud. Seriously. And this is embarrassing, but you go cry about how other people are taking your context out? No, you're being disingenuous. You're literally being disingenuous. But it's so funny how you only cry about it when it happens to you, and just proving the point you don't actually care about this. And of course, you blocked this person, let's be honest. But it's so disgusting how you can't just own up to the fact that yes, you effed up and you were wrong. For crying out loud. Like seriously, it is so embarrassing how he really, really cannot just own up to the fact he lied about what happened, and that's it.
Of this video chain of his is to talk about how bad harassment and threats are. I'm being harassed and I'm being threatened.
You're not getting harassed.
And yet Noah is silent.
Yes, this person right here should not be like doing what they did 100%. But at the same time too, how do we know that this is a real
This
thing
video,
too?
when the whole point of this video chain of his is to talk about how bad harassment.
Because one, you're not showing exactly who was the people who sent that to you. So obviously, high chance you made a whole entire account up out of nowhere just to frame it out of this way for no reason.
And threats are. I'm being harassed and I'm being threatened, and yet Noah.
And then here, you're also showing this person's account. And the front we can't find it anymore, rightfully so. But we still cannot find it. So it's so funny how with this person, you're willing to show their account, but with the Gmail, you're not willing to. Kind of sounds sketchy. In the front you want to give 2 examples where Noah provided more examples. In the front we can go through your comment, we could go through my comment, we go through everyone's comment, and yeah, what happened to her was still way worse than you did. That does not mean what happened to you was any better. It's so bad. If it did happen, but let's be honest, it really didn't. Either so, it's so funny how when it happens to you, now you're saying that it's bad. Now you're crying how, oh, it's bad. Oh my gosh, I'm such a victim. Look at me. But yeah, when it happens to her, you're downplaying it. You're making excuses for what happened.
Is silent. By the way, Noah makes this kind of content that he's criticizing me for all the time. He doesn't do it in the nicest way. He vilifies.
My God, you purposely slander her, and you're doing it to him now.
His opponent in every video I've watched, and Noah makes this kind of content that he's criticizing me for all the time. He doesn't do it in the nicest way. He vilifies his opponent in every video I've watched.
You literally was implying that Alyssa was woke and how people should not be listening to her solely because she was woke. That's all you were doing. And you're doing the same thing to Noah. You did the same thing to everyone else. You did the same exact thing to freaking Dylan. You did it to all of these people. You did it in your own tweet. You did it in your own views. My guy, shut the F up. Legit, all the things you're framing Noah of doing can be said about you 10 times more.
And he's wrong a lot, so I don't know how he has the audacity.
My guy, you purposely lied about her, and instead of you owning up to the fact that you were wrong, you doubled down to argue that you were okay for doing so.
To pretend that he has the moral high ground here. He does the same shit, but with far less accuracy and charitability. I've gotten.
Dude, you literally slander someone, and it's because of you. She got harassed, doxxed, and almost killed. You're making an excuse on why she deserved it, and how you're the victim.
Comment brigaded every time he's made a video on me. Though the bigger question.
No, people are calling out for the dumb BS that you're guilty for doing. But here's the thing. You actually called for this behavior. You legit was justifying this behavior in your own second video by framing it as criticism. And trying to I can't talk. Legit, trying to victim blame it on her as if it's her responsibility in YouTube to take control of that. You did the same thing in this video too. So once again, shut the F up.
Why is this stuff being focused on instead of the people who are actually guilty of the doxing?
My guy, because it was your fault. They wouldn't dox her if you kept your mouth shut. You're the reason on why they dox her. That was his point. You lied about her. You misrepresent every single thing in her video on purpose, and it's because of you. Not only she was harassed, she was doxxed and almost killed. Instead of you feeling bad for her, you're making tweets, you're making views, arguing that what happened was justified, downplaying what happened, and trying to paint yourself as the victim. This is why he made that video. You're not the victim.
Anyway, Alyssa proceeded to cross the line and try to get my video flagged.
Wow, she crossed the line. She crossed the line somehow. But no, you legit sending your viewers to get her harassed and things because of that. She got doxxed. So no. She did no. You did not cross the line. You did not went too far. My guy, this is why. How you gonna be saying this?
He does the same shit, but with far less accuracy and charitability. I've gotten comment brigaded every time he's made a video on me. Though the bigger question is why is this stuff being focused on instead of the people who are actually guilty of the doxing? Anyway, Alyssa
because you do stupid stuff like this.
Proceeded to cross the line and try to get my video flagged down, which could have easily resulted in deplatforming.
Stupid. It would not result for you to get the platform, you freaking idiot. And two, you getting the platform is not the same thing of someone getting harassed, doxxed, and almost killed. It's not the same thing. It's not more important than that either. It's not remotely close. You should know this. The fact that you're still trying to imply this as if what happened to you was way worse, I'm sorry, you're literally calling for it. My guy, she's literally telling you that it's because of you she was harassed, and you're victim blaming on her, arguing that it's her control to handle it. It was your control to handle it. All you could have done was just told your viewers not to do it. But in your own second view, you're arguing that it was not harassment or BS like that. It was just justified because it was criticism. You kept framing it in that way. In your own tweet, you're still doing that.
Platforming because YouTube is very inconsistent with their rules. And even after that, after she came after my source of income because she couldn't handle criticism that is.
You did not criticize her. He explained this point. I have explained this point. Nothing he did was criticism. Once again, if you get sued, it will be justified because you need to learn a lesson. Now, other than that, let's just go back to the actual post why I'm making this whole thing. Let's go back to it. So after all of that, for crying out loud, And like I said, I'm gonna save my time for the actual video alone. I'm gonna save my time. It's like this is just ridiculous right now. So with this, no, it's all false for crying bloody out loud. Nothing else. I wonder who like us. So here's evidence of trying to destroy his channel. When no, it's not. She just said that she just wants the video alone to get reported. Nothing about her channel, his channel. But of course, you're not showing us exact context of what she actually did said or not, because you have to lie. She at least states the channel, just the channel alone, not the channel. My bad. Just the video alone. Never anything about the actual channel at all. Not one time. And we already went through this. Nowhere she said anything about the channel. So once again, it's so funny how you have to lie for no legit reason. She didn't say anything about the channel for crying blade out loud. And also, she didn't lie to her viewers about what Sean did. No, he did get her harassed. That is the fact. She didn't lie about that. She was getting harassed because of him. So no, she didn't lie about that to begin with. And also, he did not slander him for calling him out for being right-wing extremist. He is a right-wing extremist. That is not slander. That is a fact. Where he was the one legit attacking her for things that she didn't said, attacking her and slandering her for things that she isn't at all. That's the thing. They want to argue that she's left is fine. Basically, that has nothing to do with her point of view or her video. So him bringing it up, showing that he's politically charged and biased against anything that does not align with his point of view and frames it as leftist. Yeah, no, he's just admitting to the fact he's a right-wing extremist at that point. Nothing else. So again, he's not even being the freaking claims at all. Like, golly. And two, she does not need to watch the content when it was blatantly obvious. Because guess what? She saw the comments and she saw the type of content he just made. It was that simple. But of course, you have to keep lying for no reason. So now he's still making blah blah. Okay, let's just go through this again. Okay, so now he's making false accusations against me by saying that I still want to listen. Yeah, because you do. Your first comment was just you in defense of what happened, and not you actually feeling bad for her or anything like that. You're still villainizing her for everything you did. Right now, you're still calling for her death. I mean, she was doxxed and she was almost killed. And instead of you feeling bad for her, you're still framing her as if she's the villain of the situation. Yes, you're calling for it. There's no excuse for it. Crying out loud. And literally here, of, oh, he's trying to frame that I just want her to die. Proceeds the next exact second. Proceeds the next exact second. Because she did something bad. Legit, framing that she did something bad when she did nothing bad at all. Like, seriously. I've already explained this multiple times. If not, then stop trying to argue for her to die. This has nothing to do with you living in the European. That has nothing to do with it. European to in Europe. That has nothing to do with it. You can legit put someone's life in danger regardless where you live. Once again, Sean Alienation can live in separate places and he can still put her life in danger or put harm on her. It does not matter where they live. I've already explained this point already, but of course you're not going to be listening to it. So once again, this whole thing of, oh, well, I live in another country, that has nothing to do with it. Like, come on. I look at like, oh, it should be protected at all costs, and it proceeds to constantly frame her as the villain of the situation in argument of why she deserved it. If not, then stop trying to argue she deserved it. That's all you could have done. Just let it alone, and that's it. That's all you could have done. Instead of you downplaying, denying it, or making excuses, or trying to justify it, you could just shut your mouth up, and move along. That's all you could have done. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. Like, it has a lot to do with you since you're in defense of that behavior. That's the point. All the whole like of, oh yeah, someone tried to kill someone for something, yeah, sorry, for something that has nothing to do with him. It's stupid and immoral. And I would never do that. My guy, you're in defense of that. You literally have been arguing nonstop in defense of that for crying bloody out loud. You have never once criticized these people or held him accountable for being part of it as well. Why? Because you're in support of this. Instead, you keep doubling down. And the only reason why you're against it is only when it happens to him. Because each time we have argued, each time when he brings up the doxing on him, then he's trying to frame it as a negative thing. But the moment what happens to her, he's making excuses for it instead of owning up to the fact he was wrong. Like, that's all he could have done. But no, he needs to keep lying. I'm not beating around the bush. I've already explained this in the comments many times from before. But of course, you're not going to show anyone the comments, which is not that surprising. Um, frick are you talking about? You know, I'm not even gonna bother with that. I'm not even gonna bother with that. And then with this one, still lying about what happened because he has nothing of good faith to talk about. Like, seriously, all of the whole is extremely stale and slanderous. My guy, you're the only one who I've been slandering throughout this whole thing. I have provided all the sources. I've been repeating the things that you have argued. I've explained to you why you're wrong. And not once you have made a single good argument. My guy, you gave terrible screenshots on purpose because you can't own up to the fact that you did not watch any of these videos or did fact checking. I've been literally still making recording videos because there's more people that have talked about this and trying to make a recording. And I've been very busy with my own life, and yet I'm able to done all of these things. And yet you cannot be bothered to watch our video or his video for no reason. But no, you're out here still taking Sean's 2-incher in your throat. Like seriously, my guy, like dude, it's not that hard to just say yeah, what happened to her was wrong and leave it at that. Not but, if, or no, stop doing that. Stop looking for justifications. It's not even that hard. Once again, like I said, this is what I said. When it came to Jacksonville, I could criticize him for what he did because that's the point. It's about what he did. If he was an innocent victim that did nothing wrong, then yes, I would not bring up what he did in the past because that's irrelevant. But the problem, though, is it's so funny how all of these people were framed this whole nonsense about Sniper Wolf of, oh, she's an evil person because she did this nonsense in the past. But I'm not going to tell you honestly of what she did. But she was arrested 2 times. I'm not going to tell you why she was arrested the second time because of, oh, it goes against my point of view. But just trust me, she's an evil person that deserved the worst and nothing else. And the further to most of this happens before the doxing. So once again, a lot of people were already hating on her for no legit valid reason, even though if they care about this, then they should hold Jack Film accountable for the same thing they're crying about Sniper Wolf for doing. Oh wait, they won't because they don't generally care. None of them do. Not one of them cared about it or have any amount of good faith to begin with. And this is my bloody problem. And I love the whole like I provided example and could see if his arguments. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And two, my guy, he slandered her whole entire video and framed her as the villain. Not one time you have provided any arguments backing this claim up. Not one time arguing or had any consistent points of him not being in the wrong. He knew full what he was doing, and he's still doing it right here. And affirm to after all that ranting I was doing, I've already proven more evidence that yes, he's not a demon. I am a demon, yes. But here's the thing. He was 100% in the wrong, and he knew what he was doing. And now once I have criticized him for what he did, you're still making excuses for it. You denied that he was removed from context, they admitted to it, and then in the next second you try to justify him of doing so. Proving the point that you acknowledge he was in the wrong, but you don't want to admit to the fact he was doing so. And then you still try to frame that no, she deserved it. Like seriously. Dude, you literally want her to die. There's nothing else about it. Nothing else you have to argue against it. You have to argue for it for multiple times. I look like you said oh, I'm ignoring it. But it's like, my guy, this is the point I'm talking about. I did not ignore it. This is me proving my point that yes, you're calling for her death. This is me showing you that yes, you did argue it. I mean, she got doxxed, she got harassed, all these stuff, and you're still framing her as if she's a villain of the situation, arguing that she doesn't that of oh we should not be feeling bad for her in any shape or form. You're still doing that right now. Even earlier, you were still framing that point. So once again, yes, I did not frame you up any sort of way. This is exactly what you're doing right here. Like, come on. Like, seriously. They literally said, okay, so wait, I'm sorry, my bad. I have to reread this whole thing again. My bad. I realized that there was some error. My bad. Well, I shouldn't be talking, but the same teacher don't care. He claimed to have shown evidence from for him against me and Sean. Yes, I have done so many times. I've made videos multiple times. I've shown screenshots already. I've quoted your own self. I gave you timestamps. I did every single thing. I put the work in, and you're still lying about what happened. This is why I made this video, just in case that you planning to watch it. I've done all of these things, and you're still lying about everything that happened because you can't just admit to the fact you were wrong. For crying bloody out loud, my guy, that's all you could have done. But when I asked him for evidence of his claims, or at least a source, I did. I literally did. You have asked me for the very beginning, and I've already provided them. Referring to why? Because I told you I have already argued with all of these other people when you literally see me providing actual arguments against it. You can literally go through my other comments and see me providing the arguments and evidence against it. You freaking moron. And not even just that, me literally doing it in the same exact comments in some of these comments and stuff where I reply to you, I've provided actual evidence and arguments against you, especially with my screenshots or with some of my videos. I've already done so. So once again, how you could be saying I'm not doing these things, but yeah, when I ask you for evidence, you cannot provide anything of her trying to deploy for him, trying to mass flag, or all of these BS. It's like you're so inconsistent with what happened. Oh wait, because you need to get her. You know what? Nothing else. I'm not gonna say that not much right now. It's like blah blah that you don't hate her, that you don't hate doxing, and you get blah blah. Okay, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, no, you keep putting words in my mouth. No, I did not say that you have said many times that you don't hate doxing and you want her killed or doxed. I did not say that. That's not even summarizing. That's not summarizing. I said multiple times that you said multiple times that you did not condone doxing. You did not support her getting harassed. And then the next second, and even before, you constantly talk about the fact of why she deserved it. That's the main claim and the main argument I have been arguing every single time. I mean, she got harassed, she got doxed, and you never once have tried to understand from her point of view or feel bad for her. You argue of, oh yeah, what happened was terrible, and it proceeds to go back to here's why she deserved it. So the fact that yes, you're being disingenuous about it. That is my point. That is me providing you arguments that you're wrong, and you have to misrepresent my own words. That's not even you summarizing. That's a misrepresentation. For crying out loud. Yes, you want her to die. That's all you did. That's all you did. You know, so I didn't say that you said it yourself. I said that you argued yourself. You have proven that multiple times, and I went into detail about that and how. You're constantly saying that you don't want that to happen, and you continue to literally argue the next second on why it should happen. You literally looking for the dumbest excuses. I mean, she got doxxed and almost killed, and your first argument is, well, she didn't watch the video. My guy, that is you legit looking for an excuse for what happened. But she's trying to deplatform, which is false. Once again, you going again, trying to find a justification for what happened. But she's trying to deplatform him. She's trying to blah, and all these dumb excuses. Yes, that is you showing support of the doxing. That is you wanting her to die. Not you of, oh yeah, what happened was terrible and it should never have happened. You could have just left it alone. But no, you're forcing yourself to look for the dumbest excuse to justify what happened. It's not even that hard to just say, hey, what happened was terrible and move on. Like, sir, in the front number two, if we ever get a chance to debate, you're going to lose. You're going to freaking lose. For crying out loud. Literally. Li- You're just repeating exactly what Sean is telling you. You're literally repeating exactly what Sean has told you. My guy, one, I'm not the artist, that's you freaking moron. You can't legit be consistent with your own argument or belief, nor even acknowledge the fact of your own irony, so shut the F up. My God, it has nothing to do with politically disagrees with me. You freaking idiot. Okay, that's nothing to do with it. Like I criticize people on the left and the right. I have a whole history of doing that on both my channels and even on my social media. I'm still doing that. It's just the fact that you're mad because guess what? I'm criticizing someone on your side who is conservative. That is it. I even gave an example to one of your own comments or someone else's comments who asked me of what I dislike about Noah and people on the left, and I gave them it. 'Cause I'm not gonna be biased because there's no reason for me to. I still don't like Noah. I still don't like Ethan Online. Heck, you can look up Ethan Online's debate when it was me and well, I was cut the BS against him, so screw you, Ethan. And you can still see me literally still hold that same beliefs to this very day. My only part of it is that time of it has changed because a lot of people that he criticized or called out were proving his point. That's the only part where I have changed on. But everything else that I said against Ethan is still consistent and I still believe it and hold on to it to this very exact day. But it's so funny. You're arguing about the whole of, oh, he attacked me for not politically agreeing with me. Like, my guy, that's not even close to what I said or argue at all, when that's not true. It does not matter whether conservative right wing or left wing. I've been consistent that I do not like either side. I've always been consistent with it. And I love that, like, when you call him out, he tries to gaslight you into thinking that, homie, that's exactly what you do. You're a dick writer for thinking for sleep. You're not even bothered on actually having an honest conversation. You make it blatantly obvious of what you truly want to say. My guy, stop. Just stop. My guy, you have never once made a valid good faith argument at all. All you've been doing is purposely misrepresenting everything that I've said. I'm the only one providing you actual arguments and evidence, and all you did is downplaying it, except you admitted to the fact that you were wrong. I love like this whole argument of the whole oh yeah, I like Miss Windu type of argument is irrelevant about the Santa too. It was about the random video of Star Wars that I made, which is factual, let's be honest. Um, like here's the thing, you do not actually like Mace Windu. Let's be honest, none of you guys do. It's the same excuse of you lately crying about Finn existing on screen or crying about of any of the other character, Osha from Acrolite and stuff, solely because they're black. And then when you get cold on this blatantly racism, you use the whole well, I'm not racist. I like Lando. I like Mace Windu. My guy, if any of those characters were made today, you idiots will legit show the fact you guys never liked them and show your own racism. The fact of a black dude legit being the second most powerful Jedi next to Yoda, like legit behind Yoda for crying out loud in the council, if that was made today, you idiots would cry and complain about it because you think it would be DEI and nonsense like that. And you made it pointedly, straight up clear about that. So don't be out here lying saying that that's not what. No, you made it obvious. Don't be lying, my guy. Like honestly, speaking of which, let's just go through one of your own comments of how you purposely misrepresent my whole entire video. I can't talk. No, it's about the fact that you idiots don't actually like Miss Windu. It has nothing to do with like, oh, him liking it, according to me, makes it or equals of you not liking him. It's about the fact you use it as an excuse or as a dog whistle to say that you are not racist when in reality you are. You don't actually like Mace Windu. We know that. You're just saying this as a lie. That is why I said and why I've argued. But of course, you have to remove the context of what I actually said. And of course, you prefer a white supremacist media. Yeah, you do. All of you guys do, and so does Sean. And he made it blatantly clear that's exactly the case. And I love the whole like of I clearly you admitted to the fact that yes, you were just using him as a dog whistle the next second. In that I'm using Maze yeah, I'm using Maze to try to claim yeah, I can't freaking talk. Claim I'm not racist. But here's the thing, you are. You literally are doing that. That's exactly what you just did. I'm so tired. I haven't slept in a few hours. Meanwhile, he's saying that straight white men in stars is a problematic thing. That's not even what I said. That's not even close to what I actually said. Okay, see, this is why I say, Beowulf, you really need to learn to shut the F up. I never even made that claim or made the argument. And I'll go show you guys the exact post I've said. For crying out loud, this is embarrassing. You really made this claim. For crying bloody out loud, this is embarrassing. My guy, you could have just shut the F up and move on. This is embarrassing, my bro. Jeez. I love the whole like for literally no reason. My guy, I've explained the reason in the same thing too. I did it in a video as well. And claim I'm racist. My guy, you follow things before you sleep, and at the same time too, you were in defense of actual bigoted people in the Star Wars fandom. Yeah, no, high chance you are one of those racist type of people. It's not that surprising. But he doesn't even explain why Sharon exists in Star is bad. I never said anything about that being bad alone. That's not even what I said. I never said anything about that. I love this. I love this part right here, which makes no sense. My guy, she was doxxed, she was harassed, and she almost got killed. I'm talking about the fact of what happened was so wrong because she did nothing wrong. She was the victim. And this is why I said with Jack Film is a great example. He did a lot of stuff wrong, but I can still argue that he did not deserve to get doxxed. I would never argue of what he did of as an excuse for him to get doxxed. My point is about the fact that him and Alienation did not deserve to get doxxed. One of them, they were 100% wrong, but that does not justify what happened. The other one literally didn't do anything wrong, and people are still framing it as if she did. That is my point. It's about the inconsistency, how one of you guys will blatantly defend someone who was in the wrong and try to make an excuse on why it's okay for them to do so, and then attacking someone who did nothing wrong. While my point of view is that what happened to both of them was wrong, but that does not mean what Jack Film was any better or it was completely innocent. But here's the thing. This is what I find very funny. It's like you're so disingenuous, but you cry about how I'm a bad liar and all that stuff. But my guy, you can't be consistent with what I said or what I've argued because you have to keep lying. Oh my gosh, this freaking image. Like, golly. My bad. I love the like of I'm glazing her. My guy, my pea sprout penis. I'm hey my guy. Wait. Was certainly not nice. My guy, this is why and then you cry and complain about me arguing that yes, you're arguing for her death. My guy, this is you literally here still framing her as the villain of the situation. an argument for what happened to her. You're still doing that. I love the whole like of, oh, neither was Sean. I mean, dude, you have never once criticized Sean. All you've been doing is justify every single thing that he has been guilty for doing and denying all the proof and evidence on why he was in the wrong. That's all you've been doing. So don't even try to give this fake nuanced approach. It does not work. And I hate when people on the left and the right just do stuff like this. It's annoying. Like even so, both of them were not mean. Nothing that she did was rude or mean. She made a wholesome video that was straightforward, that was talking something personal that relates to her viewers. And Sean removed all the context and sent his viewers to attack her over it. And when she just asked for the video to be reported, that is it. That's why he doubles down on this and called for more of the harassment and arguing that it was not harassment or BS like that. It's just criticism. Because he says so. And guess what? No surprise, she gets doxxed. Because of him. Oh my freaking gosh, this is just embarrassing. This is blatantly embarrassing for crying out loud. And I love the whole like of, oh yeah, both of them were wrong. The next second of sucking Sean off and trying to prove the fact that no, he's giving a fake nuance approach. He's just being completely bad faith and disingenuous. My guy, there's no credit to Sean. I want to give him one credit, but at the same time two, I have to take away because he's guilty for the same thing. Way more and way more harmful actually. One, there's no credit for him because he actually is giving good criticism. My guy, the dude slandered every single thing that she did for crying bloody out loud. The dude put words in her mouth that she didn't even do or even said. That's not criticism. If you have to go either way and slander someone, do defamation, and lie about that person, removing any context, you're not doing criticism. You're just lying. And this is why I stated multiple times that yes, this person is obviously in calling for doxing in her death. Like for crying bloody out loud. And this is what I'm saying, like right here, because she did nothing wrong. She did a normal video that relates to the type of content she just make, that relates to her own audience. And guys, you're dick riding Sean as if he did nothing wrong. The dude legit was calling her ugly throughout a whole section throughout the video, legit still implying that she was advocating for unhealthy eating habits and all this nonsense with no proof at all because he removed the context, legit stalked her whole entire accounts and her life to see what she was eating, to see whether she was eating healthy or BS like that, to the point where he was so desperate, he using cartoon images as proof of it. And it doubled down on this when Noah called him out on this as well, removing context from his video to lie about what happened too. Instead of him, I don't know, apologizing for what happened, he's pretending he's a victim. So no, he was never a victim. He knew what he was doing. He has no shame of it. Not crying bloody out loud. And you're out here justifying this. This is why I've argued multiple times that yeah, you're in support of the doxing. You're in support of her getting killed. Now, once you have actually argued that what happened to her was terrible, all you've been doing is framing her as if she's an evil human being who definitely did deserve it because Sean did nothing wrong. Oh, he didn't attack her. He complimented her. He did criticism. No, he didn't. And you know he didn't. Stop lying. Oh my gosh. Like, man, should I freaking like at the same time, I don't feel like I should. All right, let's just go to it. Oh, I have to go to my own page. Freak, my bad. Actually, no, I can just go through here real quick. Right here, Raquel. I believe it was no, I think it was this one actually. Where I just ran it off. No scripted. I don't care. Um, literally here, proving my point. Literally here, proving my exact point. Oh my gosh, my guy. And then you cry and complain when people go out of their way and calling you a racist and stuff. You literally cry and complain about it when you've proven their point. My guy, just because someone is racist does not mean it's bad writing. You're just being racist at that point. And for number two, if I do watch the video, he's going to prove a point that that's exactly what he's doing. Once again, literally putting words in my mouth of something that I never said at all. Nowhere I've made this claim. Nowhere I've made this claim or even made this type of argument. And I go into detail of exactly what happened. I've never made this argument that all Star Wars fans are bigoted. I've never made an argument. I'm talking about how people like him specifically are the real bigots. That's the point. That is my point. For crying bloody out loud. And like I said, I've defended Gina Carano for back then. The problem of nowadays, she has gone too far to the point where, yeah, I can't defend her anymore. And rightfully so. That's it. That is literally it. I went into detail of exactly what does be happening. So once again, it's so funny. He really removes all the context because he can't tell the truth of what I did argue and said because he knows he has to be disingenuous and bad faith. And this is why I have made this video to call out that there's people like him who are so desperate. And it's not just a regular one. It's someone who has been not on end, still making like comments, posts, and stuff. But yet he doesn't actually provide any evidence backing his claims up of things that I'm guilty for doing. And each time when he does make these claims and the same screenshots, it goes against his own claims itself. Like it literally goes against the same claims. And it's so weird. For crying out loud is so weird. Crying out loud. And if you show exactly what I did sit and argue, which of course he didn't, he has removed the context, then yes, he has to constantly lie. So here's the thing, Beowulf. Drop down your Discord or Snapchat, I don't care. Let's talk it out, because like you know full you're screwed up. Don't even mess with me, my boy. Do not mess with me. Now, I will get back into the recording booth, pause, because this was just just a rant. I do not care. You know, I might as well not even edit this whole thing. I don't care. But at the same time, too, this is just stupid, and this is desperate. You're being madly desperate, bro. Honestly. Come on, bro. Yes, I don't care if I'm ranting so long. I need to get out of the way. Wow, it's 3 hours. Oh well. So be it. Screw you guys. Adieu.